It's time to go local for your footy.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Lilydale Sports Oval this afternoon. It's a massive round 17 clash here in the Eastern Football League this afternoon. It's Lilydale taking on Doncaster East, and for Lilydale, it's a must-win game because they're playing for the double chance this afternoon, and with one of the other games, Bayswater and Upper Ferntree Gully, also having a very big prominence also this afternoon. These are the two games that are going to happen and to shape the Final Four in Division 2. Possibly this afternoon. My name is Wayne Brasher. I'm hosting the pre-match this afternoon, and we're going to have a very interesting pre-match here. And first of all, I'll introduce the panel, and it's a very warm welcome to the media manager, Dan Sensick. Good afternoon, Dan.
Yeah, g'day, Brash, and to all the listeners. Yeah, very interesting game coming our way today. Of course, Doncaster has played Lilydale earlier on in the season and did a number on them, so it's going to be interesting to see what Lilydale will show up today. But of course, banking a win today for both sides. It's crucial for confidence as we head into the finals, but Doncaster East, don't underestimate that mental edge that they've got.
And also joining us this afternoon, as he is and has done throughout the season, it's a very warm welcome to you, Tim Fitzsimons. Good afternoon, Tim.
Yeah, thanks, Brash. Looking forward to it. First time I've seen either of these sides play this year, actually, so it's going to be interesting to see what could be a preview to probably a game later in September or mid-September between these two sides.
I said at my opening that this is one of the important games in Division 2, along with Bayswater and Upper Ferntree Gully. Doncaster East at the moment sitting on 13-3 with Lilydale on 12-4, and Doncaster East, Dan, are probably sitting in the box seat to go into the second semi-final. However, there's still 2 rounds to go.
Yeah, certainly, but you look at the form lines of both the sides. Lilydale, they're in a slump at the moment, no doubt, and they need to dig their way out. And what better way than today to do it against a quality side in Doncaster East? It's going to be really interesting to see how their guns fire. Lilydale, they're a younger side, and they've played together over a number of years at a junior level. So the question mark surrounding Lilydale all season long has been, can they keep it up for what is a very long season? Doncaster East are a bit more battle-hardened. They've played finals, gone deep into the final series before, coming off a grand final last year. Lilydale, of course, going down by 2 points in the finals last year. They took a lot of learnings out of that, but this is the time of the year where you want to be producing your best footy, and no better day than today than for Lilydale to drag themselves out of a form slump.
Tim, let's have a, seeing Dan's done the Doncaster East side, let's have a look at the Lilydale side of things from your perspective.
Yeah, well, as Dan touched on before with Lilydale, a very young side in a bit of a form slump, as he said. But I think it's a perfect opportunity here for Lilydale because this is their they've got Mulgrave in the last week, so this is their last chance to get a hit out against a side that's going to be playing finals with them as well. So if they are able to turn their form around, they know they're going to be able to do it off the back of what would be an unbelievable win, really, seeing as where they're at the moment over a side like Doncaster East, who we know have been there and got to the big day last year. So they'll be, yeah, it's a real tough. I actually think this is the perfect opportunity for Lilydale to turn their form around against the benchmark. Yeah,
they do. They have to, because the points differential is quite massive. Dan, look, the current average for Division 2 is 11 goals, 11, 77 points, with roughly 27 inside 50s. Now, Doncaster East, they compare very favourably. They're averaging 15 goals, 13 over the season. They're on averaging 35 inside 50s for the match, whereas Lilydale 12 goals, 12, 84 with only 30 inside 50s. So it's a massive 4-goal difference, you know, over the season, and that suggests to me that Lilydale may be lacking a little bit of goal-kicking power.
Yeah, you just have to look at the ladder to look at the immediate difference there. Doncaster East 4, 1,572. Lilydale 4, 1,332. So there's over 200-point differential there. But conversely, against, Lilydale stack up very well defensively. 947 against as opposed to Doncaster East 1,024. So they've both got their strengths and they've both got their weaknesses. But games are won and lost with goal-kicking power, which Doncaster East are got in spades. You look at Jack Martin the last 2 weeks has played really well. He's actually featured in our Plays of the Week for the last couple of weeks, including kicking the match winner against Wantirna South last weekend. It was an absolute beauty. The rain was teeming down, and they had about 40 seconds to get a score. They were down by less than a kick, Doncaster East, and Martin streamed forward from a ball up on the wing and snapped it beautifully and got Doncaster East the points. And he's just one of a myriad of options down there for the Lions.
Yeah, and the thing is with Jack Martin, he's such an important player. He's only played 9 games this year due to injury. So, I mean, having him come off the well, he basically plays back pocket, Tim. He's in it, yet he's also such an attacking back pocket, for the want of a better word, isn't it?
Yeah, it's almost the modern player, isn't it, these days? You've got to be able to work both ways, and it's such an asset to use someone from that defensive line in an attacking way, because it just opens up the ground for them massively.
Some players have worked for both sides, and, you know, look, it's a really good lineup Doncaster East have got this afternoon. You know, Jake Summers has played 15 games, Dan, 47 goals, average at 3.3, been in their best 8 times. He's the one that I think he's the man this afternoon that probably could decide the fate of this game.
Yeah, great set of hands on Jake Summers. He's fantastic contested mark, but great at the ground level as well. And he's sort of I suppose he's the focal point for Doncaster East. But then you've also got Jack Shalakis, who can go up forward and trouble the scorers too. And as we mentioned before, Jack Martin can stream forward. They've got a host of midfielders as well. Batsanis isn't afraid to kick goals either. He's quite a zippy little player that can trouble his direct opponent at times, and he looks set for a big day too. Just
before we move on, I just got a half-time score here in the development squad game. It's Lilydale with their nose in front by 2 points. It's Lilydale 5-5-35 leading Doncaster East 5-3-33. Another really interesting another player who I think actually this year has added the goal-kicking bow to what is already an impressive resume is Michael Stephen, the old Micah Stephen as we know him here. Kicked 4 last week, but he just continues to put in amazing performances every week.
Yeah, the danger for Lilydale is when you put time into a lot of time and homework into a player like a Micah Stephen or a Jake Summers, there's X amount of other players who can get off the leash. So the key for them is to sort of spread the load a fair bit around to make sure they are covering all bases, because as we've seen a fair bit across the Eastern Football League this season, there might be that one great forward that the opposition would target, but then another one might get off the leash and be the difference on the scoreboard.
Tim, let's have a quick look at some of the Lilydale players. Lockie Koga, I'm a big rap for him. He was a star junior. Took him a little while to transition into senior football. He's kicked 40 goals this year at an average of just under 3. He's been in their best 4 times, and with 7 goals the most he's kicked in a game. He's obviously going to be the linchpin for Lilydale this afternoon, probably around that centre-half forward, full forward mark.
Yeah, super important, almost probably the most important, I think, with the scoring power that Lilydale probably haven't had that they would have liked for most of the year. Obviously, not probably as good in attack as Doncaster East we've seen, so it's a really important matchup to see how we can go here against the benchmark side really, and see how he performs on the big stage.
You know, and the other thing is too, probably the other 4 players that I'm going to mention are probably equally as important, because they've been amongst the Lilydale goal kickers, Burnson, Wilson, Class Henry, just to name 3 of them. Those 3 players with their run through the midfield and the half-forward line are going to be really important this afternoon, because that's one thing that I think that's been lacking in Lilydale's lineup in the last couple of weeks. So their inability with their midfield and half-forward to kick a winning score.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think we've really seen them click especially the last couple of weeks. Obviously, we know how well they started the season, but it's going to take their best from all of them, isn't it? Really today to get over Doncaster East, they've got to click, and I think it's really the time of year where they have to find a game where they can all click together and put in a good showing. And this is about that time of year now, isn't it?
One of the things, Dan, that we look for as commentators towards the end of the season is is sides that are coming into a final series looking to have a settled side going into it. I've gone through Lilydale and Doncaster East list over recent weeks, and it looks like that both sides are just about ready to settle on probably their best 26 to 28 players that are going to carry them through the finals.
I think both sides have been pretty fortunate this year that they haven't had any major injuries to key players, which goes a long way. A lot of people say that injuries shouldn't be an excuse. Well, it's not an excuse. It's a reason why sides might underperform, and you just have to look at Heathmont in Division 3 with the amount of quality they've got out of their side and the players. That it's a reason why they're not hitting their straps as they should. But, where Doncaster East and Lilydale have been lucky this year is they haven't had any major injuries. And as we know, a lot needs to go right for a side to go all the way to win a flag in any given season.
Coming into finals and the weather coming good, it just makes it that much more desirable to be still immersed in the game.
Well, Brett, once again, thanks very much for joining us, and I'm sure the people of Lilydale have really enjoyed your insight on EFL Game Day. Good luck to you and Ben and all the boys at Lilydale this afternoon in what is going to turn out to be an absolutely rip-snorting clash.
Much appreciated, boys. Thanks heaps.
There you have it. The assistant coach, Brett Fisher from Lilydale this afternoon, just giving us a little insight on how Lilydale are travelling this afternoon. And, those for me, it's those three running machines, Class, Henry, Wilson and Burnson have got to fire up this afternoon. Well, the guests just keep rolling on here in EFL Game Day, and it's a very warm welcome to an EFL favourite on the media team. It's Steve Buckle joining us from the Donny East Footy Club. Good afternoon, Steve.
G'day, Brush. How are you, and boys?
Good, mate. I was just having a look at the team list that you put out there on Friday, mate. I reckon it's like a cast of thousands that you put on the list. It's just about nearly, bar for maybe one or two, that's nearly the best list you can assemble at this time of the year.
Yeah, look, we're getting close to full strength, which is great at this time of year, obviously, and then getting a few back from injury. And Tom Gordon's first game today after a long layoff. We got Jack Martin back a couple of weeks ago after about a 6 or 7 week stint. We've got Jimmy Appleby's out today, which is which will hurt our midfield rotation a little bit, but that's only a corky, so he should be back next week. So we're looking pretty strong at the moment. We've just got to make sure we put it all together out in the field.
Steve, one of the things that I've noticed about Doncaster East this year, right, and more so this year than probably than last year, it's a little bit of a trend. Both Jake Whitling and Jack Martin, probably the two most attacking back pocket players I think I've seen in the Eastern Football League. It seems to be, used to be that half back line that used to be the first point of attack off the sweep, but now it's basically the full back line have to also be part of that rotation as well.
Yeah, look, I suppose the way we manage our back six is just it's just best matchup. So whether or not that means Jack Martin ends down the deepest back or he ends up the highest back, it's just the way we operate. So each of them should have their opportunity to run off and give us some bounce off half back. But Jack's always been a good reader of the game and knows when to go. Dolph's always been good. He sort of works down off that wing down as that seventh defender and gives us an extra number behind the ball and really then leaves his wing open, which then enables Shalakis to work higher from the forward line as well. So our back six work really well together and they cover off for each other. So we've got a good mix down there at the moment.
I also think too, we were just talking before, Steve, that Mika Stephen this year has probably added some goal kicking to his already impressive resume. He's kicked 26 goals this year and he's kicked some important bags in some important games. He got 4 last week. Yep. He just seems to be able to find another level when he has to, doesn't he?
Yeah, and look at his let me know about every 26 of them too, mate. So I think he walked in, the first thing he said was he came around to my place on Sunday for a beer and he goes, have you seen the EFL website? And started talking himself up that he was 9th on the goal kicking. So he's enjoying it himself, mate. So it's but no, it's great to have him down there and have that versatility because he gives us so much strength around the footy in the middle.
Yep.
But then makes it a really, really hard matchup for opposition when he transitions forward as well, especially when we've got we've had Summers over the last sort of 6 weeks, but now you put Tom Gordon into that as well, and you have the 3 talls down. That makes us pretty tough to match up on.
A game like last week, taxing conditions, teeming rain for for most of the day, and I'd imagine a heavy ground. You're able to overcome Montana South late. How much does a game like that take out of the group? But also the belief at about the 27-minute mark, if there's a few younger boys as well, but also some more experienced guys, it must be tough, and at the same time a balance to get it right over training loads. Yeah,
absolutely. So look, I suppose over the last couple of weeks, because we have been in a pretty good position about spots on the ladder and so forth, we've been, if any guy's been sore, we've had the luxury just being able to rest them, and we forced Ash Neville to have a rest this week as well. He probably could have got up and played, but we want to err on the side of caution. The same with Jimmy Appleby. Look, if it was a final, he'd probably play, given this game's going to be like one anyway. But look, it's a really good spot to be in because we're injury-free. Touching wood at the moment, so we can get some rest into some players.
Steve, coming up against Lilydale, a side that you might face in the finals, how much, from the coach's box, how much of a focus is it on specifically what's going out on the field? And do you think too much about, in the back of your mind, what you could do in, say, 2 or 3 weeks' time when you might have to come up against them again? Or is that something you look at in a couple of weeks and look back at the footage?
No, I think at the moment, if we had, say, top spot or top 2 spots sewn up, we might be looking a little bit further ahead. But today, we've still so much on the line, trying to sew that top 2 spot up, and Lilydale obviously looking to get back in the hunt for that spot as well. Then we've just got to focus on today, and look, I think we've had enough encounters with Lilydale now over the last couple of years, and there have been some really close games in there that we know sort of their strengths and how they move the ball. Likewise, I imagine they do with us as well, and I think it's just about who's going to execute on the day, and if we get to meet them in the finals, then we'll reset and have another crack at them.
Steve, one of the things I did mention to you on EFL Sunday was the mental toughness of the Donny East Football Club. There have been many challenges when you look at the results so far, not only this year but last year, right? You lead games and you can win. You've come from 6-7 goals down and can still win. You can win the close ones. So it seems like amongst the playing group, just from looking on the outside, that there is an enormous amount of self-belief that the guys know that if things do get tough, they know that they can get themselves out of a jam.
Yeah, absolutely, Brash, and it's been good to see us. So as frustrating it is as a coach to get in positions like that, it has been pleasing to see that we're able to get out of spots like that as well, whereas we haven't in the past, and I think that's been a real shift in not just the culture off field but on field as well. Like in years gone past, in my early days, if we were getting done by 6 or 7 goals, that could turn into a 10 or 15 goal belting. We've been able to stop that, and the belief amongst the group is unbelievable. The talent speaks for itself in the group, but if we're in those positions, I suppose our main focus has been just don't panic. And we've been able to get in at quarter time and just really compose ourselves. So there's no raising of the voice from me or from our line coaches or anything like that. I generally do mine, as Benny's smiling at me. I generally do mine from the boundary anyway during the quarter, and then try to compose myself at quarter time, because I don't think we're going to. It just stirs them into a frenzy, and then we go out all jittery for the second quarter. So we just got to restock and go again.
Well, Steve, it's an important game. He said the top 2 spot, even though you're sitting in the box seat, it's still not done and dusted. Good luck to you and Doncaster East this afternoon, and may the best side win.
Hopefully that's us, Brash, but thanks, boys, and good luck on the call.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the coach of Doncaster East Football Club, Steve Buckle, always very generous with your time. Before we have our first break, our first break this afternoon, Lilydale have skipped out to a big lead here in the reserves or development squad. I believe it's 9 goals 3 57 to 5 goals 3 33. We're going to take our first break here on EFL Game Day, and coming up after the break, we're going to go through all 22 games to be decided this afternoon, right here on EFL Game Day.
Bigger and better, Netball EFL is back. Bigger and better, Netball EFL.
It's important to tell our love.
Welcome back. We're few technical issues here, but everything will be up and running shortly. Yes, I've got that development score here at 3/4 time. It's Lilydale 8 goals 10-58, leading Doncaster East 5 goals 3-33. So a 25-point lead here to Lilydale heading into the start of the last quarter. Let's start getting into the games this afternoon for discussion, and let's do something a little bit different. Let's start off at Division 4. I reckon we'll start off with Divi 4.
Spanner in the works there, Brash.
Yeah, let's start off with Divi 4 just to make it a little bit interesting. And the first game I think is up for discussion is the Whitehorse Pioneers taking on East Burwood. The double chances on the line for these two clubs this afternoon, Dan.
Yeah, it doesn't get any bigger than this. Double chance, a massive opportunity for both sides. I actually saw the Whitehorse Pioneers play East Burwood last time they met, and it ended up being a very comfortable win to the Whitehorse Pioneers in the end. Just the way they moved the footy and their pressure around the contest was incredible. Just being able to put East Burwood in a vulnerable position, and they made a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes. Adrian Galino only kicked 1 or 2 goals that day as well, so he was very well held. Andrew Padbury up forward, I think, kicked about 6 or 7. So East Burwood would want to do their homework on him today, and he had a massive game. He's had a great season so far too, Andrew Padbury too, so look out for him. But this is last chance saloon, obviously, for the double chance. But the Whitehorse Pioneers in the box seat, you'd think, they've been the more consistent side throughout the course of the season. They've got a young exuberance about them that a lot of sides seem to struggle against. East Burwood are a more experienced side overall, but they seem to lack pace at times, particularly with a lot of those more experienced blokes they brought into the club over the off-season. So I'm going to go for the Whitehorse Pioneers.
What do you reckon, Tim?
Yeah, I think the Whitehorse Pioneers as well. I think they'll get the job done, especially at home as well. We know they have a bit of a unique shape of the ground there. It's a bit smaller, especially smaller than East Burwood. And I think I think the Pioneers will just get the job done, but I'm assuming they'll probably meet in 2 weeks' time again.
Yes, our intrepid reporter Ray Baird will be doing the around the grounds report from that enthralling game this afternoon down at Whitehorse Reserve. I'm going for Whitehorse Pioneers. I just think it comes down to, I think the smaller ground suits the Pioneers. I think East Burwood are looking for a bigger ground. I think it comes down to the 2 full forwards, Galino and Padbury. And I just like, I don't know, as much as I like East Burwood's experience, I'll also take on board what Dan said about the youthful exuberance of Pioneers, and they've already got over East Burwood once this year, so that's a plus for mine. The next game up for discussion really doesn't have any bearing on the final. It's more pride at stake, but it's a lot more, I reckon, for Forest Hill and Kilsyth. Tim?
Yeah, Forest Hill, they'll be looking to, I guess, progress from their win last week over Fair Park and take some form into the finals, because we know their form's been a bit patchy throughout this season. So they'd be wanting to head into the finals with a bit of confidence. Kilsyth have been probably even more inconsistent than Forest Hill this season. We know they've been blown out of the water on a few occasions, but we know their best is probably good enough to knock off Forest Hill, but I don't think they'll be there today. I think Forest Hill will get the win.
I agree with you, Tim, and this week is the week where Forest Hill really need to find some form and fast. They've won 1 game in the past month. Now, that doesn't read great, does it? Particularly leading into a final series. And when you look at the history of Forest Hill over the last couple of years, they fell at the final hurdle last year after a gallant performance, and the previous year as well. So they'd want to be finding some form very quickly if there are any chance of going all the way this year.
Dan, do you reckon that them getting so close for the last 2 years, do you reckon it's just kicked a bit of the wind out of their sails a bit this year with how close they've gotten?
I don't think we can underestimate something like that. Talking to Craig DeCourcy, coach at Templestone Division 3 earlier this year ahead of the season, they had a natural turnover of players, a lot of players leave, and he said that you can only go so far with the one group, and then it's time to regenerate and bring them in, because you can't underestimate the mental scarring and just the exhaustion that takes its toll on a group, going right to the final hurdle year after year, and then falling over.
I'm going to tip Forest Hill, but what I want to see from them is I want to see a scoreline in the second half, Tim, where they're building a winning score. I don't want to see them sort of meander along and kick 2 or 3 goals a quarter and win, say, 12-13 or about 10-11. I don't want to see that, because if I'm seeing that, that means that doesn't give me good signs for to win in a final, because I think you've got to lift your intensity in the finals, and I'm not sure. I'm a little bit like you. Has it taken the wind out of them? Well, they'll get a win this week, but they need to show a bit more, and they're going to have to lift even more, I think, come finals time. Next game, Dan, that we're going to have a quick talk about is Coldstream taking on Fair Park. Fair Park are the Jekyll and Hyde for mine of Division 4 football, have been for quite a while. You just don't know what you're going to get. Coldstream, on the other hand, they've had some close losses. You look at their form and it doesn't read all that bad.
Yeah, you're right, Brasher. I think, though, just on that Jekyll and Hyde comment about Fair Park, I think this year their best has been a lot better than what it's been in previous years. Yep. Even though they've been inconsistent, it's been a better season than what it's been for a long time, I think. So that's a positive to take out. But Coldstream, I think their form overall has been better. And today, maybe it's the last round, but with only pride on the line. But for Coldstream, it's about building for the future. And a win today would push them up to 6th position. And that you want to finish as high up the ladder as possible. Yep. I don't think Fair Park realistically can't finish any higher than what they are at the moment in 6th position. No. But Coldstream definitely can. They can lift themselves a further position up. And gee, if that's the motivation today, then so be it. And a 6th place position this year would be a tick in my book, given the experience that left the club and the young players and a new coach in Chad Rogers coming in. It's a great result and plenty to build off. Yeah, there was a lot of turnover at Coldstream, as you mentioned, so it'll be a pretty good way to finish the season if they can get over Fair Park today. I think it's going to be a real close game. I'm a bit up in the air about this one. I'm going to go Coldstream, but just. Yeah, I went Coldstream. I like to see even troughs in form, and for mine, Coldstream's form has just been, their losses have been close and their wins have been okay as well. At least there's a bit more predictability, so I'm going with them on the bigger surface up at the Coldstream Reserve this afternoon. Sylvan have won their last 4 out of 6, and Dan, they want to be sending their home faithful home on finishing their season on a high note. On a high note, but unfortunately, they're up against the Glen Waverley juggernaut, and they're unstoppable at the moment. Yeah, they are, and the positive for Glen Waverley Hawks leading into today's clash is, the danger of being the best side in your division, you can sort of get a bit complacent, particularly leading into a final series. But this is a test for them today. No doubt. It is a test for them. A side that's won 4 out of their last 6, and the Glen Waverley Hawks will be rubbing their hands together thinking, beauty, this is an opportunity for us for a bit of a tune-up before the finals, and a real test and a real test of application to see what we can do a week out from heading into a finals campaign. But for Sylvan, there's nothing to lose here. So danger game for the Hawks, I think. I still think they'll get up, though. Yeah, I agree. I think the Hawks will get up, but I've been really impressed by Sylvan this year. After a very disappointing year last year where they only got, I think, maybe 2 or 3 wins, I'm pretty sure they've increased that this year, and they're definitely on the improve, and I think it's good. It's a good sign for the club that they're coming good at the end of the year, because it shows that they're fighting it out right till the end of the season, and it's that attitude that they'll be looking for in their players going ahead to next year. But I think the Hawks will be too strong today. And finally, Nunawading are away this week to Surrey Park, and Dan, Nunawading's late season form, even though they haven't won a game, the losing points ratio has dropped dramatically for them. And for Surrey Park, we haven't. Their season is just. They've been all right in patches. Chris Smith's been their best goal kicker all year, leading Division 4 goal kicking. It's probably a pity they haven't won any more games. But Surrey Park at home for the last game of the season, I think they'll go out big winners. Yeah, I agree. Surrey's season, it hasn't gone to plan, hasn't hit the heights we thought it would, particularly in the pre-season leading into the year. But the other thing is too that Nunawading, it's an opportunity for them today as well to build further into 2019. A lot of people, myself included, I thought there was going to be this year that they'd get a victory. Well, they've still got a chance today, but there's only one chance to go. But Surrey Park, if there's anything to salvage out of this season, it'll be Chris Smith's fantastic year. I think he'll kick a bag today and they'll do the job comfortably.
Yeah, I think Surrey Park comfortably today.
Let's go on to Division 3. Probably the most important game in Division 3 is the first game here. Waverley Blues taking on Heathmont. Dan, you had a look at Heathmont like myself last week on the feed, and I said on EFL Sunday, look, actually, I thought they looked a bit cooked to me, Heathmont. I just thought that when they had the ball on their terms and the Basin didn't put enough pressure, they looked all right. I'm just wondering. I'm starting to worry that they're trying to use Abruzzi as a spare parts man to fill the deficiencies that are all of a sudden started to show in the Heathmont list.
Yeah, they wouldn't mind 10 or 2 Ben Abruzzis, 2 rather, that can go up forward or down back. We've seen him play up forward and kick bags of goals. We've seen him go down back and hold Trent Farmer to a respectable 1 or 2 goals. But he's definitely being used on a needs basis, as Joel Caldwell told us last weekend. But it's after last week's game, you just can't get a read on Heathmont. They were good for about a quarter and a half, and they started off all guns blazing. Their trademark run and gun style, particularly across half forward, where they're renowned for kicking a lot of those running goals and splitting open lines. But I just can't see it happening consistently enough for 4 quarters. They've been injury ravaged this year, Heathmont. We know that. Yep. And you mentioned that they looked cooked last week. They just ran out of legs, I think.
Yeah.
That second half of that second term last week, the Basin just got on top, and after that, Heathmont simply didn't have an answer. They were pressured into a lot of mistakes, outclassed. They made a lot of errors, and their set shot kicking needs to fix itself up if there are any chance today, because they missed about 10 or so shots last week.
Yeah.
And 2 goals effectively was the difference in the end.
Yeah, and I think the other worry for Heathmont last week was, you said just there that they like to use their running gun through the half-forward line and kick a lot of their goals. They conceded a lot of goals like that last week from my memory of the game, and it was just, it was a disappointing way to, I guess, just flick that switch, and then they didn't have any answers really for what the Basin threw at them. So it's a must-win game today, as we know. If they lose, they won't be playing finals. So I think they'll just get the job done. But it's going to be tight.
So we're all in the greens. We think Heathmont
just, but I don't have much confidence in that too.
The other big game in Division 3 probably has no, it's first versus second at the moment, and normally there's a lot on it. But unfortunately, Ringwood have already got the week off, and Bronya have already sewed up the double chance. So this game particularly is more about bragging rights, but also who is there a possibility that Ringwood can be beaten, Tim?
I honestly think this is probably the season where we might see a team go through undefeated. I think Ringwood are a big chance to go through this season undefeated. It's a big test for Boronia. Boronia really need to show that they can match it with them, because the last time these two sides played, they were really outclassed and outworked around the ball. So it's going to be tough for Boronia, I think. I think Ringwood will be too strong.
Yeah, I think Ringwood are too quick as well. The way they move the ball. Boronia are a bit of a slower side. They grind sides down a bit. Very hard to get a read on Boronia after last week's game, after winning by 210 points. So
yeah,
it's hardly a great read of their form. But Ringwood, they've got belief through the roof. We saw them a few weeks ago play Scoresby without their best player in Trent Farmer, and they were still able to find a way to win when they found themselves on the canvas at 3/4 time. So they're very hard to go past. Yeah,
Ringwood mind before we move on to the next game. It's 14 minutes into the last quarter of the development squad game, and Lilydale are in front by 27 points. It's Lilydale 9-13-67, leading Doncaster East 6-4-40. So a 27-point lead to the Lilydale development squad. Third game up in Division 3 this afternoon is an interesting contest between Donvale and South Belgrave. Now, I'm going to put the case forward for South Belgrave this afternoon. I think that they're a chance. I think their form doesn't read all that bad in recent times. They've pushed some of the top sides to reasonable losing margins, and I think they're finishing their season. I think for mine, Donvale, for mine, Dan, are really struggling without any sort of aid for Nick Murphy.
Yeah, that's right. Too much left at too few for Donvale this year, but look, wasn't to be not expected when they moved up a division. It's very hard sometimes to make the transition, particularly when you lose one of your best forwards. But on the other side of the coin, South Belgrave, they'd be pretty disappointed with the result to Ringwood last week. I spoke to Robert Johns a few weeks ago when the news came out that he wasn't going around next year, and the one thing that he said was with the remaining 4 or so games of the season that there's no need to throw the towel in. We'll be looking for the best results we can, and the litmus test was Ringwood. Now, they've gone down by a fair margin, over 11 goals. So it was they'd be pretty disappointed with that. But on a day like today, there's no reason why they can't get up, finish the year off with a bit of enthusiasm.
Yeah, I think that loss last week to Ringwood, it may look bad in the score, but I think it was a bit of a second half fade out from South Belgrave. I think the score at half time was pretty close, actually, so a bit of a fade out there. I think their form hasn't been too bad. Donvale have really dropped off a bit, but I think Donvale will just be too strong today.
All right, the last 3 games we probably can gloss over a little bit. For mine, no one's going to tip against Templestowe this afternoon, I would think.
No.
The Basin are taking on Ferntree Gully. Ferntree Gully have been a bit plucky as of late, but the Basin are fighting for... Even though they're playing in the elimination final, they want to keep that good feeling going. So I'm thinking that they'll get the points at Badham this afternoon. What do you think?
Yeah, after seeing them last week, they're in great form, so the Basin.
Yeah, the Basin for mine.
And finally, I think Scoresby get the points over Warrandyte, even though it's up at Warrandyte this afternoon.
Yeah, agreed.
Right, let's quickly go through Division 2, and probably the most important match in Division 2 next to this game this afternoon is the match between Bayswater and Upper Ferntree Gully. Upper Ferntree Gully playing for the double chance, you feel, this week, but they're away to Bayswater, and Bayswater's form the last 3 weeks, they've won by over 60 points plus, so confidence is high. How's this one pan out to you, Dan?
Yeah, it's going to be a huge clash for both sides. Upper Ferntree Gully have done it nicely, moving into second position in the last few weeks. And look, after their victory last weekend, Upper Ferntree Gully over Lilydale, it's very hard to tip against them. Bayswater, they've put together a great month of footy, but I don't think their best footy has been anywhere near as consistent and as good as what Upper Ferntree Gully has been. We actually saw them a few months ago, Upper Ferntree Gully, out here at the LSO, and they just didn't take their opportunities against Lilydale. They were able to learn from that and reverse that last week, and they're in a rich vein of form at the moment and a real smoky heading into the final series, so the Kings for mine. Yeah,
I'm going to agree. I think the Kings will get the job done, and I think they've got the position almost to go into first today if results go their way in this game. So yeah, they've been really impressive this season. A couple of blips on the radar, but I think they'll get the job done over Bayswater. I think Bayswater, although their form's been good late, they've just been a little bit off this season.
Another interesting clash, Croydon versus Wanturna South. I'm going Wanturna South in this game. I just think that their best is probably a little bit, even though it's at Croydon, I think Wanturna South for mine, they'll want to finish off with a win. They were a bit unlucky last week. Form line looks all right for this one.
It's a toss of the coin, this one. You just don't know which Croydon's going to show up, and conversely, which Wanturna South's going to show up. The good Wanturna South showed up last week, I believe. That they were down to like the last 40 seconds of the game and only just lost the lead and consequentially the game. But it's a toss of the coin as to which of these sides are going to show up. I'm going to go for Wanturna South just based on the seasons they've had. I think their footy's been better, slightly better than Croydon's.
I'm actually going to go Croydon in this one. As you said, I think Croydon's best can probably not quite match it with the best, but almost anyone. We've seen their best at Bayswater, Brash. We saw them that day, and they were terrific. So I think their best is definitely good enough. But I think, it could go either way for them. But I'm gonna back them in today.
Yeah, Mulgrave's form has been very good in the last 4 or 5 weeks. They come up against Park Orchards, who probably disappointed that they're probably not going to play finals. But I think at Domini, I think Park Orchards will get the job done this afternoon.
Yeah, Park Orchards for mine.
Yep, and finally, yep, we got a early start in the Donvale South Belgrave game, ladies and gentlemen, and so far it's Donvale 7-6-48, leading Belgrave 3 goals to 20. So that's an early score in Division 3. I'm going to tip Park Orchards for you as well, Dan.
Yeah, Park Orchards.
Right, and finally, Mitcham are taking on Mooroolbark, and I think Mooroolbark, another one of those inconsistent sides for mine. I'm going to tip Mitcham at home.
Well, they play the ground very well, Mitcham, despite having a young side. Mooroolbark have been very hard to get a read on, only just going down by 11 points last week. But Mitcham, they'd be taking a lot of confidence out of their last month or so of footy. But I think the Tigers will just get this one done.
I'm going to go Mooroolbark, but a bit to play for Mitcham. They don't want to finish on the bottom of the ladder, and this is probably their last chance to jump off that bottom spot.
All right, let's quickly go Division 1. Anyone make the case for Knox this afternoon against Baldwin?
No.
No, I think Baldwin get the chocolate there. North Ringwood are taking on East Ringwood. North Ringwood want to finish their season at Quamby. Against East Ringwood, these games predominantly are very low-scoring affairs. I think North Ringwood are doing enough to get the points over East Ringwood.
Yeah, North Ringwood for mine. Pushed Vermont right to the wire last week and just couldn't get the job done. They'll be a bit disappointed. I think they'll get the job done over East Ringwood, though.
Weather is pretty indicative of these. When these two sides meet, it tends to absolutely bucket down, doesn't it? And it turns into a slog. So, yeah, North Ringwood... They'd be disappointed they didn't get over the line against Vermont last week, but they'd take a fair bit of positives out of that. East Ringwood, though, they're a smoky today. I've tipped them as my roughie during the week. I'm going to stick with that. Roval
taking on Noble Park at Seabeck. Roval's form has been indifferent in recent times. Mick Fogarty's team at the moment seem to be able to play 3 quality quarters and just run out of steam. Roval have got heaps to play for this afternoon. John Brown, I have them fired up. I think they'll win.
I'm actually going to go an upset here. I reckon Noble Park can get the job done. Roval, probably the last 2 weeks, they got the job done over Knox as you'd expect. They were disappointing the week before against Vermont. I think I'm going to go an upset here. I'm going to go Noble Park.
Well, Noble Park play their best footy when they're at home at the Bullring, and we saw that last weekend when they nearly rolled Doncaster. Now they've got to travel away from home and against a side that's finals bound and looking to put together some form ahead of that. Roval did it pretty comfortably last week over Knox, like a lot of sides this season, but they're just primed for this one, the Hawks. I think they'll win.
Blackburn travel up to the foot of the mountain to take on Montrose. Emotionally, Blackburn had to survive a late scare from Baldwin last week to secure their final spot. Montrose, on the other hand, they seem to play all right at home, but the difference between the good Montrose and the bad Montrose is vast, and I expect Blackburn was still plenty to play for, that double chance. Expect them to get the points this afternoon.
Yeah, it'll be a fairly comprehensive victory for Blackburn today. I can't make a case for the Demons.
Yeah, I agree. I think Blackburn pretty comfortably.
Last 2 games coming up. Doncaster at home to Norwood. Always a danger game for Doncaster. Norwood, they seem to match up very well, but Doncaster are in really good nick at the moment, and they'll be looking to, if either Vermont or South Croydon slip up, they'll be the side that might pinch that top spot, but I'm going for Doncaster.
Yeah, they're a side that can go all the way this year, Doncaster, as we've seen. They've done a number on Vermont and have gone close with a few other great sides as well this season. But they do match up very well, the Norsemen against Doncaster. I don't underestimate Norwood at this time of the year. Nothing to lose. They've certainly got the players out there. I think it'll be a close result, but I'm going to go the Sharks.
And finally, we've got a final score here in the development game. It's a comfortable 46-point victory here to Lilydale. Lilydale 12-14, 86, defeated Doncaster East 6-4-40. Tim, Doncaster for you, or Norwood.
Yeah, Doncaster for me, but I think it's a perfect game to lead into a couple of weeks before finals, playing a side like Norwood, who probably aren't their best finals quality team, but they don't actually have to face them come finals. So it's a good test here for Doncaster.
And finally, match of the round in Division 1. It's the replay of last year's grand final, but there's a lot more at stake this afternoon. It's the week off, I feel. It's Vermont at home. It's to South Croydon. Vermont have got some inclusions back into the side. Eddie, Ainger and Best are starting to hit form at the right time, but South Croydon have been so consistent all year, haven't put a foot wrong. I normally don't tip against Vermont, but this afternoon I've sat down and looked at all the facts and figures, and for mine I'm tipping South Croydon.
I'm actually going to tip Vermont, Brash, for the reason being that this time of the year, Vermont look to be getting a more settled lineup on the park. They've been missing guys consistently throughout the course of the season, and now they're starting to get guys back. So a more settled lineup leading into finals. South Croydon, we know they've been incredibly impressive, but they set the blueprint to beat Vermont earlier on in the season when we saw these guys in the radio game. But surely, if any days to turn it around against the top sides, today's it, and I think Vermont will just win.
Yeah, it's normally the opposite. I'm going Vermont and you're going the opposite today. It's different. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the pre-match done and dusted on EFL Game Day, and we're going straight into the broadcasters. Doncaster East come out on the ground, and our play-by-play gentlemen are sitting in the booth and ready to rock and roll this afternoon, and I'd like to welcome them both of them to the microphone. It's a very warm welcome to the broadcast manager, BWS, Ben Warren Smith.
Good afternoon, Brash. Really enjoyed listening to pre-match and listening to Brett Fisher from Lilydale and Steve Buckle from Doncaster East. Both sides really setting themselves for a big afternoon today. It's likely they'll meet each other again in the final series, but you never know. But really excited to be out here. The rain's been, it's come, it's gone. It's going to happen all afternoon. At the moment, the sun is shining, so let's hope that it stays that way. But absolutely think that it's going to be an absolute cracking contest this afternoon, and I can't go past Doncaster East today. They're a side that just know how to win at the moment, don't they? And I know that you were talking about that during pre-match, whether we know that they've started slow in games, worked themselves back into the contest, but they do have that ability to find that way to win. I'm really looking forward to seeing Tommy Gordon back in the side today as well, giving them another focal point up forward. Jake Summers has obviously been a star for them of late, but I know a man who's sitting next to me is probably going to disagree with me a little bit on his selection this afternoon. It's a very good afternoon to you, Matt Fodia.
Afternoon, Ben. Afternoon, everyone at home, and well done to Brash, Tim and Dan on a brilliant hour of EFL chat. I'm going to have to disagree with you because my heart is blue and gold, of course, but I understand where you're coming from. Doncaster East in much better form than the Falcons at the moment, who have struggled over the past fortnight to kick goals. I think they've only kicked 8 goals in the last 7 quarters of footy, so they probably need to find a way back to goal. Lockie Koga's struggled since the halfway point.
Well, both sides have come out onto the park. We're going to take a break here and come back with the big bounce right here on EFL Game Day. Top of the table clash in Division 2.
G'day, Billy Brownless here from The Footy Show. KFC Almost Footy Legends is back in 2018, and we're searching for the best highlights from local footy. Head to 9now.com.au/AFL Footy Show and upload your entry for a chance to win $35,000 cash plus a year's supply of KFC.
Program sponsor. It's important to tell our loved ones how much they mean to us. So don't wait till tomorrow, say it now. During Say It Now week, Tobin Brothers Funerals is encouraging you to tell loved ones what an inspiration they are and how much they mean to you.
Say it now, say how you really feeling.
Hashtag Say It Now week this Monday till August 26. Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor. Nothing better than a companion to keep you up to date with all the latest when you're at the footy. Better still, one that fits in your back pocket. The Eastern Footballer is a must-read. All the latest information, team lists, feature articles and much, much more. Pick up your copy this weekend as you love it local across the Eastern Football League.
Need to renovate your home? Enjoy 20 to 50% off furniture and homewares collections at Oz Design Furniture. Hurry, ends Monday. Visit ozdesignfurniture.com.au.
The warm-up continues right here on EFL Saturday. On EFL Saturday, it's time for the match of the round. Let's cross to our team and go local for your footy.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. EFL game day this afternoon. Top 4 clash between Doncaster East and Lilydale here at the LSO BWS, and both sides are out on the ground and getting ready to do battle.
They certainly are, and we've got a man right in the middle of the ground as well, right in front of us here in the broadcast position. He's hoping the sun stays away, and so are we. We want to see an epic clash. Tim Fitzsimons, we heard you on pre-match, mate. What are the conditions like there at ground level?
Yeah, at the moment it's actually not too bad. There's not really any wind about, but we know we've seen a few gusts of wind come through, so I think it's going to be a bit inconsistent. It's about 10 degrees. It's pretty chilly down here, but as you said, the sun's out at the moment, so it's not too bad. There is a bit of rain around though, which we probably could expect, but the ground's holding up pretty well, so I think we'll see a good contest.
Have you got your umbrella, Tim?
Nah, I'll just come jump in the van if we need it. I'm not too far away.
He's going to wing it.
I'll be right.
Now, Wayne Brasher, we heard you on pre-match. What's your final selection before this game gets underway?
Doncaster East for mine, BWS. I just think all around the ground they just look a little too strong for mine.
And Dan Sensick, the media manager, which way are you seeing this one?
Yeah, look, it's I'm not going to get any splinters here, but it's going to sound like I'm sitting on the fence. Lilydale play this ground really well. I think they might even be undefeated at home this year, so it is a bit of a fortress for them. Having said that, Doncaster East, the more experienced side, in better form. Lilydale needing to dig themselves out of the hole they're in, but I think on experience, Doncaster East.
Right around the globe, this broadcast will be played this afternoon. We're really looking forward to that. We've got listeners already, we know, tuning in from Singapore. Good afternoon to Brad Bird. Barry Cotts will be around the grounds all afternoon on the Score Centre, keeping you up to date with all those local games as you go local for your football today. And, of course, Jesse Hare working feverishly on social media. Keep them coming in at Footy EFL right throughout the afternoon, and we'll keep everybody up to date. Matt Fodia.
Yes, so Lilydale look like they've won the toss and they'll kick to the right of your radio dial or your screen there, so that'll be towards the club room end, of course, which is going off today, Brash, with the 88 and 98 Premiership reunion and Past Players Day. James Appleby is out as well.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Matt? With what do you want to see from Lilydale this afternoon?
I want to see him kick some goals, Brash. They're going to have to find different ways to goal at the moment. Obviously, they've got a small forward line, so their pressure is going to have to be up. They can't afford to be down on pressure around the footy, because at the moment, Lockie Kogers and Cal Morrison, looks like Ryan Harvey's starting at centre half forward, so that's an interesting move there. But they can't bomb it in. They're going to have to lower their eyes and be frantic on pressure. Donny East have a small ground as well, so that home ground advantage might not be as big.
No, most definitely.
Well, it's Lilydale trying to find themselves back into the top 2 in Division 2 and play for that double chance. They're at home against Doncaster East today, who sit on top of the table. Players just walking into their final positions now. We're not too far away, and here is Matt Fodia to take us away for EFL Game Day.
Here we go. Lilydale Sports Oval, Lilydale and Doncaster East. Bo Mitchener to do battle with Jared Smith in the ruck. And we're away in the centre of the ground. Mitchener goes up with that Martin-like haircut, taps it down to Horsley. He's wrapped up by Batsanis, who's given away a free kick for over the shoulder. So Sam Horsley will get a free kick just to the left of the centre circle. Nick Batsanis, of course, running around the number 9 today with the long sleeves. Maybe he saw the forecast and thought, I'll chuck that on. So Horsley goes short with the stab fast and finds the skipper low, who gives it off to Klepp. He's a good ball user, is Paddy Klepp, and he goes low with the left foot sizzler. It bounces on its way to Sammy Baker, who looks like he may have just knocked it over the boundary line for a boundary throw in. So just inside the Lilydale forward 50.
That's what they want. Fast ball movement into their forward 50, Lilydale.
So already some intent. So it's thrown in. Drossler to do the ruck work with Smith this time, inside forward 50. Smith should win this one, but Drossler got the front spot, whacked it into Batty's head. The handball came through, though, from Connor Lucas for the Lions, and they're away with a neat little tap over from Lowther to Batsanis, who goes long down the line. He's got the one-on-one, but it might have just floated out in the full, which it has. So it'll be a free kick here to Lilydale.
So it's Morrison on the right boot, just stabs it up the far side here at the LSO. Going forward now, D. Franceschi just weighing up his options. He's been to call play on, almost getting a smother on that with Ceravolo. He did get a handle on it. Umpire calls play on. Scooped upon nicely there by Harvey. He was dispossessed of the football. Went after it again. Drossler was in there at the bottom of the pack. He's brought to ground and will have a ball up. True centre wing position, far side of the Lilydale Sports Oval. 1.5 minutes gone. Neither side has scored. Rucks go at it, looked like a bit of holding, but even Stephen across low. Got a handball out wide, goes after it again. That was smothered. A lot of Lions around this ball here on hands and knees, trying to get it out that time. I think then there was Martin. It might have been Lucas, in fact, and Ball trickles over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Interesting, Brash. Jack Martin lining up on Trent Elliott. What a baptism of fire for young Trent.
Yeah, I'm sure Trent will be looking forward to the challenge.
So, Rucks to go at it. Mitchener had the front spot there. He did well. Palmed it down. Getting down over the top of it there. I think that might have been Horsley. And he'll hand it back to the umpire. 2.5 minutes tick over. In this first term, neither side have scored thus far.
So thrown up again, centre wing, we've hardly moved. Mitchener wins a tap down. It's battered away by a couple of lines and it ends up in the hands of Michael Stephen, who is wrapped up. And we'll ball it up again. So not much doing at the moment. Congested footy. Smith and Mitchener. Mitchener wins a tap, but straight down to Batsanis, who read it well. Got a ball to boot, but it goes absolutely nowhere and just dribbles out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. So the heat map of it at the moment, Brash, is located in one spot on the ground.
Yeah, the far side of the wing.
Exactly. Right where we like it, Brash. So it's tossed in again. Mitchener in the orange boots with Smith in the yellow. Tap down, Batty lost it. Smith recovered it and kicked it forward. Klep lost the contest. It's going to fall out the back to Di Franceschi, who's away now, and he swings it out our side, Brash. It's out towards the contest. Well done by Bernstein. Won it down. Wooten's there. Wooten picks it up on hands and knees and gives the handball off to Brad Lowe through the centre of the ground. He's on the cricket pitch. He goes long inside 50. Drossler's there. So's Koga. Runs under the footy. Wilson's coming in hard here. Wilson missed the footy. Papakan stands through. Got a shove from Drossler. Wilson picks it up inside the boundary. Steps inside one or two tacklers. Got a handball back to Baker. Baker's on hands and knees. Handballs it forward. Picking up now is Rami Iobi. He happens it forward. And we're going to have a free kick to Doncaster East.
I'll tell you what, it probably should have been a 25-metre penalty as well.
Most definitely.
Harvey having a shot on goal after the whistle had been blown. A couple of young future stars just arguing who gets to hand the ball back to Mika Stephen. So he'll handball it over to Ayubi, who will go back to Stephen here. So they're going for a bit of a switch here, Doncaster East, using that far side, getting out, and in front was Jason Tenler, usually a good user of the football, squares up into the middle of the ground where Jared Smith, the big ruckman, took the mark, goes back to Tenler with the 1-2. On the right boot up towards the half-forward line, went very, very wide. He was looking for Jake Summers, spoiled away from him, and over she goes for another boundary throwing.
Yeah, he's been looked good early, the ruckman for Donny East.
Jared Smith.
Yeah, looking really good. Very mobile.
Well, he gets in the front spot now, but it went over the top, so Mitchener got it away to Horsley, who spun on a throok, got the handball away, Batsana, so got it away to Brock McLean, whose kick was smothered. Now here's a chance for the Dales to work themselves through the middle of the ground. It just needs to sit up. McLean overran it, coming over the top there and hitting the deck pretty hard was the play for Doncaster East, Tom Appleby. Of course, his brother James, one of the stars of Doncaster East, who's come on board this year, not playing this afternoon. So gets knocked out, came straight down the throat of Stephen. Here's a go for Doncaster East. He's in 5-4-50. Jake Summers, he just read that ball beautifully, takes the mark 40 metres out from goal.
Well, Brash, we spoke on pre-game about Jake Summers. His ability to take contested grabs is one of the best in Division 2, and we've just seen it again.
Currently has 47 goals for season 2018. Really stood up, especially in the absence of Tom Gordon, who's back in the side today. So first genuine shot on goal here. Summers taking his time as well. There's no stop clock in Eastern Football League football. So it comes in now, leans over it, gives it a fair old go, and it stayed straight, has it? No, it's just pushed across. It's hit the post, in fact. It's hit the padding on the way down, and it's one behind to the Doncaster East Football Club, and they lead by that one solitary point 6 minutes into the first term.
Typical finals type football early on, congested, none quarter given by either side.
First score around the grounds with Barry Cotts.
Yes, good afternoon, gentlemen and lady. Yeah, Division 3, Churnside Park, and Templestowe 1 goal straight. Churnside Park, no score.
Well, Tendler got the boot to ball, just kicked it straight back in here. Sarah Volo just trying to get a handle on a Shalaka's kick. That was smothered. Really good play there by Lilydale. Lowe tried to paddle it to his advantage, and he earned the free kick, in fact. and it will go the way of Lilydale to clear.
So Brad Lowe, the skipper, goes short inboard and finds Batty. He played on without being aware of his surroundings, but got the kick out wide to D. Franceschi. He handballs over the top to the runner in Paddy Klepp. Klepp goes with that left foot inside forward 50, looking for Lockie Koga. It's bounced out the back. Class Henry was there. Koga tries to slap it back to him, but doing well. Coming back was Christian Traiuka, and he soccers it over the line for a boundary throw in deep inside Lilydale forward 50.
Just on the finals-like play at the moment with stoppages and heavily contested footy, that suits Doncaster East more, I think. They got the bigger bodies and they're more experienced in the finals.
So the ruck work, Drosler going up against Micah Stephen. Stephen, whacks it forward. It's come though to Lockie Wilson. His kick was smothered off the boot and it falls in the hands there of Gold. Sam Gold dropped the mark though, and he's wrapped up by Class Henry before he disposed of it over the boundary line for a boundary throw in, and we're basically in the same spot as we were 10 seconds ago. So Drosler has nominated the ruck, and he'll go up this time against Simon White, who's been in the best 11 times for the Lions this year. White wins the tap. Leading the chase there to it is Wilson, does well. Bernstein will pick it up just inside the 50, runs outside the 50 before sending it back to the top of the goal square. Koga's outmanned there and the ball comes down. Hands and knees sucking it out there was Lee Murphy. It found Smith, who goes long down the line, but it's all Falcons. And taking the mark back there is Callum Morrison.
And he'll go for the switch here, Morrison, because Lilydale have the players out wide. Here's Wooten on the right boot, wants to go back into the middle. It was risky business. Well done there by Whitling to get a handle on that. In fact, it was Summers that time, got the handball away straight into the arms there of Tom Appleby. Umpire's blown his whistle. That was a quick call, so we'll have a bounce just half forward line for Doncaster East. Over the top there, Smith got the knock down. Here's Daniel Mead barging his way through, got dispossessed, almost could have been pinged that time on hands and knees. Appleby trying to break the tackle. He was going nowhere. Ryan Harvey had his measure and we'll have another bounce.
How many times this season have we seen Lilydale build attacks from half back, and that was just stifled nicely by Doncaster East with the interception?
Well, it was a great stoppage there. Mitchell got the knockdown up towards the wing position. In front position there was Batty trying to keep it alive. Jack Martin was in there. Ball's going over right in front of the Grog squad out here, the Lilydale faithful, and we'll have a boundary throw in.
Interestingly, Lilydale have been far more impressive moving the ball into their forward 50, but have been unable to hit the scoreboard.
Just that lack of marking target against Brash. Lockie Koga's had about 3-on-1 every time, and it looks like Simon White set up loose man already. Smith won the tap down. There is Wooten again, as is Wiles. Wooten bursts through there and then gets the handball this time. Found Wilson, who steps inside. McLean steps back inside and goes to Koga. He's got a 1-on-1 this time, but very well done there by Luke McLeod, who fisted over the boundary line for a boundary throw-in.
Barry Cott's around the grounds on the score centre.
Yeah, Division 4, Coldstream, 1 goal straight, 6, Fair Park, no score.
So thrown in, 30 metres out from the Lilydale goal. Smith to go up against Drosler. Smith with a fair bit more height and a fair bit more hair, and he wins it down with a fist. It's going nowhere though, as it looks like Healy or Class Henry got the ball there to Burnson, who's been all right. His left foot ball goes higher than it goes long. Batsanis though comes in and takes a good strong mark for the Lions.
And so the skipper switches the play here. It wasn't a 2 crash hot kick either. Di Franceschi, he's the first player to meet it. Just fumbled at the crucial stage, but had some support. They're going back through the middle. Harvey, he's had a bit of it. Drives the ball inside 450. There's no numbers though. McLean, the Lions, switched it out wide. Went straight through the arms there of Connor Lucas. You'll have to go after it a second time. He was beaten to the contest, scooped upon there by Batty. They go backwards to go forwards. Here's Klepp, squeezed to kick out, and that man again, Ryan Harvey, takes it. And Harvey takes off as well. Drives the ball inside forward 50. That was good play. They went straight, and a strong mark has been taken by Brandon Drosler, and he'll have a ping from 45 metres out slide angle.
They didn't panic there, Lilydale either. Doncaster East to turn the pressure right up. Even if they have to go backwards to go forwards, they always spot up their best option, and now a chance to kick the first goal.
And the double premiership reunion are behind this one today, behind the goals. You'll hear the cheer if it's going straight. Fancy boots this afternoon too by Drosler. Comes in now, leans over it, kicks it hard. Will it come back? I think it's done enough. He snuck it inside the big post. First major on the board to the Lilydale Football Club. It took them 11 minutes on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. They lead by 5 points, 1 straight 6. Doncaster East, 1 behind. Let's cross down boundary side to Tim Fitzsimons.
Yeah, there's a lot of heat in this one early, especially around the contest, and Lilydale's, their ball use inside has been pretty outstanding early. They're keeping their composure, even though there's a lot of heat in this one. Doncaster East are bringing that pressure, but at the moment Lilydale are really standing up.
Yeah, just the first really decent inside 50 for Lilydale. Very direct and made sure that they hit the target on this occasion.
They've been rushing a bit, haven't they, Brash? Just
They
bombing
have.
it in. That time Harvey just took a couple of steps, lowered his eyes, and it was a beautiful kick. He's a good ball user. So we meet back in the middle after 11 minutes as Mitchener and Smith do battle again. Mitchener straight down to that man Harvey again. He's good tackle there from Appleby, though. So the handball goes to Batty. Batty doesn't get it, and he wraps up the Doncaster East midfielder there. His number is being hidden, and we'll have a ball up. It was Sam Gold, for those wondering. So it'll be balled up again. Mitchener wins this tap down. Whitling was unlucky to get it stolen off him by Healy. Healy's handball goes to Harvey. He's been prominent lately. His snap around the corner goes to centre forward. Well done there by Drossler. The kick gone away from the lines, but it looks like Baker's going to win this race ahead of Stephen, and he's going to burst him off. Here's Sammy Baker. The little man got the handball over to Elliott. Elliott got it to Class Henry, missed it. Picking it up, is it going to be a free kick? It is. Very stiff. Very, very stiff there is Jared Lowther. Class Henry, I don't think... Oh, he didn't really get rid of the ball. I think it just sort of missed him. That's harsh to give that holding the man, but nonetheless...
It was there. I thought it was there, though, but it could have gone either way there.
Well, Tory Class Henry, who kicked one of the goals of the year when we were last here at the LSO, trots in from just inside the 40, left foot kick. Has never looked like it, and it's slapped through for a behind there by Simon White. So Lilydale 1-1-7. They lead Doncaster East by one straight kick here. They are 0-1-1. We've gone 13 minutes here in the first term.
Yeah, look, you sort of feel that on the balance of play, Lilydale should be probably a little further in front here by maybe 2 or 3 goals.
So Simon White plays it to himself, wanted that extra meterage, then dumped it 60 metres out to the half-back line, falls into the arms there of Batty, did extremely well. Lilydale go forward again, they've got players aplenty to choose from, and Brandon Drossler, who's kicked the only goal so far in this game, takes it, and this time he's closer, he'll kick from 35.
How was the strength of Batty there to shrug the tackle, then compose himself to get the handball off to deliver inside forward 50? That was outstanding.
And Drossler's creating problems in that back 50 for Doncaster East.
So he's certainly finding space.
Probably too much for Steve Buckle's liking.
So Drossler crosses the 50 now, deliberate in his approach, kicks it hard, kicks it strong, and kicks it wide, and through for another minor score. A couple of blemishes of recent times for the Lilydale Football Club. They stretch their lead to 7 points, though. 14 minutes gone in the first term. Barry Cott's around the grounds.
Yeah, Division 2, Mooroolbark 2 goals straight, 12, Mitcham no score.
Simon White leans over the fence there. Little Superstar's handball just didn't quite make it, and he'll take the kick in now. Left knee strapped. Looks like he might play on again. No, he's just going to launch it from inside the square this time. And he goes almost to centre wing. Big fly at the back there from Sam Gold, and he's given away a free kick for an unrealistic attempt. Jared Healy's taken the advantage, but the umpire says come back to me. So the free kick will be to Mitchener. So just forward to centre wing for the Falcons. He goes towards centre forward. He's looking for Class Henry, but he's severely outsized as Jared Smith got the handball out to White, who gave it off to Jack Martin. Jack Martin's kick is smothered brilliantly there by Baker. It comes out towards Cerebolo, but there's Dan's man Batty. Elliott's wrapped up though in a tackle. Handball came out to Drossler though, who's wrapped up and have a ball up here just inside forward 50. And Lilydale looking good.
Pretty unlucky bounce from Cerebolo there. He had 2 Lilydale players on his hammer, and the one that you'd expect to sit up for you most of the time just bounced the other way.
Well, Smith a little backhander out wide. Dracula was there. We was happy to see the paint, and we'll have a boundary throw in just inside the Lilydale forward arc. Lead this game by 7 points. UFL game day around the globe this afternoon, as it is every Saturday. Comes in now. Kennedy, I think, got his head absolutely ripped off, and he will receive another free kick. So some unforced errors from Doncaster East early in this game.
Well, he played to a beat there a bit, Kennedy, as well. I think that he knew the free kick was coming, but a great opportunity to slot his side second goal.
Well, and an opportunity to kick his first goal of the season, but he wants to give it off. Here's Batty from 50 metres. Will it have to carry it? Won't it? Push to the left-hand side and through for another behind. 16 minutes now tick over on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, and it's an 8-point lead, 139 to 1 behind. Barry Cott's around the grounds.
Division 3, Templestowe 2, 113 to Turnside Park, 1 goal straight, 6.
So Simon White to bring it back in again. So these arc. So he goes short, and he finds a target there in Brock McLean. So the 2 former Blues combined. He gives it back to White, whose drilling ball is good and finds the target there in Lee Murphy. Lee Murphy goes wide to Jack Martin. This is better from the Lions. Building it up nicely, goes out wide to Batsanis. This is really good. All their stars getting involved. Batsanis goes long inside forward 50. It's hit the head of Shalakis, and it's going to bounce out of bounds. Paddy Klepp makes sure of that, and that was great build-up play from the Lions, though.
Yeah, it didn't take advantage of that. You should have marked that, Jack Shalakis. That really wasn't that hard a mark to take it. You had the run on it.
It's more of the play that Doncaster East need as well, to hit targets and go long. They've been forced into a lot of errors early in this game.
So Smith on the tap down, coming through and diving on it brilliantly there was Lockie Koga and fisted it forward. Harvey's kick was smothered and it comes back to Jared Smith. McLean's now got it, left foot snap around the body. He's looking for the lead there of Summers. And it's fisted away from him though. Smith does well again, slaps it, but Baker's there for the Falcons. And he's going to get a free kick here.
Bit high.
For high. So Sam Baker gets a free kick on right half back there for the Lilydale Falcons. So he's going to go short. Baker. Mitchener short to the 2-on-1, and Mitchener wins it though, just in front of Jack Martin. The ruckman goes inboard, but he's turned it straight over. Well done there by Sam Gold. Batsanis tries to dive on it, and Sam Horsley's given away a free kick. So Nick Batsanis, he's about 55 from home. He won't be going a shot here, the skipper, but he's done well to give his side a chance of hitting the goals here. So he might just have to pop it up here, not much movement. Pops it up about to the top of the goal square. Big fly from Morrison. It's out the back of the pack here. Lee Murphy's there, but Nick Biondo does well. Kicks it forward towards the runner there in McNay. McNay swings on the left, and that's a horrible-looking ball out towards the runner of Harvey. Batsanis wants to deliberate, and the umpire says, throw it in. So we're going to have a throw-in on left half-back now for the Lilydale Falcons. They lead this game by 8 points.
Well, they made a meal of it, the Falcons. A bit of a brain fade there from Mitchener. If you're going to go into the centre in defence, you want to have a man clearing space.
So an opportunity for the Lions here. We'll give that one to Smith, straight down into Batsanis' hands, quickly wrapped up by Harvey. And we'll have a bounce. 40 metres out from the Doncaster East goal line, trailing this game by 8 points early. Almost into time on though in this first term. It has been an arm wrestle at the fall of the ball. And we'll have another bounce. Picking himself up, Murphy. Club legend, returning to Doncaster East this year in the long sleeves this afternoon. Mitchener got it down. There was Gold. He threw his head back. Umpire was unbecoming with a free kick, maybe a bit stiff in towards the middle of the ground. Here's a go though for Lilydale. It comes out now. It's Burnston, I think, this time up towards the half forward line. We're in the number 3 this afternoon, and Lilydale through Drossler. Just wind around now, 55 metres out, sends the ball long. Nobody was home. Tripula read the flight of the ball really well. And on the right boot, switches it out. Here's Jake Whitling. Still in the defensive zone for Doncaster East, just weighing up his options, and he had a good flight of the ball because Martin took the mark, and then Martin took off up towards the half-forward line out in front there. A good lead by Jake Summers. There's still a good couple of kicks from home, though. Doncaster East drives the ball long. It'll go towards the top of the goal square, over the top there of Gordon, who's returning from injury today, and a strong mark has been taken back there by Callum Morrison, who will elect to go short here. Baker takes the mark. Daniel Mead stands the mark. And a chance for Lilydale to use the broadcast side and surge forward.
So Baker, though, goes short inboard for Horsley. Gordon almost cut it off. Horsley should get a free kick for high. Umpire missed it. Gordon does well. Get the handball over the top to Michael Stephen, who snap around the body is through for a minor score. So yet again, the Falcons, though, playing with fire in their defensive 50 there, Dan. So it's 1-3-9 to the Doncaster East. Yet to score a goal. They've kicked 2 behinds.
Barry Cott's around the grounds with the score centre.
Yeah, Division 2, 15-minute mark, first quarter up at Ferntree Gully, 2-2-14 to Bayswater, 1-1-7, and Ringwood to lead Baronia, 2-1-13 to 1 behind 1 point.
So Paddy Klepp brings it back in. He decides to go long to Mitchener, and why wouldn't you when he's got hands like that? Stick to him there, and he goes short inboard to Burnston. Burnston spoiled well there by Troyalka. Well, Troyalka, I've butchered that one there. Well done there by Whitling, though. Got the handball out, and he's back in there again, that man, Christian Troyalka. And he's tackled by Lowe. Burnston polishes up there, but Horsley runs into Stoneham. Horsley gets on the left boot, and sweeping up there is Jack Martin. He's dropped the mark, though. Here comes Trent Elliott in just his 3rd game. He goes long. The race is on. Harvey leads it back there in front of McLeod. The bounce goes towards the pocket. Harvey brings it in just inside the paint. Turns McLeod onto the left boot. Pops it up for Healy. Well done there by Tenler. Drossler's there. Ramio Obi comes through and knocks it through for a behind. It was drastic measures there for the Lions, but they do well. Lilydale 1-4-10. Doncaster East, no goals, 2 behinds, 2 points.
Let's Cross down boundary side to Tim Fitzsimons.
They're going to be really disappointed there, Lilydale. They had 2 loose men streaming forward. Doncaster East have set up well the whole game from behind the ball. That was the only occasion they weren't able to do so. They were lucky to get away with it.
Well, White squeezed it to McLean, who had good jukes. Hit Rami Ayubi on the chest. Still in their defensive zone, Doncaster East. Ayubi, short passes on, that's okay. Mark's been taken by Mitch Stoneham. Kicks it up towards the wing position here. It was a beautifully weighted kick as well, where McLean made space. A true centre wing position here. He's not even looking forward. McLean, he wants to use the corridor and he's coughed it up. Here's a go for Lilydale. Kick goes inside forward 50, and once again Drossler, hasn't he taken a lot of marks already? Got the handball out, picked up there by Burnston, goes back to Drossler. They'll go backwards to go forwards here. They might just slow it down a little bit. McNay takes the mark. It might be just beyond him here.
I don't know, he might have the journey here, I reckon. Run around on that left boot.
He hasn't wound up too much. He gives it everything he's got it. The wind's taken it. It's pushed it across. A big fly there by Koga. He got one bite on it. Ball's knocked through for a rush behind. Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Lilydale 1-5-11. Doncaster East 2 behinds.
I just feel that Lilydale are trying to over-possess the ball to try and create inside 50s, and it's not working for them at the moment.
That was the biggest shank you could ever see from White off the boot. It might work out okay for them. Lowther trapped the football, copped one high. Switches it out wide. Here's Martin. This way, that way. He's got a good turn of speed. Jackie Martin on the right boot. Kicks it up towards the half-forward line. How much curry will this have at the fall of the ball? Appleby's good tackle there on Kennedy, who got the handball away. And another free kick to Lilydale. I didn't think that one was too high. Certainly been a lot of free kicks paid to the Falcons, but they have been first to the contest for most of this first term. 23 minutes tick over in this first term. Ball goes up. Doncaster East players got in each other's way. In that fact, can Lilydale keep the ball alive right in front of us here? Ball's run over the boundary line and out of bounds.
It's like Optus Stadium out here, though, BWS. You know, the fans, the umpires don't want to give free kicks against the Lilydale Falcons at home. So it's thrown in to Pace in the ruck there against Stephen. It's come out the back though to Whitling, whose left foot snap around the bodies towards Batsanis, but it's well marked there by Mitchell Di Franceschi. He goes short and finds DePace. DePace looking to go short. He might have to just go long now. He's taken his time up. Umpire calls play on. Sam Gold pressures him and Gordon's behind him. He goes around the body and that kick's done well there. Shalakas, brilliant pickup. Got the handball to Stephen. Stephen got it to Lowther. Lowther was tackled as he kicked. Morrison will get there and take a good mark on his knees there. Just behind on the defensive side of the wing for the Falcons. He goes short in ball to DePace. That dangerous ball that they've been 50-50 on today. DePace is back where we started. This time he goes short and finds Zach Kennedy. Kennedy will go short back into the middle and he finds Di Francesco, who tried to spend it before he got it. He dropped the mark, got the handball to McNay. McNay will go long with that left boot towards right half forward. Dropping back in the hole there, but getting met hard there by Wiles was McLean. Baker picks it up the crumbs. Baker's tucked in on the pocket, takes one on Brock McLean, goes short with the left foot ball to Lockie Koga. And Koga marks in front of McLeod, deep in the left forward pocket for the Falcons, and he looks like he's going to have a shot. So Koga will line up. Dan Sensick.
Yeah, he's been really impressive in this opening term, Baker, hasn't he? We've seen him take the game on time and again. He's not the biggest guy going around, nor is he the heaviest, but he'll certainly give you a contest.
And Lilydale's time in possession in the first quarter, they've just really got to nail this goal and get some just reward.
Koga lines up, goes the drop punt, and he loves it! Lockie Koga! Bang! Been out of the goals for a couple of weeks as he brashed, but your man's back. That's his 41st for the year and his first for the day. The Falcons have 2. They're 2-5-17. Doncaster East just the 2 behinds. We've gone 25 minutes on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
If Lilydale are going to win this game this afternoon, Lockie Koga's going to have to fire.
Barry Cott's around the grounds with the score centre.
Division 1, Baldwin 2-4-16 to Knox, 2 behinds, 2 points.
41 goals now for the big spearhead, Lockie Koga. Margin back out to what seems to be fair at the moment. Lilydale dominating this first term, 7 scoring shots to 2. They lead by 15 points. Only think there's a minute or so to go in this, and who's going to win the clearance? Whitling was there, got slammed in a tackle, dropped the football. Umpire said play on. Stephen was there, putting a fair bit of pressure there on Batty. In goes Batsanis, on top of him was Wiles. Desperation stakes for all players, and we'll have a bounce just outside the centre square here.
Really good intensity by Lilydale in the first quarter across all lines of the ground.
High throws it up. Stephen just somehow worked his way to the front, then got boot to ball. They'll go forward here. Whittling a little toe poke up towards the Gordon direction. He was in the back spot, got a little knock over the top looking for Shalakas, who got muscled out of it. Now here's a chance for Lilydale. Mitchiner got the handball away. They were trying to link up. It was too quick for DePace that time. He lays a strong tackle though to make up for it, and we'll have another ball up. 26 and a half minutes tick on. 17-2. Lilydale have the lead. Kicking to the club room, ends at the LSO in this first term on EFL game day. Ball gets knocked down. Here's Brock McLean, got the handball away. Whittling on his favourable left-hand side. They're linking up. Simon White on the right boot, slams the ball forward. Geez, he got a fair bit of purchase on that. It might sit up for Summers, who steps around the body, and he makes no mistake. Doncaster East get a late goal, the latest of late goals on the siren, and they reduce the margin back to 9 points.
Well, that is a very, very important goal there for the Doncaster East Lions, Dan, because Lilydale probably dominated that quarter.
Yeah, they should probably be even further in front, Lilydale, the way the possessions that they've had. The delivery inside forward 50 hasn't been great at times. They've been bombing it a lot. The Doncaster East defenders have been fisting it over the top, but a much-needed goal for the Lions.
Well, so the score here at quarter time at the LSO, Lilydale 2-5-17, lead Doncaster East 1-2-8. The goal kickers, Lockie Koger and Braden Drossler for the Falcons, and there's a single there right on the sign for Jake Summers. We'll be back with the second quarter after this break.
Hello, I'm Peter Hitchener. 9 News invites you to join our team nightly at 6 for Melbourne's #1 news. Tony Jones with the latest sport, including the footy, plus Lavinia Nixon's weather forecast. 9 News, proud supporter of the Eastern Football League.
Program sponsor.
It's important to tell our loved ones how much they mean to us. So don't wait till tomorrow, say it now. During Say It Now week, Turban Brothers Funerals is encouraging you to tell loved ones what an inspiration they are and how much they mean to you.
Say it now, say how you really feeling.
Hashtag Say It Now week, August 20 to 26. Visit turbanbrothers.com.au. Turban Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
Nothing better than a companion to keep you up to date with all the latest when you're at the footy. Better still, one that fits in your back pocket. The Eastern Footballer is a must-read. All the latest information, team lists, feature articles and much, much more. Pick up your copy this weekend as you love it local across the Eastern Football League.
At Jeep, they're for mountain streams and Bluetooth streams. Capability meets connectivity in a range of Jeep vehicles with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Ready to discover the Jeep range?
EFL Saturday game day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Yes, welcome back to the Lilydale Sports Oval here, where Lilydale 2-5-17 lead the Doncaster East Lions 1-2-8. Wayne Brasher, Dan Sensick, your thoughts on that first term?
Yeah, look, I thought Lilydale's basically controlled the contest, probably 75-25 in time in possession. Probably didn't make enough of their inside 50s, Dan, and at Doncaster East, I think their back 50 was very sloppy trying to get the ball out, but that was due to the pressure that the Lilydale forwards were putting on them.
There's been a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes made by Doncaster East, particularly in that last 10 minutes of the first quarter, when Lilydale had golden opportunities to pile on a couple more goals and be further in front. Jack Martin, of course, dropped a mark. Brock McLean at half back there just coughed it straight up to a Lilydale opponent, and then they went forward, the Falcons. But yeah, inside 50s could be cleaned up a bit by Lilydale. They've been bombing it inside 50 a fair bit, and the Doncaster East experienced defenders like your Simon White will just come over the top time and again with the fist away. It's been those times, though, when Lilydale have seemingly been under pressure, but they haven't panicked, and they've
lowered their eyes, haven't they? Harvey definitely did, and Sam Baker definitely did.
Yeah, definitely. They've lowered their eyes and hit up a target, and that's going to hold them in good stead today, because we know Doncaster East love to turn the pressure up, and that's why they're first on the ladder currently.
Just on those defenders quickly, Dan, before Brash jumps in, my three best players in that quarter for Doncaster East were Simon White, Michael Stephen and Rami Aobi, who all played deep in defence that quarter. Stephen pushes up occasionally, but that's what you're saying. They did very, very well to repel so many attacks.
It's been, they've had the majority of the football in that for Lilydale, so it's only natural that they would be the best on the ground for Doncaster East. But they've held firm given the circumstances. With the rate that Lilydale have been pumping the ball in, I think they've done a good job so far.
I actually think, too, what Lilydale have successfully done as well is they've actually they've pushed Doncaster East forward 50 structure a little bit too far around Matt, in the fact that they've been stretching, and 1 minute they don't know whether they're going to come too far forward or too far less. And I think the thing is you're looking at sort of like Tommy Gordon at the moment.
Yeah.
He does really do need the run because...
He looks just a bit sort of match sharpness.
Yeah.
He's obviously fit to go, or else they wouldn't play him. There's no need to play him.
They've got to play. They have to play him. There's
no drastic need though, because they're going to play finals. But I understand what you're saying. They do need to get some games into him.
You've got to he's got to have a run before the finals. I think by and large, I think Lilydale deserved their 9-point lead, but I think it could have been a lot more.
I'm interested in Brash in the move of. We might go down boundary side to Tim Fitzsimons, who's with the Lilydale coach Ben Nagley. Might ask him why Brandon Drossler's gone forward.
Yeah, Ben, it was a really good first quarter there. You really matched it with him around the ball and going inside 50. A lot of possession. Probably a bit unlucky not to be a bit further ahead.
Yeah, we would have liked to get a bit more reward for the effort. Look, our pressure's been really good, and we're just trying to use the ball a bit smarter going inside forward 50. So,
does anything change for the second term?
No, not really. Same as. Hopefully we can kick a decent score.
Yeah. Thanks for your time.
Well, they might struggle to kick a decent score as
the
rain start coming down sideways,
hail,
and it looks like it's just going a bit right to left, so that might help the Falcons.
Mate, it's minor hailstorms.
We're inside. Tim's on the boundary. He can stay out there. So BWS is back in the box. What do you think of that first term, Ben?
Well, I think Doncaster East will consider themselves pretty lucky that they're not 4 to 5 goals down. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And Lilydale will probably be a bit filthy that they didn't pile on those goals, considering the conditions have just completely turned at this stage. But nonetheless, it's a 9-point lead to the Lilydale Falcons. They'll be kicking left of your radio dial, left of your screen. And here's Matt Fody to take us underway for the second term.
Lucky we've got the facilities here in the Unicorn. The screens might be needed as the hail comes down. Batty bursts out of the centre though and goes long inside forward 50. The target there is Koga. Well done there is the defensive work by Luke McLeod. Bernstein gathers though, went inside, outside, went to the boundary, right foot snap. Might be a goal! Oh! Every time we come to the LSO, there's a miracle goal from that pocket. Great work from Corey Bernstein. That's their third of the day. They're 3-5-23. Doncaster East 1-2-8. We've gone 30 seconds in the second term, Dan Sensick.
Well, ironically, given the conditions, that was one of the cleaner inside 50s Lilydale have had for the day. We saw Batty just burst out of the middle, go long. An opportunist goal if ever I've seen one.
Barry Cotts around the grounds with the score centre.
Division 3, Templestowe 6-2, 38 lead Churnside Park, 1 goal straight 6.
So, range just eased a little bit here. Ball back in the middle. Lilydale to try and get another clearance here. Little kick off the ground was smothered, but the Dales another smother there. That was well done. Wooten, though, second effort for Lilydale. Got the little handball away. Jake Whitling in the middle of the ground. Got the handball in towards the Micah Stephen direction, who laid a high tackle, and it'll be the Lilydale player in the skipper, Brad Lowe, on the right boot. Drives it up towards the half-forward line for them, and that was a centimetre perfect kick, and getting down low was Drossler. Gee, hasn't he stood up early in this game? Still too far out to score, though. We'll drive the ball inside forward 50. It was a flat-looking kick over the back there. It was knocked away that time there by Lukey McLeod, looking for the boundary line. Ceravolo was there, used his body well for Doncaster East, keeping the ball alive, though. Lilydale inside forward 50. The kick goes that time there by Baker, but it's chopped off by White. On the right boot, there's a couple of scrambly kicks White's done in this game so far, and Horsley gets down low for Lilydale, takes the mark, pokes the ball up to the half-forward line, where Lowe takes it. 70 metres out from the Lilydale goal line. They lead by 15 points 2 minutes into this second term on EFL Game Day. That's one of the worst kicks you will ever see. A grubber. Mickey McGuan did a couple of those in the 90s. It comes back towards Simon White. That's a better kick from White. Got it up, and Chalakas takes a strong mark. We're in the number 26 today. He's normally in the 28. Pretty quiet first term as well. Just goes short, looking for Murphy, who waited for it. Paddy Klepp was right on his hammer. Doncaster East weighing up their options here. Wearing the glove as well today, Lee Murphy. Takes his time, then kicks it up towards the Gordon direction. It was a well-weighted kick, and Tommy comes out. So Doncaster East surging forward now. In he goes towards the Summers direction. Almost pulled it in. It was tough. Nicely rode there by Elliott, though, for Lilydale. Got the handball away. It was risky business. Wooten got dispossessed by Batsanas. Here's Whitling on the left boot. And up and under kick. Will it have the carry? No, it's going to sit and underneath it. Taking a strong mark. Oh, no. Horsley dropped it at the crucial stage. It was a difficult one. Forced over the boundary line and out of bounds.
My God, that ball looks like a cake of soap at the moment. It's very, very slippery.
It was very interesting is why they didn't go long and high to Summers. Summers had the one-on-one with Di Franceschi. He had about a metre height on him, and they went low. So we're going to toss it in. Smith and Mitchener deep in defence for the Falcons. Mitchener wins the tap down, and there's a free kick, and it's going to Sam Horsley by the looks of it. Is it against Smith or is it against Batsanis? It looks like it's against Batsanis. Smith, so it'll go to Bo Mitchener.
Some more quarter-time scores around the grounds, Barry Cots.
Knox 2-5-17 to ball 139. Blackburn 5-2-32. Montrose 3 behind, 3 points.
Oh, Mitchener's low-spearing bowlers only found the fists of Jason Tendler, and he puts it over the boundary line for a boundary throw. And speaking of the boundary, Tim Fitzsimons.
Yeah, as Brash mentioned before, obviously the ball there, real slippery. The rain has stopped though, and the hail, thankfully for me, but it's still very slippery out here, as you can imagine.
Well, McNay slipped out of one, but Batty couldn't slip out of the tackle of their Martin. Got it to Horsley, who snap around the body, finds Trent Elliott here in just his third game. He sprints forward and goes long inside forward 50. He's just kicking for territory, I think, there, because the three players leading back in the race, Macleod, for the Lions. That's close to deliberate. There was only 3 blokes in the forward 50, and they're all Lions players, but nonetheless, with the conditions, it's Lilydale 3-6-24. They lead Doncaster East 1-2-8. We've gone 4.5 minutes here in the second term.
More scores around the grounds, Barry Cots.
More Division 1 score. Doncaster 4-4-28. Norwood 3 behind, 3 points. South Croydon 4-3-27 to Vermont 3-3-21.
Well, Martin took it from the kicking, got it to Batsanis. This is a better play for Doncaster East up towards the half-forward line. Just pushing his player underneath it. There was Summers who went after it again. He was off to the races. Nicely picked up, though, by Di Franceschi. Got the handball away. Shalakas comes in to lend support. Got it to Appleby. Got it to Batsanis. Scoops on it. Kicks it around the body. Inside he goes towards the forward pocket. A big fat pack forms. Shalakas handball over the top. Murphy might have to go off the ground. He just fumbled at the crucial stage. Little knock towards the boundary line. Shalakas got down low. They came over the top of him. Paddy Klepp was in there just to hold it up for Lilydale, and we'll have a ball up. It is incredibly close to the Doncaster East goal line.
You were bang on there, Beto. Yes, he had to go off the ground, didn't he, Lee Murphy? I know he's got the glove, but surely they had to go off the ground.
Getting up a little bit gingerly too. He's the Lions champion. The umpire throws it up. McLean's in there. A lot of players around this one expect another stoppage. Murphy got pushed just to that last second by Horsley. Horsley's having a good game.
These conditions definitely suit him as an inside mid. As soon as it started raining, would have been licking his lips, Brash.
Oh, most definitely.
Almost, not quite. As it comes, the umpire throws it up now. Straight into the arms of Connor Lucas, who brings it to ground. A quick score from Barry Cots around the ground.
Division 2, Bayswater and Upper Ferntree Gully. Upper Ferntree Gully 5-3-33. Lead Bayswater 3-1-19.
Well, it's deep in the Doncaster East forward line. Stephen goes off. A little snap around the body. Who might have kicked that one? I think it was Jared Smith, the big man.
It was.
So they're clunking a couple. Doncaster East just deep in their forward line, not set plays, but getting the job done. And it was a fantastic goal there by the big man just to pick it up and bang it on his boot. That's 2 now for the Lions. They are 2-2-14. Lilydale 3-6-24.
Opportunist goal there by Smith. You saw him just come in and scoop it up and get it straight on the boot. Simple footy's what wins you the games in conditions like this. And behind the play too, both sides went man on man, so they're just looking to get meterage at this stage.
Tapped down by Smith. And Horsley, he's given away a free kick this time. He's fallen into the back there of it looks like Appleby. And now it's going to be 25 because Ryan Harvey kept going with that.
And rightfully
it will be
so.
25. So Sam Gold had the footy after the free kick. The whistle was definitely heard there, Brash. So it will be 25-metre penalties. This, I believe it's Appleby. So Tom Appleby, his brother, the runner today. Appleby lines up from inside the centre square. He's gone long to the top of the square. Coming through there was looks like Stephen, who's gone forward. And now Paddy Klepp, though, took a strong mark coming back with the fly to the footy. So he's more or less taking a kick out here, Patrick Klepp. Goes long to the far side of the ground. He's looking for Ryan Harvey. Couldn't quite get there. Jack Martin takes a strong mark, goes short inside forward 50 and just finds his target there in the lead, Connor Lucas.
Gee, did he make him work for that?
He made him work, but it worked out.
How impressive has Jack Martin's Dukes been in this first quarter and a half with the slippery football?
Well,
Barry Cots, you've got a quick score around the grounds on the score centre.
Yeah, Croydon in Division 2, 2-4-16. One Turner South leading 3 goals straight 18.
So Connor Lucas comes in now. He just pops up the top of the score. He's looking for Stephen. Good fist there from Wooten. It fell down to Horsley. Horsley got it out to where it came from. And it looks like now it's going to be Appleby and Harvey. Martin came through there again. Harvey wants out in the full. And the boundary umpire says, I'm going to throw it in. We're just talking about the cake of soap. Jack Martin didn't think it was a cake of soap before taking that strong mark. But interesting decision from Connor Lucas there. Didn't back himself from well inside the 40. So a missed opportunity for the Lions, who are starting to get on top. 8 minutes gone here in the second term. Lilydale 3-6, Doncaster East 2-2. Half forward for the Lions as Mitchell wins the tap down for the Falcons, but it went straight down to Gold. Gold whacked it inside 50, looking for Mead. Gordon's there as well. Mead's got the crumb, and he's wrapped up by Zach Kennedy, but the Lions will take this. It's a ball up, 30 out from their goal, directly in front.
The Doncaster East have really packed the forward line with the big guns, Summers, Stevens, and Tommy Gordon.
Mitchell got the knockdown, roving in again. That time was Smith, got it to McLean on the right boot. It was touched off the boot. Little fresh air shot by Stevens at the top of the goal square.
I don't mind it.
Not a poke on it, but it went right and through for one behind. Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 9 minutes into this second term. Top of the table clash in Division 2. And it is Doncaster East trailing by 9 points. Who's winning and losing around the eastern suburbs on the score centre, Barry Cotts?
More Division 2, Mitcham 2-1-13 to Mirrabbark 1-1-7.
Di Franceschi takes it in the back pocket, the right back pocket, right in front of the Lilydale club rooms here, as he tries to drive his side out of that danger zone. Big fly over the back there by Drossler. Got a handle on it and will have a ball up just outside the centre square, almost centre half forward here for Doncaster East. And they get another one. Came out wide, and the man who had a great first half is Harvey on the left boot. Kicks it up towards the the wing position almost, and the hyphen class Henry sees it over the boundary line and out of bounds.
I just reckon that Lilydale are getting too many easy wins off the stoppage. Not enough pressure off the ruck there for Doncaster East.
They are smaller, Brash, so this wet weather may suit them if the ball's on the ground more often. As it's thrown in just forward of the wing for the Falcons. The taps one down there by Drossler. DePace gets the crumb, but he's wrapped up by Sam Gold. And we'll have a repeat stoppage here as the umpire says, give it to me. So Jared Smith, who's been very impressive, more or less rucked all day so far, he wins this tap down straight down to his skipper Batsanis, who's wrapped up by DePace and McNay, the 31 and the 32. And he's tossed into the turf, and we'll have another ball up. So Smith will probably go up against Drossler again, who's been impressive in his new role at centre half forward. As Smith wins the tap down, Wiles got the crumb and kicks it inside forward 50. Koga's double teamed, and the mark was dropped there by Jack Martin. The sun was in his eyes as Koga tries to wrap it up. It's tunnel ball though as it comes out to Batty. Tries to burst through the AOB tackle. Got the handball out there. Whitling was there for the Lions. So was Klaas Henry for the Falcons. Trying to burst through and dive on the footy. There's Koga again, and he's going to wrap up the Luke McLeod, I think, on the bottom of that pack, and we'll have a ball up at the top of the goal square for the Falcons.
Seems like Jack Martin's been swung forward in this second term. We spoke to Steve Buckle before the game, and he's played on a needs basis, and they need goals at the moment, Doncaster East, and he's the man for it.
Well, Smith on the tap down. Drossler was there for the Falcons as well. Bursting through Zappleby, tackled by Harvey. They look to be going head-to-head today. We'll have another ball up. So the rain's gone away. The sun's back out, but it's still wet.
And 10.4 degrees.
Does that feels like, or the real temperature?
The real.
Here's Healy at the top of the square. Got the handle over to Zach Kennedy. Might be taken high. No free kick. Good tackle there by Saravolo. And Lowther comes in to finish it off. Boundary line there. Tim Fitzsimons. What's the feels like?
Yeah, BWS. It definitely feels like lower than 10 degrees down here.
Thanks for that, Tim.
Pai throws it up now. Well, here's a bit of a go for them. It was a beautiful palm down that time by Drossler, but a lot of players around this football will see another stoppage. Well, a little bit stiff, I think, for Lilydale. Aobi got it away. Martin sold a little bit of candy, then thumped it on his boot, but there was nobody home. Just got cut off there by Di Franceschi, who still might be a little bit too far out for Lilydale, so he'll look for options inside forward 50 or thereabouts, and the mark's being paid here to DePace, who...
He's just turned his back on the boys. He's having a ping.
Looks like he might go back and back himself in here. So Jaden DePace.
Keep going, mate, keep going.
That was a really strong mark there by DePace. He was under all sorts of pressure from Connor Lucas.
We're right behind him here. Comes in now. Set sail for goal. That is absolutely beautiful off the boot. Straight over the goal umpire's head it goes, and that's the steadier one for Lilydale. They needed that. Bendigo Bank scoreboard 12 minutes into the second term, and they lead 4-6-30. They're double the score of Doncaster East, who are 2-3-15.
You mentioned early in the quarter, Ben, that Lilydale would be a bit filthy on themselves for not getting a bigger lead happening, particularly with the rain teeming down. Well, it seems like that's cleared now, but they've got a very handy buffer.
Barry Cotts around the grounds with the score centre.
Division 3, Templestowe 6-4-40, leading Churnside Park 2 goals straight 12.
Well, we're back in the centre. Jaden DePace went bang, didn't he? Down that end with the confusing 8 goalposts as it's balled up in the middle of the ground. Smith with a massive leap. Won the tap down to Batsanis, who just got the ball on the boot, and it floats towards centre forward. Wooten and McLean do battle, but it goes past them. Running onto this is Sam Gold. Big collision with Di Franceschi, who does really well. He's wrapped up by Connor Lucas, but well done by the Falcon there. Standing still, waiting for the footy. Sam Gold coming from one direction, Connor Lucas from the other. And he ends up in a ball up. It's 20 metres out from the Lions' goal.
And no player took a short step in that situation either. No one deviated from the footy.
Franceschi's back in there again. Sorry to cut you off there, Dan, as Zach Kennedy gets tackled by Jared Smith. Carry on, Dan.
No,
or was that it? That was it? Okay, no worries. I didn't cut you off at all. Came in perfect transition as it's tossed up again. Mitchener and Smith, who have done battle all day. Mitchener wins the fist out toward, but Shalakis is first there. Swings on left boot. Might have been taken high by Harvey. And he's been picked for holding the ball. Incorrect disposal. So Ryan Harvey's going to get a free kick at centre half back for the Falcons as they look to build once again.
So Harvey just waiting for some players to run forward here, and plenty did so. It's a nice looking kick off the boot. It goes straight into the middle of the ground. It bounces away. Got a nice fist on it there was McLean. It comes out. Here's Stephen linking up to Whitling on the left boot. Usually uses a football well. Goes out wide looking for Shalakis. Can he get a favourable bounce? He can't. Di Franceschi's had a good game. Got the handball over the top. Harvey takes it for Lilydale across the half back line. Got it back to Di Franceschi, whose handball went awry, and over the boundary line she goes for a boundary throw.
Doncaster are really struggling to hit an inside 50 target, BWS.
They certainly are. Barry Cott, some more scores around the grounds.
Division 4, Coldstream and Fair Park. Coldstream 5-2-32, Fair Park 3 goals straight 18, and Surrey Park 8-7-55 to Nuttawading 3 behinds.
Coldstream's good run at the end of the season seems to be continuing today as Mitchener got the knockdown. McLean was there to take it, and Healy just had him completely wrapped up in a nice bear.
Wayne Brasher hold on the whistle there. He wanted holding the ball.
And we'll just wait for the ball to come back to the umpire here. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. Right around the globe this afternoon on EFL Game Day. It comes out now. Batsanis tried to trap it. Healy came in from the side. Little handball from McLean. Went to Whitling inside forward 50. But that man again, Di Franceschi, takes the mark. Almost could have got 25, but that would have been a little bit ticky touchwood. So Di Franceschi for Lilydale drives the ball up towards the wing position. Whitling, he's had a bit of the football, dropped the mark, and then wrapped Healy up in a good tackle, and will have a bounce. True centre wing position, far side of the LSO.
They're not intimidated, Lilydale, at all by the physicality of Doncaster East and the more mature bodies. They're matching them pound for pound at the contest.
Well, matching it there was Richard Wild and Michael Stephen, the 215s, and Stephen won that one, shirt fronted him, and the ball is knocked out of bounds by Shalakis. Because Stephen beautifully roved it and then just ran through him, Brash.
They did, and I think that's one of the things that's frustrating Doncaster East. They can't get clean possession at the moment.
Well, Smith and Mitchener go again. Jared Smith's been really impressive today. Kicked one of the Doncaster East goals. He wins that tap, but Batty's there. Batty's left foot ball around the corner looking for the 2-on-1. Wilson might have given away a free kick. He probably will have given away a free kick for a push in the back, and it will go to Jack Martin, who's come well into the game in this second term in the long sleeves. Double B&F winner. Chips out wide. Oh, spent it before he got it there was Dracula, sorry. And he might have copped a boot to the head there, a stray one, but he should have taken that mark.
Get up.
A couple of blokes have done that today, Brash. They've spent their money before they've earned it.
Yeah, that's what slippery conditions can do to you.
Barry Cott's around the grounds with the score centre.
Yeah, quarter time Doncaster 4-4-28 to Norwood, 3 behinds, 3 points, and quarter time Bourne trailing Norwood 2-8-20 to Bourne 139.
The Falcons come away through Healy. Short ball is looking for Trent Elliott. It goes over his head. He comes through though, wins it on hands and knees. Might get a free kick from the back, doesn't. McLean got the handball back, found White, who looks for Batsanis, who's going to run into Sammy Baker. He tried to take him on. He got him. Got the handball out though. Wiles wins the handball back to Batty. Bryce Batty on that left boot, chips it out wide. Paddy Kleps in heaps of space here. He keeps it just inside the boundary line according to the boundary umpire. And he's low ball. Finds the skipper Brad Lowe on the lead. Right in front of a little bit of a faithful there in the left forward pocket. So the skipper, Paddy Klepp, did he keep that inside? Oh, I think that ball was out of bounds. But Brad Lowe's going to have a shot at goal here. Tucked in right on the boundary line. He'll kick from about 20 metres out. Distance shouldn't be a problem, although we did see him go the little Jonathan Thurston grubber into the end zone as his kick off the boot. It's a wobbler, but I don't think he likes it. No, it's thudded into the goalpost. And that's another behind. Lilydale 4-7-31. Doncaster East 2-3-15. We've gone 17.5 minutes on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
More scores coming through around the eastern suburbs, Baz.
Yeah, Whitehorse Pioneers quarter time 4-3-27 to Eastbourne 3 goals straight 18, and Blackburn 5-2-32 to Montrose 3 behinds.
McLean had a lot of the football for Doncaster East. Goes out towards the Summers direction. Big fly over the back. The ball came down. Smith got it, the little handball away, and they're just trying to work themselves forward. Stoneham overran it. Nicely done there by Healy, who got... People were calling for high, but he's been pinged holding the ball. So it'll be Shalakis.
Oh, that was very cheeky. I like that. I like that.
He wanted to take off with the football there. It was touch and go. The umpire makes him come back and kick over Jared Healy. Spotted up Jared Smith. The ruckman takes it 2 kicks from home. Kick goes inside forward 50. Looking for Stephen. Could he pull it in with the 1 mid? He couldn't. Got it away. Here's Whitling on the left. Whitling. Can he put it through? He can't. He had too much curl on it in the end, and it goes through for 1 behind. On the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 18.5 minutes into this second term, and is Lilydale leading 4-7-31 to 2-4-16.
Is Koga following Mika Stephen all around the ground? Because Koga's usually at full forward, but he was back there on the last line of defence.
So Lilydale bring the ball back in once again. Big fly over the top of Mitchiner, who had 1 bite at the fall of the ball. Batty got the handball away. That was okay. Bernstein's kick goes out towards the wing position. It was a little up and under, but it might work out okay for them. McNay overran the pill. Good tackle there by Sam Gold on Horsley, and we'll have a bounce just inside the centre square, just forward for Doncaster East.
I think Lilydale's speed from the stoppage and clearances is really hurting Doncaster East right throughout this game so far.
Well, who can get the clearance here? Comes out Smith. Might have been a sling there on Bernstein against Appleby, and it will be a free kick the way of Lilydale as we get another update from around the grounds with Barry.
Yes, Division 1, Roval 3-3-21 leading Noble Park, 2 goals straight 12.
Bernstein goes long to centre forward, but it's all the lines, and it's a good strong mark taken by Simon White. He plays on quickly and switches the play, and he's found a runner here in Aobi. Aobi's kick doesn't look too good off the boot, but it might find its target. It does. Summers gets it on the bounce, steps inside, gave the handball there to a man, and he's wrapped up, and the umpire has pinged him. No, he's given a free kick, holding the man. So Rami Aobi's going to get a kick on centre wing. That was in dispute. Short ball inside. Handball over the top comes to Lee Murphy with the glove. That's a classy little left foot ball inside 450 looking for Gordon. It just floated over his head, but great pick up by Stephen. Got his handball before he's tackled. The crowds are wrong there. And Shalaka sits on top of Horsley and wraps it up. I'm sorry. I'm a Lilydale man, but that was not holding the ball to the gents to our left. He definitely got a handball to that, did Michael Stephen. We're going to have a ball up 30 metres out from Lions goal. They need to make this count.
Tell Jared your old Smith man to pipe down.
I think he's had one too many already as Smith slaps it forward. Klepp was there. Lee Murphy was as well. He's being dragged by Doug Wooten by his jumper. And the umpire says, we'll have it to me again. Ball up. We've edged 5 metres closer now to the Lions' goal. Right forward pocket, 20 out. They need a goal. They trail by 15 points. 20 minutes gone in this second term. Tossed up, Smith and Mitchiner. Smith won that tap and then got his own crumbs. He's had to do it all today. Smith then again, hands and knees, got it back and he's wrapped up. He's been a mammoth today, Jared Smith, as the ball has not moved, Brash.
He really is trying very hard, Smith, to get his side into the contest.
So it's going to be difficult to get clear possession here, but they did it quite well. Bernstein for Lilydale bangs it on his boot out of that danger zone into the middle of the ground. White looping handball over the top for Doncaster East. Can it sit up for them? It can't. Dracula couldn't take the Nkame Ubi over the top. And he was wrapping up Elliott, and we will have a ball up right in front of us here in the broadcast position, right in front of the Lilydale Grog squad. The umpire throws it up. Smith once again took it from the contest, got it to McLean. It was smothered that time there by Harvey. Still very close to this boundary line. Nicely scooped upon there by McNay. Will he be able to keep it in just inside the blue boundary line? And we'll have a boundary throw in almost half forward line for Lilydale.
40-20 that, Brush. That's a Lilydale feed, that.
Yeah, I think Ben Neagle will be really happy with the intensity that these players are really attacking the contest this afternoon.
So, taking a little while for this ball to come back into play.
Maybe it's going on the train.
Drosseler had the front spot. Smith got the knockdown. Nicely done there, though, by Lucas to get the handball away, and they're off to the races. Ceravolo got it away to Appleby up towards the Stephen direction. He got out-muscled that time there by Wooten and put off his feet, and over the boundary line it goes. It's crossed down boundary side to Tim Fitzsimons.
Yeah, you just touched on it there, Brash. The intensity from Lilydale around the contest has been really evident. And Doncaster East, I feel like too many times they're trying to take on that first tackler and they're getting caught straight away.
Tim wants it back to one handball, one kick as Bo Bitchener wins the tap out and just slaps it 15 minutes forward. McLean should get there first. Good block from Harvey, but Ceravolo gets it. He's sat on top of. No free kick. Tenler takes possession and is run over the line by Harvey. And we'll have a boundary throw in on centre wing here at the Lilydale Sports Oval. For those who didn't get Brash's gag, we are right next to the Lilydale train station as well. So I got it, Brash. We're just making sure.
Barry Cotts around the grounds with the score centre.
Division 3, Templestowe 8-7-55 to Churnside Park, 2 goals straight 12, and Scoresby 5-8-38 to Warrandyte 1-4-10.
Smith's tapped down, rode by Upperby. He's coming into it in this second term. Got it back to Gold. Gold took on the first tackler and got away from him though and kicks it inside forward 50. Gordon's there. Mitchener's back as a second defender, but Gordon's going to get a free kick here, and this might be within range for the big fella. He's got a free kick right on the arc. He'll be kicking from about 45. He looks a bit indecisive about whether to have a shot here, and it's much needed.
Well, he has to back his own judgment here, and he should be able to kick this goal.
He should. So a kick from about 45, from a 45-degree angle. He goes short, though, for the lead of Lee Murphy. Beautiful kick, Brash. Should never doubted him. Always had the right mindset, and he finds Murphy, who's about 20 metres closer, but a 10-degree more angle. He's on the right, tucked in there on the left forward pocket, about 25 metres out here, Lee Murphy.
But this is just Lee Murphy's range as well.
You reckon? He's just got the leg, man on the line. There's no one on the line for Lilydale yet. So Murphy comes in, his right football floats, it's got the distance, it's got the accuracy. Lee Murphy kicks the Lions third, and they are 3-4-22. Lilydale 4-7-31. 24 minutes gone here in the second term. Quickly down to Tim Fitzsimons on the boundary.
Yeah, we've seen 2 goals from that side. When there is a bit of a breeze, it is pushing across that side, so it's curling back in nicely. We've seen a couple of shots from this side of the ground, and it's kind of just drifted across the face to the left. So when there is a bit of a breeze, although there's not much, it's going across the ground.
Barry Cotts around the grounds with the score centre.
Yeah, early days in Division 3, Heathmont and Waverley Blues 2-3-15 apiece.
Mitchener went up unopposed that time and thumped it every bit of 30 metres, bouncing out in front of Class Henry, who spun on it through, squeezed the kick up towards centre half forward. Magnificent play to pace, just made the space nicely and takes it across centre half forward.
He's kicking with a gale here. He's kicking with an absolute Chris Gale.
He'll kick from just outside the 50. Going to back himself in also.
Well, he kicked a lovely goal from this position roughly earlier in the quarter.
So he comes in now, and it was an absolute shank off the boot. Goes right out towards the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, and it's going to travel, and over she goes on the full. So it'll be Christian Chakula to bring the ball back into play for Doncaster East. They're in the back pocket. It's to wind up, get every bit of purchase he can on the football, but nobody was home. Went out of bounds on the full. Badit Franceschi was there to take the mark anyway. Let's give him the mark. He goes back inside forward 50, and that just stayed inside the line as well, where Ryan Harvey takes it. A very difficult angle, though.
Well, the wind's clearly pushing everything out to that far side again, Brash.
I'll tell you what, he might have to aim for the inside right behind post here to wait for that wind to take it across.
25 and a half minutes into this second term. Comes in now, and it looks pretty good off the boot, and he puts it through. Fantastic goal there to Lilydale, and it goes the way there of Ryan Harvey, who used the wind perfectly, just sat it out in front and let the wind do the rest. And Lilydale get the answer on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 26 minutes tick over in this second term, and it is the Falcons 5-7-37 to 3-4-22. Barry Cotts is chomping at the bit to go take us some scores around the grounds.
Yeah, and with Baronia 3-5-23 leading Ringwood 1-3-9.
Well, another chance for Lilydale to go forward. They a nice strong tackle there on Brock McLean, and we will have another bounce.
Yeah, we will. In the centre circles, Falcons by 15 points here late in the second. Mitchener with a brilliant tap down to Harvey. Roosted inside forward 50. He's looking for Koga, but the target in the end was Baker. The fist was away there. Beautifully done by Chakula, and he fisted over the boundary line for a boundary throw in.
He clearly is the best player on the ground at the moment, Ryan Harvey. He's just having an impact on in wherever he goes, he's touching the ball and creating a little bit of magic.
Well, he's going to be important to the Falcons' premiership hopes. The ball will be tossed back in here. The wind might wreak havoc with this as Smith and Drossler do battle. Smith just took it out of the ruck. No one tackled him, so he kicks long outside defensive 50, and his opposite number, Bo Mitchener, lets it run out of bounds. Did Smith take that directly out of the ruck?
No, it was just the way that the wind just wafted it over the opposing ruckman's head, and he just ran into it.
Barry Cotts around the grounds.
Yeah, Division 2, Upper Ferntree Gully 5-9-39 to Bayswater 5-3-33.
Deep into time on here at the LSO. Lilydale 5-7-37 lead. Doncaster East 3-4-22 in this top of the table Division 2 clash. As Smith won the tap down. There's a free kick. Umpire coming in. He wasn't officiating that umpire. He's given a free kick though to Sam Gold, holding the man off the ball. He's been getting a little bit of extra attention as Gold. He goes long down the line. He's looking for Summers. It's going to come though to Nick Del Biondo. Del Biondo rebounds away with the right football. It's a little awkward kick. It's looking for DePace. It finds the trainer over the boundary line. That's out on the full. So Jason Tendler will bring it back in, Brash.
One thing Steve Buckle won't be happy with is his disposal.
So it's Brock McLean to...
Oh, he's pinched that off him.
Send the ball forward here for Doncaster East. Drives the ball inside forward 50. Big fly by Summers over the back. He crunched the pack. The fall ball, Appleby. They were looking for one late one. Again, Doncaster East, but the siren beats them. And at half-time out here at the Lilydale Sports Oval, it is the Falcons leading 5-7-37 to Doncaster East 3-4-22. All single goal kickers right across the board. Is that correct, Matt?
It is correct. All single goal kickers.
Yes.
I thought you wanted me to list them, Ben. Never mind.
No, all single goal kickers right across the board. It's half-time out here. We're going to have a break. We'll come back. We'll go around the grounds, including to the Channel 9 newsroom, right here on EFL Game Day.
EFL.org.au is the place to be online for all the latest on the Eastern Football League. Keep up to date by checking out the latest news and feature articles. Have your say in the EFL poll. Check out all the latest EFL videos, and best of all, you can listen back to any EFL radio program at any time. Head to EFL.org.au. The Eastern Football League. Local footy at its best.
You'd need to find a field of premium potatoes, a deep-sea prawn trawler, and a herd of prime beef to create Australia's best steak meal. But the great thing is the Hog's Breath Cafe do it every day. So you only have to go to one place to enjoy the most tender, juicy prime rib, slow cooked for 18 hours until it's the most unbelievable steak you ever tasted. Hog's Breath Prime Rib, the best a steak can get, and only at the Hog's Breath Cafe.
Program sponsor.
Bigger and better, Netball EFL is back. The fastest growing competition in the eastern suburbs continues to expand. Don't miss the fast-paced action every Friday night across multiple venues. For more information or to get involved, head to efl.org.au.
It's important to tell our loved ones how much they mean to us. So don't wait till tomorrow, say it now. During Say It Now week, Turban Brothers Funerals is encouraging you to tell loved ones what an inspiration they are and how much they mean to you.
Say it now, say how you really feeling.
Hashtag Say It Now week this Monday till August 26. Visit turbanbrothers.com.au. Turban Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Yes, welcome back to the Lilydale Sports Oval in this 1 versus 2 clash. It is currently the Falcons 5-7-37 leading Doncaster East out here by 15 points. Goal kickers for the Falcons, Corey Bernstein has one, Ryan Harvey, Lockie Koga, Brandon Drossler and Jaden DePace. And while for Doncaster East, Jake Summers has one, Jared Smith and Lee Murphy slotting one late in the quarter there. And let's go to Barry Cotts for all the around the ground scores. And there's one game finished for the afternoon, Barry.
Yes, and certainly indeed. And the reason being is that the women's game will be played at 3:15 this afternoon. It was Donvale and South Belgrave, and the final score was Donvale 12-7-79 defeating South Belgrave 5-11-41 in that game. So an early start for that game. Let's go through some progress scores of what we got so far. Let's start off with Division 1. After starting up very slowly, Bourne have fought back over Knox. Bourne 6-8-44 to Knox 2-10-22. Blackburn 5-2-32. To Montrose 2-3-15, Doncaster 4-4-28 to Norwood 2-3-15, Noble Park and Roval. Last score was it was Roval 3-3-21 to Noble Park, 2 goals straight 12, and South Croydon were ahead of Vermont by a goal in Division 1. Let's flip over the card and look at Division 2 scores of what we've got so far. Upper Ferntree Gully is leading Bayswater. Upper Ferntree Gully 5-3-33 to Bayswater 3-1-19. One turn to South and Croydon, one turn to South, 3 goals straight, 18 to Croydon 2-4-16. And also Mitcham and Muralbark, a very early score. Mitcham 2-1-13 to Muralbark 1-1-7. Division 3, we'll check some scores there for what we've got so far. Churnside Park and Templestowe 8-7-55. Churnside Park 2 goals straight to 12. Scores be 5-8-38 to Warrandyte 1-4-10. And it was all tied up. Heathmont and Waverley Blues 3-3-21 apiece last score. Checking some Division 4 scores, and Coldstream and Fair Park, and it's Coldstream 5-2-32 to Fair Park 3 goals straight 18. Surrey Park and Nuttawading, Surrey Park 8-7-55 to Nuttawading 3 behinds 3 points in that game. Just an update, Ringwood and Baronia. Baronia lead Ringwood 5-5-35 to Ringwood. So Baronia 5-5-35 to Ringwood 3-3-21, and Bayswater and Upper Ferntree Gully 6-3-39 to Bayswater 5-3-33, and we'll have some more score updates a little bit later on. Back to you, Dan.
Thanks, Barry. Tim Fitzsimon's joining me on half-time today. And Tim, you've been down on the boundary. You've seen it firsthand. Both sides are very physical. It's got a finals feel about it, this game. I get the feeling, though, that Lilydale, they're not intimidated by Doncaster East, not intimidated by their bigger bodies and their more experienced heads.
Yeah, that was the question coming into it, wasn't it, Dan, that we were talking about quite a bit pre-game, was how they'd cope when the pressure's applied with the, obviously Doncaster East probably having a few bigger bodies, but they're really standing up in the contest. Both sides are bringing quite a bit of pressure, but I think Lilydale's composure in close is just a bit more than, a bit better than Doncaster East. I feel Doncaster East probably a bit hesitant when they get the ball, don't know whether they're going to give that first option. They look to fend off, getting tackled quite a bit. Lilydale probably not rewarded with a few holding the balls there, I believe, but it's still, I think it could really go any way from here, because I think Doncaster East, they haven't, I personally haven't seen Donny East play probably this poorly in recent times, and Lilydale, they're really standing up to that pressure, as we said before, and their efficiency probably inside 50 wasn't the best in the first quarter. They probably should have been a bit further ahead, but that second quarter they really steadied again.
They're renowned for their slow starts this season, Doncaster East. We almost ask Steve Buckle about it every single time he's on good enough to come on EFL Sunday. But the other thing being, you touched on that Lilydale have been more composed, but particularly going inside forward 50. That's been the difference. Doncaster East have been fairly messy going inside forward 50, whether they're bombing it, just looking for meterage due to the pressure applied by Lilydale. Whereas the Falcons have lowered their eyes more often than not. They look more systematic going forward, and it's really showing on the scoreboard. One of the goals Doncaster East kicked that quarter actually was an opportunistic one. That was by Whitling earlier on. And you got to take those half opportunities, but aside from that, they haven't looked very pretty going forward.
No, and they don't look like they've really had many opportunities either. When they're inside 50, not many realistic opportunities anyway. And I feel there's been a couple of times where they've had them shots, or they've had the opportunity to have a shot from 40 or so, and they're kind of just setting it up with no real purpose. And I just think on a day like today, you've really just got to take a punt and really have a go at them opportunities.
Well, we saw the rain come pouring down, or the hail in some case. You'd know better than anyone else, Tim. But Lilydale had opportunities early on in the game to bank a few more goals. They haven't done that, but they lead by 15 points at the moment. In a game like this where they've really stifled Doncaster East scoring power, we touched on it pre-game. The amount of weapons down there in the Doncaster East forward line, Jake Summers being one of them. He's clunked a few great marks but hasn't been outstanding. Jack Shalakis has done a few nice things here and there, and also Jared Smith too. But the Lilydale defence has been holding strong, given the fact that they haven't gone inside forward 50 a heck of a lot, Doncaster East, but the times it has, the Lilydale defenders have been right on the ball. But conversely, up the other end, we said at quarter time that the Doncaster East defenders, under a lot of pressure at the rate that Lilydale were pumping the ball in, now they're starting to slip away a bit, given the fact that there's been that many Lilydale players out on the lead due to the fact that they've been able to break the shackles off their man. And as we say, across that half-forward line, the Lilydale players have lowered their eyes and hit them on the chest.
Yeah, I think early on in the game, Lilydale were kind of playing into Donny East's advantage down back in their forward line. Sorry, they were going in, and Doncaster East were probably reading the ball pretty well. But as the game's progressed, Lilydale, they've learnt from their mistakes early, and they're lowering their eyes, which is what they were talking about quite a bit at that quarter-time huddle, is hitting them targets inside 50, and we can see what they do. They've had two terrific set-shot goals,
in that quarter, and the opportunities that brings is lowering the eyes. You get them more realistic opportunities at goal rather than how Donny East have had to kick 2 of their goals, which is a snap from a stoppage or, I guess, a goal out of nothing.
There's been a fair few mistakes made around the ground, uncharacteristic mistakes by a certain class of player that's really made. Unfortunately for Lilydale, they haven't made the most of those opportunities. There was one, I think, in the first quarter where Jack Martin dropped a mark. I think it might have been across the half back line, and Lilydale scooped it up, went forward, but could only register a minor score. Then across the half back line again, it was, I think, McLean coughing the ball up, kicking across the ground and straight to a Lilydale man, actually. So, and then Lilydale went forward and they were unable to kick another goal there. But there's been a fair few skill errors from players I wouldn't normally expect it from, and that's due to the pressure by Lilydale. And we often talk today about the finals-like atmosphere and the finals-like feel of the game with hard in and under contested footy. And this is how finals are won. The team that's harder for longer will win the game. And we've seen it in the last month of footy as well, right across the Eastern Football League, when sides up the top end of the ladder have been competing and needing to get that win.
Yeah, exactly. And you mentioned them errors. It's been a very error-ridden game, hasn't it? There's been a lot of, I guess, a lot of fumbling, which I guess can be put down a bit to the wet weather in that second quarter, but it doesn't excuse the first quarter because we saw quite a bit of it in that first quarter as well. It wasn't too breezy up until probably halfway through that second quarter when the gale force winds came through. So, yeah, I'm a bit surprised that there's been so many skill errors, but as you said, that can be put down to pressure. And I think Steve Buckle especially, because Doncaster East have probably made quite a few more of them errors. He's going to be very disappointed in his team because I think he would expect by now his team, a very pretty seasoned team, that they shouldn't be making these type of skill errors regardless of how much pressure they're under, because they've been in a lot of high pressure games before where they've been able to stand up and they haven't been able to do that so far.
Well, coming out of last week's game, of course, Doncaster East have, they came up against Wantirna South and they only won it with about 40 seconds to go. They came away with the points, and speaking to Steve Buckle before the game, it seemed like the side were a bit sore coming out of last week's game. Very heavy track, sort of similar conditions to today's game. Granted, the ground has probably held up a lot better out here at the LSO than it would have out at Zerby's, but never underestimate the toll last week's game would have taken. Let's go to Barry Cotts with some halftime scores.
Yes, the halftime scores are starting to roll in. We'll start off with Baronia and Ringwood, and it's Baronia 5-6-36 leading Ringwood 4-5-29. Halftime at Coldstream and Fair Park. Coldstream well in front. Coldstream 10-4-64 to Fair Park 3-1-19. Halftime with the Doncaster-Norwood game, and it's Doncaster 5-7-37 to Norwood 6 behind 6 points. And Forest Hill and also Kilsyth, and it's Forest Hill 6-10-46 to Kilsyth 2-3-15. And halftime Mulgrave and Park Orchards, and it's Mulgrave trailing Park Orchards 5-3-32 to Mulgrave 4-7-31. And halftime score Upper Furniture Gully and Bayswater. A very close game indeed. Bayswater 6-4-40, just leading Upper Furniture Gully 6-3-39 halftime.
Thanks very much, Barry. Now, Tim, if you were to pick your best handful of players out of both sides, I was just casting my eye down the Lilydale list, and it's a lot easier to find better players out of that Lilydale lineup than it is for Doncaster East. They've had more standouts, I think, so far, the Falcons. Ryan Harvey's been fantastic. We know he's got that bigger body around the contest. He's been pretty imposing. Very cool and calm under pressure as well. Bryce Batty has been strong around the contest too, being able to shrug tackles and pinpoint hit targets as well. He's been great. I've also thought Sam Baker. Now, he's not the biggest man on the ground, but he's been influential in a number of their plays, the Falcons, where it's often resulted in goals. If I look at the Doncaster East side, it doesn't bat as deep. I know they're battling hard out there, but there's a few guys that really need to lift. I think Michael Stevens played well in this first half of footy. Jake Summers has battled well too. He's been a presence up forward, but he needs a bit more help, I think. They're not going to win this game, Doncaster East, if they don't have a functioning forward line and more help that we know they're capable of up forward.
Yeah, exactly. And I think they're going to be looking for their players like Batsanis and them type of players that are really going to have to try and find something and pull something out of nothing, kind of like they did at the end of last week, the way the game's going at the moment. But as you said before, Lilydale have had quite a few more probably standout players. And as you said, they're definitely probably smaller around the contest. I think Burnston has also been really good around the contest. There's another small, and Di Franceschi I think has been really good down back as well.
I think they're getting killed on leg speed at the moment too, Doncaster East. When the ball's turned over, the Lilydale men are quicker to flood forward and provide options, rather than Doncaster East. They look a bit stagnant. Granted, they can move the footy, but they're not as quick to stream down the field and provide those options when they do turn it over. That's been a difference as well.
Yeah, and I think what that comes down to is them skill errors. They haven't been able to link probably 3 clean possessions together very often, which makes it really hard for them to, I guess, link that play up, get it inside 50 and get some clean ball and get their players in the right positions, because they're fumbling the ball, so they don't have the confidence in getting to them right positions early enough.
And Lilydale's pressure's been right up. I noted a couple of times in that second term where Doncaster East players have had the footy and they've handballed it to a man or to a teammate with 2 Lilydale players coming right at them, ready to be tackled. It's not the way to go about it if you're going to win this game of footy, and that's what we refer to as a hospital handball, Tim.
Yeah, you're right. They are. They're not putting their teammates in the right positions, I think, and they're putting them under pressure, and that it's playing into Lilydale's hands, because Lilydale are a class outfit that are able to, I guess, stop that ball movement if they're going to be making them skill errors and not making the right decisions.
Well, plenty of room for improvement by Doncaster East. They're only 15 points down. We've seen them come from the clouds a number of times this season, so it's going to require a special effort in this second half.
Yeah, you're right. And as you said there, they're only 15 points down. We've criticised them quite heavily in this halftime break here, but that's the good thing for them. They're only 15 points down, so they're well in the contest and they've got a lot to improve on. So I don't think this game's done with yet.
Well, we're going to take a break here from the Lilydale Sports Oval. When we come back, the second half, Lilydale versus Doncaster East.
G'day, Billy Brownless here from The Footy Show. KFC Almost Footy Legends is back in 2018 and we're searching for the best highlights from local footy. Head to 9now.com.au/AFL Footy Show and upload your entry for a chance to win $35,000 cash plus a year's supply of KFC.
Program sponsor.
Nothing better than a companion to keep you up to date with all the latest when you're at the footy. Better still, one that fits in your back pocket. The Eastern Footballer is a must-read. All the latest information, team lists, feature articles and much, much more. Pick up your copy this weekend as you love it local across the Eastern Football League.
At Hogsbread Cafe, we're serving Aussie-style great food and a feel-good attitude. Now we're going the whole hog with pasta, more seafood, chicken, rib dishes and fresh salads. And always our famous 18-hour slow-cooked prime rib steak. What are you waiting for? Come in for lunch or dinner and experience the value that is Hogsbread Cafe.
Chadstone, Dandenong, Kooringal, Knox Ozone and Water Gardens. Come in and experience some hospitality.
Our hospitality is all about you. We do great steak.
Program sponsor.
Never miss out on the latest information on the Eastern Football League through the league's social media channels. Live updates, information and scores through the league's Twitter account.
It's important to tell our loved ones how much they mean to us. So don't wait till tomorrow, say it now. During Say It Now week, Turbin Brothers Funerals is encouraging you to tell loved ones what an inspiration they are and how much they mean to you.
Say it now. Say how you really feeling.
Hashtag Say It Now week, August 20 to 26. Visit turbinbrothers.com.au. Turbin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Well, we're back at the LSO here for the second half of this top-of-the-table clash in Division 2. At the moment, at the home side, the Lilydale Falcons lead 5-7-37 to Doncaster East 3-4-22 as the wind's picked up. There's booklets and everything flying across the surface there. Lee Murphy gets an early disposal. He's got the media pamphlet. He hands it off to Fitzsimons. No, he's just going to jog off the boundary here. So we're about to get ready to go in this second half. Tim Fitzsimons running hot. The stats come up on the screen, the old Channel 9 one, Brash.
Yeah, most definitely.
Of course, so here we go. Wild weather at Lilydale, and it should be a wild second half of footy. Bo Mitchener and Jared Smith about to do battle again. Smith probably got the honours around the ground, Mitchener in the ruck. We'll go again. Falcons by 15 at the moment. and Smith wins the tap out and starts where he headed off. Batsanis missed it. Whitling didn't. Got on the left boot and just hammered it inside forward 50. Stevens got the sit. Wouldn't drop the mark. He'll get there on ground level. Summers pressures him, and Wooden heads for the boundary line, and the umpire says throw it in.
Yeah.
So good start from the Lions, and we'll go down to the man with the most disposals on the ground, Tim Fitzsimons.
Yeah, as you mentioned before, we saw the media sheet fly across the ground there. The wind's really picked up. It's gotten super blustery. There's going to be a few skill errors, I reckon, in
Left
this.
or right here, radio dial?
It's more straight across the ground towards the opposite side of the broadcast position here. And we mentioned before about the weather, 10 degrees. I'll go back to you quickly, Bat.
Oh, it's a goal. Thanks for coming back to us, dear. It's a goal there. It looks like Michael Stephen on the left boot there, just crumbed from that boundary throw-in that just sort of drifted away from Mitchener and Smith. Neither of them got it to it, and Michael Stephen said, I'll have that. Brushed one aside with the cast on that right arm, and his left foot snap goes through. An early one for the Lions. They're 4-4-28. The Falcons are 5-7-37. We've ticked over a minute here in the third term.
Exactly what you want to do in the first opening minutes of a quarter. Kick the first goal, get some momentum going, and make sure that your side can take full advantage of the next clearance from the midfield.
Margin is back to 9 points. Lilydale still lead this one 37-28 on AFL game day. Full card of games right across the eastern suburbs as you go local for your football this afternoon. Barry Cott's keeping us up to date with all of those on the score centre. Ball back in the middle. Even Steven that time comes down ground level, picked up nicely there by McNay, got the handball backwards, that was good. Here's Batty now on the left, he winds around up towards the half forward line for Lilydale. The ball sat up though, and getting right underneath it was McLean for Doncaster. He squeezed to kick to Batsanis, got it away to Whitling. Jake on the left boot, a helicopter punter, carried in the end. Dropped what he should have taken there was Clapp, and then went on. He might get pinged here, and he will get pinged. A fantastic tackle by Aaron Ceravolo, and Doncaster East a chance to make it 2 in a minute.
Really good tackle there by Ceravolo. Made sure that that ball stayed in the forward 50. Beautiful tackle and was well rewarded.
Going short as well. Tom Gordon left unattended, 20 metres out from goal, and the big full forward will go back and have a shot for his first goal of the afternoon.
It's one of the few opportunities I've had Doncaster East to have a conventional shot on goal right in front.
So they've missed him this year, Tom Gordon. He's only played 9 games for the season, but he has kicked 21 goals. He would like to make it 22. As he comes in now, you'd expect this to be bread and butter for the big man. Leans over it, kicks it high, kicks it straight. Doncaster East, they've come to play in this second half, and look at the boys get around him as well. They've reduced the margin back to 3 points. It's as close as it's got since the start of the game. Bendigo Bank scoreboard 3 minutes into the third term. 5-7-37 to 5-4-34. Barry Cott's around the grounds with the score centre.
Yes, some Division 1 half-time scores. Bourne 6-13-49 lead Knox 3-10-28, and Blackburn 8-10-58 lead Montrose 1-7-13.
Boundary.
Let's cross down boundary side to Tim Fitzsimons.
Yeah, you can already feel it early here. Doncaster East, they've really lifted their energy. Lilydale a bit flat early on.
Ball back in the centre of the ground. Mitchener wins the tap down. It's out towards McNay, but he's pressured by Whitling. Hands and knees, there's Appleby. He's done really well in this game. Got it back to Batsanis, who just goes to the barrel by looks of it. Got none of it. It's munged inside forward 50. Summers fires on the second grab. Couldn't quite bring it down. Shalakis gets the crumbs, and Kennedy jumps on top of him and wraps it up. Almost had it on the second grab there. So inside forward 50 for the Lions. They've kicked 2 in 3 minutes here in this third term. Smith wins the tap down. Batsanis tried to come through. Di Franceschi gets it, tries to bulldoze his way through, and gets sat atop by Summers, and we'll have another ball up.
They're trying to open their forward line and get their big guns into the contest here, Doncaster East.
Going well so far. Smith wins the tap down to Batsanis. Good tackle by Di Franceschi. Summers out of mid-air. It's a goal! And doesn't he love it? Bit of Frank the Tank. That's his second. Jake Summers, 49 for the year now for the big fella. It bounced out of the hands of Batsanis and just sat up for him, and he swung his right boot at it and collected it lovely, and the wind just takes it through, and all of a sudden the Lions have kicked 3 goals in the first 4.5 minutes of this third term, and they lead by 3 points. They're 6-4-40, Lilydale 5-7-37.
Well, the momentum's a funny thing in this game. Doncaster East were 15 points down at half-time. Suddenly now they're 3 points in front. Lilydale have got to reply, as Doncaster East are very hard to stop when they get on a roll like
this. It's the first time they've been in front all day. The ball hits the deck over the top there of Smith was low. Lilydale skipper against the Doncaster East ruckman, who tapped it down magnificently to Batsanis, who handballs it up towards the Appleby direction. He left it for Sam Gold, who just arched the back Sammy on the left boot, kicks it to the top of the goal square or thereabouts. It was a 2-on-1 situation. Gordon was in the back spot. Summers chases after it. Nice little fist on there by Morrison to see it go over the boundary line and out of bounds. Left forward pocket. It's down Doncaster East end. Very quick score from Barry Cotts around the grounds.
Yeah, half-time, Vermont 5-10-40 with South Croydon 6-4-40.
Close game, top of the table clash in Division 1 today. There's some real rippers right around the eastern suburbs, even in tough conditions. Smith got the knockdown, Lilydale got the clearance, a scrambling kick up towards the half back line. Comes out though, here's wide, inside forward 50. Shalakis was in position A, and he'll go back and have a ping from about 40 metres out. He's on a difficult angle, but we have seen goals kicked from this side of the ground so far.
That's just the class of a player that's played at the higher level, and a great awareness there to point out Jack Shalakis clear in that forward pocket.
So Jack Shalakis at the 6-minute mark. He's kicked 22 goals for the season to increase the lead to 9 points. Who would have thought about it this early in the term? That is a magnificent looking kick. The goal umpire did not move. Gun barrel straight, and Doncaster East haven't they set off in this third quarter out here at the Lilydale Sports Oval. Bendigo Bank scoreboard 7-4-46 to 5-7-37.
It's following trends this season, isn't it, for Doncaster East? How many times have they started slowly but gotten their groove on as the game's worn on? It looks like it's happening now.
I just feel, though, with the way the wind's going, I think they're going to probably need a 3 or 4 goal lead coming into the last break.
Barry Cotts around the grounds with some more half-time scores.
Yes, another Division 1, Noble Park 7-4-46 to Roval 4-5-29.
So back in the centre of the ground, Mitchener and Smith. Lilydale need a steadier. Mitchener whacks it down to pace, try to get through, and there'll be a free kick for a hold on Richard Wiles. So he's right next to the cricket pitch here in the middle of the LSO. The Falcons, who haven't even had a disposal in this quarter, trail now by 9 points, and Wiles goes out towards Koga, leading towards the right half-forward flank. The two number 12s collide there, and McLeod wins the battle for the Lions and slaps it over the boundary line for a boundary throw-in.
Well, that was their first inside 50 for the quarter. It took 7 minutes.
Basically their first touch, Brash.
Yeah, really.
So Doncaster East have kicked 4 straight goals within 7.5 minutes of this third term, as it's tossed in on right half forward for the Falcons. Koga and White. White won the tap. Lee Murphy should get there first. Doesn't take clean disposal. Jared Healy does. Got a handball out. Class Henry's there. Whitling's there as well for the Lions and won it. Got the handball out to Batsanis, who tumbles it end on end forwards over the head of Smith. It's going to sit up for Summers, who taps it over the head there of Morrison. Well done by Drosseler back there. He's gone back in defence. Handballs over the top there to Del Biondo. Del Biondo got it back there to Wooten. Wooten doesn't like his foot skills, but does well to get it to Healy at centre half back, who takes the mark, steadies. He's just going to take a little bit of time here, and Falcons will.
So Healy now called to play on, so he'll have to use the broadcast side here. Just poked it up towards the half-forward line. McLeod got a handle on it, then doubled back, got the handball away to White, who linked up with Martin, who just loves to take players on. Just got boot to ball in the nick of time, but his kick was a little up and under, and then Ryan Harvey was right after it, and he was right off with it as well. Scrambling kick by him, kicked it straight back to Jack Martin. It's kick to kick down here at the LSO. And Jackie will go back and just weigh up his options. He's got White short. He'll go that direction now, just outside of their defensive arc. Doncaster East looking for a chance to go forward, trying to do it in bits and pieces. Gold takes it right in front of us here in the caravan. Now he's called to play on. Usually got good purchase on the football, and this time is exactly that as he goes, but it was a 4-on-1 situation. He was looking for Smith, but getting in the right spot there was Morrison, and now Lilydale a chance to go forward again.
Yep, Callum Morrison, right half back, goes short, but that's a dangerous looking kick. Lee Murphy, the gloveless hand, punches it in the air. Appleby crumbs, kicks long inside forward 50, just rushed it. Micah Stephen does well, got a fist, brought it to ground. Jake Summers, snap around the body! That's 5 for the corner for the Lions! Jake Summers has got his third. That's a half century of goals for the year for the Doncaster East big man. They're 8-4-52. They lead Lilydale 5-7-37. We've got 9.5 minutes in this third term.
Yeah, they're doing everything right at the moment. Doncaster East. Someone from Lilydale needs to start taking responsibility for Simon White in the back line. He's getting too many easy positions. He's starting to cut him up.
It's been a 30-point turnaround, and we've only played 9 minutes in this third term. Barry Cotts some more scores around the grounds.
Yeah, Heathmont 4-5-29 to Waverley Blues 3-7-25, and Ringwood 5-6-36 lead Baronia 4-5-29.
High throws it up. Nicely done there by Smith. Knocked it down. But Lilydale through Burnston on the right boot. In fact, it was Wilson that time up towards the half-forward line, standing underneath it. Jared Lowther, usually solid as a rock. He kicked it. I think it might have been touched off the boot. The umpire said it was okay. Gold knocked it onto his cousin there in McLeod, who couldn't quite trap it. He's given away a free kick, though, at the last stage. It might be advantage here, or it'll come back to Koga. I think it will. And Lockie Koga won't be happy that he's this far out from goal. I think this is beyond him.
Maybe. He might have a shot, though. I wouldn't put it past him to just line up. He'll take his 30 as the rain is now coming down, Brash.
Yeah, how important is that opening 10 minutes for Doncaster East?
Koga now just chips it away. That's okay. Mark's been taken by Clapp. Still 2 kicks from home, though, Lilydale. We'll squeeze it into the middle. Why wouldn't you go to Harvey? Been a good player today for Lilydale. A little bit indecisive, aren't they, the Falcons at the moment, as the ball goes inside forward 50. In the front spot there was Mitchener. He got spilled it and then he almost threw it on there, but picked up by White, slams it on his left boot. Just got it out of that danger zone, but nobody is home. Dropped what he should have taken there was Monmouth Morrison. Did a little pirouette, it was chopped off there by Appleby on the left boot. Goes inside forward 50, and now a foot race does ensue. Drosseler might be the first one there. In fact, it's Summers. The big man, Kenny, managed to pick it up. He's got 2 players to beat there. They did well then, the 2 Lilydale defenders. Drosseler has the ball. He's indecisive though. Handball over the top. Gets it away to Klepp on the left boot. Dangerous kick out towards the half-back line. Here's the skipper, Nip Batsanas. He'd love to kick a skipper's goal. Up to the goal square. Big fly by Summers over the back. He couldn't pull it down. Murphy overran the football. Kennedy at the last line of defence clears it out for the Falcons, but he's gone wide. Very, very wide, in fact. And it will be a boundary throw-in just outside, just inside the paint. That was Brash, and still 2 kicks from home, Doncaster East.
Great call, BWS. As we do battle again here, left half forward for the Lions, Mitchener and Smith. Mitchener wins the tap down, looking for DePace, but it ends up with Batty. Batty tried to take on one too many. Got his handball to Wilson, who's gone on ball. He gave it to DePace, who flipped it over the top for Wiles. Wiles took on the block. Class Henry ended up with the footy. Now Wiles is going on hands and knees, slaps it out towards DePace. Aobi gets the handball over the top. Wilson tries to burst away from the pack. Takes the handball off to Healy, who's wrapped up by 10 to hold the ball. Stoneham took the advantage, says the umpire. Swings it out wide to Mead. Mead on the left shoe, goes long towards goal. And he's missed. Callum Morrison drops the mark on the line. It goes through from behind. But the Lions are all over him, Brash. They're 8-4-53. Lilydale yet to score in this third term. They're 5-7-37. 12 and a half minutes gone in this third term.
Yeah, they've really cut open the Lilydale back 50 in this opening 15 minutes.
Barry Cott's around the grounds.
Yeah, Templestowe 9, 761. Cherdside Park 2 goals straight 12.
D. Franceschi. Just inside the defensive arc, tugged up on the boundary line, so he'll go towards the wing position, kick it to the 2 ruckman, big fly over the back, and a nice knock towards the boundary line by Sammy Gold. Forces the stoppage and the boundary throw in. Baz.
Scores be 5-8-38, leading Warrandyte 1-4-10.
Keep the scores coming in all afternoon at Footy EFL. This game is being watched right around the world and listened to as the umpire brings it in from the back spot. Might give that one to Smith. Lilydale over the top there. That was okay. Nicely done there by Batty. Up towards the half-forward line. Might be downfield free kick here. Class Henry might run onto this as advantage.
It'll be downfield, so I don't think you can take the advantage. No, you can't.
No, it's going to come back.
It's got to come back.
So
you can't. I don't think you can take the advantage from there.
Almost wasteful of Lilydale actually doing that as well, because they've given another 30 seconds for all the Doncaster East defenders to get back in that defensive zone. So Batsanas will hand it back to Klepp. So Klepp, he's a nice kick of the football. He should probably back himself in here. They need something out of the blocks, and this is a beautiful kick inside forward 50, where the big man Koga comes out. That's what he's been asking for. Put it out in front, and I'll take it with the Dukes.
He's your man, Brash.
He is, and the other thing is, if he doesn't take the mark, Koga, he's also good enough to run onto the ball and kick a long goal.
Currently trailing by 16 points, the Lilydale Football Club. A chance to reduce that margin.
How far has he gone back?
To 10 now. Koga's kicked 41 goals for the season thus far.
This is a trade of his from his early...
He's kicking at 15. He's walking in 30, Brad.
Yeah, I know, but that's a trade of his from the early from his younger days, mate.
I played with him. He didn't walk this far back.
He did.
Well, he's confident in his approach, and I think he might put this one through as well. He spears at it, and he has pushed it to the left-hand side. Lilydale faithful, can in hand, didn't go up with that one and through for a minor score. 15 minutes gone here. It's back to a 15-point margin. One of the margins looking like around the eastern suburbs.
Looking very close in Division 1. Vermont and South Croydon. Third quarter just started. Vermont kicked a goal, so it's Vermont 6-10-46 leading South Croydon 6-4-40.
Well, Simon White's going to bring it back into play. 15 minutes gone on this third term, and it's been all the lines. He goes long up the guts, but it's found Bryce Batty there. He munged it off the boot. Batty looks to play on immediately, swings onto his left boot, and pokes the ball inside forward 50 to Harvey. He takes a strong mark. No, play on, touched off the boot. Got the handball back to Klepp. Klepp's left foot grubber around the corner, finds Trent Elliott, who handballs back towards Klepp. It's missed his target. Stoneham does well for the Lions. Sits on top of the footy, and the Lions will take that. As Jack Martin piles in, we'll have a ball up at left half forward for the Falcons. The Lions will definitely take that after Bryce Batty marked at centre half forward. So we'll have a ball up again. Lowe looks to be going up against McLean. Didn't think I'd be saying that in the ruck duel. McLean wins the hit out down to Batsanis, who got the handball to Gold, who's been good in this term. Elliott wrapped him up. Batty takes his time. Left foot kick off the side of the boot. Is going to dribble out of bounds for a throw-in. And the Falcons will take that. So they'll be 25 out from goal. I don't know. Christian Tricula wants the deliberate. I don't think Bryce Batty deliberately meant that. So I'm going to throw it in. It'll be the two 12s in the ruck, Koga and McLeod. Falcons desperately need a goal after it's been all the lines in this term. They kicked 5 goals in the opening 10 minutes. McLeod wins the tap down. Batty's improved in these last 5 minutes. Takes on a couple of tacklers. Umpire wanted to pin him, I reckon, there, and then said, oh, I'll have it here. So it's a ball up, repeat stoppage.
You reckon he felt some sympathy for him, did you,
Maybe.
Nate?
He might have, as Koga wins this tap out towards the boundary line. Brock McLean will win the race, take his time, and just step over the line. We'll have a boundary throw in.
I reckon one of the things that have gone Doncaster, they've won those little 50-50s this quarter at Doncaster, is that they weren't getting in that first half.
So it'll be thrown in again as the rain comes back. This ball is turned into that cake of soap that Wayne Brasher was talking about in the second term. Koga one front spot. He might get a free kick. That is very, very cheap if it is. He has. I think Lockie Koga's got a free kick for a push in the back here against Luke McLeod. And I feel for McLeod here. As BWS would say, that's a bit Tiggy Touchwood. I don't.
He's not even close to a free kick.
Koga's just run under the ball. Koga's run himself under the ball and got a free kick. So he's going to kick from the same spot he missed from before, and the Falcons desperately need this one. Lachlan Koga, 41 goals for the year, has 1 goal, 1 today. He's crossing the 40 now, 45-degree angle, 35 metres out. Kicks through this one. It floats right, hooks back left. Too far left. It's another behind. Lilydale 5-9-39. Doncaster East 8-5-53. We've gone 17.5 minutes in this third term. Dan Sensing.
Well, that would have been a huge injustice for Doncaster East there. You look at the free kick on the replay, and it was very Tiggy Touchwood, and they'll breathe a sigh of relief for Lions.
Well, it's in the back pocket with Batsanas. Barry Cott, some more scores.
Yeah, just repeating an early game start today. South Belgrave and Donvale. Donvale 12-7-79. Defeated South Belgrave 5-11-41.
Well, they've worked it up okay here, Smith, and then it came in the arms there of Summers, who thumps it on the boot. Inside ball 50, and the tallest man in the contest, Tommy Gordon, to stand strong. Good jukes, and he's clunked it. And then it's shot on goal coming up for Doncaster East.
He read the breeze there, Brush.
Oh, magnificent. He did very well. And he just put his arms up of the right trajectory as the ball came down. And it just, as soon as he grabbed it, it stayed.
Get Lukey to him.
So Tom Gordon kicked a goal in this third term.
Yes, so Goldie's got to take in, then you go on the foot.
He'd love to put this one through. Margin currently stands at 14 points. Gordon almost from point blank range. He shouldn't make any mistake with that one, and he certainly does it. Doncaster East, they lead by 20 points, and no doubt the Sousby boys and Carlos enjoyed watching that one on the stream.
They've lifted a lot this quarter, Doncaster East, with their leg speed and their running. In that first half, I just find that they were a bit stagnant, particularly when the ball would be turned over. But that goal was created from the fact that once it was turned over, they all got on their bikes and ran forward, and that resulted in the goal.
I reckon Steve Buckle at halftime has asked this group of guys to lift the intensity and put it right on the Lilydale boys and see if they could match it.
Giving him a bit of the hairdryer, you reckon, Brash? Well, it's definitely worked. He's had to do that a few times this season, but it's working. Mitchener wins the tap down. Bernstein overran it, and Whitling whacked it on the boot. It goes centre half forward. Good fly from Mead. Shalaka slaps it forward. Connor Lucas is taken in a tackle by D. Franceschi. We'll have a ball up centre half forward for the Doncaster East Football Club.
He can't get any clean ball today, Lucas. Every time he touches the ball, he's always tackled.
At least he's touching it, Brash, as Mitchell wins the tap down towards Sammy Baker. Shalakis is there as well for the Lions. McLean wins the race header Wiles, who tackled him. Appleby takes on a couple too many. Incorrect disposal, says the umpire. It'll be a free kick to the Falcons. Bernstein wants to take the advantage and does. I'm not sure if this is much of an advantage, though, as he's just dribbled it 25 metres out for a boundary thrown on centre wing.
No advantage at all there.
Barry Cott's around the grounds.
Division 2, 8-minute mark of the third quarter, and it's up to Furniture Gully 9-5-59, leading Bayswater 6-4-40.
Yep, looks like they're consolidating second spot. The Kings, as Doncaster East are 20 points ahead of the Falcons here. The LSO is thrown in just in front of centre wing Falcons territory as Harvey wraps up Lowther there. So just shows the difference. Tom Gordon slots that one from 20 metres out. Lockie Kogan missed a couple of set shots. You'd back him to kick most times as Mitchell and Smith do battle. Smith wins it down, but Low Shark the tap. Goes long inside forward 50. Koga's going to come large here. Leaps over the pack and gets a tap down. Running straight through is McNay. He was stripped of the possession. Picking up there's Luke McLeod, but he couldn't gather. Sam Baker piles in. And the Falcons will get a stoppage inside forward 50. McNay just sort of came through on a pose
pretty lucky not to get pinged as well.
So, toss it up again. We've said it a couple of times this quarter, the Falcons need one from this stoppage. Kogan wins the tap down. Micah Stevens slams on the boot. It goes straight up in the air. Is he going to pay a mark umpire? I don't know. Sammy Baker dropped it anyway. Good hands and knees from Class Henry, who's been quiet. Then under there is Lucas again, Brash, but he's tackled. Cannot get a clean disposal, the poor fella. He's been all right, though, doing enough for his side. 21 minutes gone here in the third term. Inside Lilydale forward 50. They trail by 20 points after leading at half-time by 15. Sam Gold sharks the tap and whacks it to centre wing. Del Biondo missed with the spoil, and now Summers and he were going to run to it. Drossler got there first. He tried to run through Jake Summers, who said, "Come here, big fella," and bear hugged him over the boundary line for a boundary throw.
I think Drossler's getting a free kick because of that, too.
No, ball up.
No, ball up. He looked like he was going to get a free kick.
Almost went to about an old man there.
Umpire throws it up. Smith got the knockdown. Shalakas was running out wide. It fell in the lap of Kennedy. He's brought to ground and will have a bounce just outside the 50-metre arc for the Doncaster East Football Club. What a third term they have had. 6 big ones. 22 minutes are about to tick over. We're into time on in the premiership quarter. It comes out Micah Stephen, who's had a relatively quiet third term while Doncaster East have been piling them on. Got it away to Martin. He's brought to ground, and we'll have another stoppage. A quick one with Barry Cotts.
Yeah, it's all tied up. Division 3, Ringwood and Baronia, 5-7-37 apiece.
Fantastic stuff, Barry. Doing a great job this afternoon. Brock McLean sees it over the boundary line.
Well, the danger here for Doncaster East is conceding goals in red time. We saw Lilydale do it in the first and second quarters, and Doncaster East were able to close the gap. They'd be filthy on themselves, the Lions, if that happens to them this quarter.
Well, looked like there was some holding happening there on Mitchiner from Smith.
That actually was a free. I'll give him that.
That was absolutely a free kick.
Gee, he was pleading innocence there.
So
probably owed one from before, to be fair.
Big Bo just scrambled a kick. It was an absolute shocker. Pardon me, as Rami went after it, and coming charging in there was McNay. Gave away a free kick to Ayubi. Got the handball back to White, who likes to thump the football. And this is no other way as it goes towards the Gordon direction. He had the back spot again. Gordon got the handball away. Here's Shalakas. Archer's back. He got the handball away just in the nick of time. In there was Appleby as well. Ceravolo's in there, picked up there by Summers. Little toe poke, but it's chopped off by Mitchell. The umpire said it didn't go far enough. He goes back to Klepp. Klepp needs to clear it out of that danger zone. He thumps it on the boot, but straight down the throat of Micah Stephen, who the big man will go back and he'll back himself in from here.
Dan, where is Patrick Klepp going there? That was 3 Doncaster East players and 1 Falcon, and he overhit the ball.
Well, that's the sort of pressure the Lions are applying at the moment that Lilydale actually did to Doncaster East.
Gives it away to Sammy Gold. The handball from outside 50 was a floating kick right towards the top of the goal square. The ball is still alive, picked up there by Summers. He got dispossessed. Klepp's in there as well, brought to ground. Umpire's going to come in and ball this one up 10 metres out from goal.
He put the fend off out there. Could have been pinged.
So 20 points is the margin. It is deep in the Doncaster East forward line. Umpire throws it up. There is a lot of players around this ball. Picked up there. That time by Bernstein, who got broad, and he is dispossessed. Connor Lucas letting him know all about it as well. And he'll go back and have a shot on goal from about 15 metres out, directly in front. In fact, it might be Jared Lowther who's going to... They went the gang tackle, and Jared...
Connor Lucas, Brash, he still can't get a free kick.
So Jared Lowther
At least Steve Buckle will be happy with his 1%.
Oh, absolutely. One of the favourite sons of the Doncaster East Football Club comes in now, and he has missed it. That's an absolute shocker.
Should have kicked that.
That's a lifeline. Should have let Lucas have a shot on that one, Jared. But, well, that's a let up for Lilydale there, absolutely. There's no doubt about that. Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 21 points is the margin. Barry Cott's around the grounds.
Division 1, 15-minute mark of the third quarter. Ball and 10-8-68, well ahead of Knox, 4-5-29.
Could have been confused by those multiple goalposts down at that end as Braden Drossler looks to bring it back in for the Falcons.
Stop making excuses.
Well, what's happened here now? An umpire's found something. Sam Gold's down, and now they're getting it. Oh, Brad Lowe swung. He got reported last time we were here. There's a bit to do here. Gold's down. Umpire's reaching for the back
as well.
Okay, so the book or the card. It's a card. It looks like it's going to Sam Gold. So Sam Gold's going to come off. Yes, for the Brock McKean, who is standing right near the effects mic, you can come on for someone who's been yellow carded and red carded. In fact. So that's why we don't have the send-off rule in the AFL. The players don't know what's going on there, BWS. But there's a free kick against Sam Gold. We're not sure what happened. There was a bit to do on Brad Lowe, who reacted pretty aggressively. So the footage will be there for those who want to use it. So,
so it was a free kick where the play happened, and now a 25-metre penalty.
So Brad Lowe's now in the centre of the ground. Gave it off to Drossler, who had the kick out originally. He handballs over the top to Ryan Harvey. Takes on one too many. Got the handball over to Wilson. Wilson swung it to Klepp. Klepp got the handball over the top there to Pace. Pace got it to Harvey. Harvey handballs over the top towards Wilson. Allow the trip to the vital moment. Wild's in the pocket. Snaps to the top of the goal square. It should be cleared by White. He missed it. Lowe came in. So did Pace. Comes to Lowe as well. Wilson on hands and knees. Good handball out to Wiles. His dribble kick finds Lowe. Lowe steps inside. Gives it to Sammy Baker and steps behind. Oh, it's all happening. Lilydale after all that, a 5-10-40. Doncaster East 9-6-60. We've got 26.5 minutes in the third term.
Take a breath.
I was spitting by the end of it.
Gee, I reckon
I might have to clean it up here, bro. You carry on.
They wasted that inside 50 there, Lilydale. They should have done a lot more with that even before the ball.
The pressure Dan's talking about, though, was manic from both sides.
And Doncaster East would breathe a sigh of relief there. What I touched on about 5 minutes ago, they don't want to concede a goal at this stage either, particularly after missing one from directly in front up the other end moments ago.
The football's gone over the old horse sheds.
Might be a change of luck here for the Falcons, hopefully, with that new footy. Umpire checking it. She's a football. Yep, she'll do.
Inflate gate.
I don't know if we've got a pump here.
Really?
Might have had to jump out the Alinda Creek Hotel and find that footy, Brash.
So Doncaster East to bring it back in through White, who played it to himself. He likes to do that. Found Batsanis in the back pocket. 27 minutes tick over. Short passes on it was risky, but found Murphy. So Lee Murphy has got McLean across. Doesn't want to go that way. Now he's going to be called to play on. Short passes on. It was a spearing pass too. It was a great one. So Batsanis, who got it to Murphy, is outside the defensive arc. Just chips it over the top back to Murphy. And two mates playing kick to kick, but the kick couldn't find him. And over she goes for a boundary throw-in. True centre wing position out here at the LSO, far side of the ground. Barry Cott's around the grounds with the score centre.
Three-quarter time, Roval and Noble Park. Noble Park 10-8-68, Roval 6-8-48. And also three-quarter time, Forest Hill 7-11-53, leading 5-5-35 over Kilsyth.
Still across the half-forward line for Lilydale here. Doncaster East backs just wanting to hold this one up. Pretty comfortable with their 35-point turnaround in this term. Can Lilydale snag a late one and go in at the last term full of confidence? The kick goes up towards the top of the goal square. Who's going to be at the fall? It's Ayubi in there. He just wants to paddle it towards the boundary line. Baker was in there as well. All was fair, and we'll have a boundary throw in left forward pocket.
I don't think Doncaster East need to go back into their shells here. They should just keep playing the same way that they've been playing all court. Keep attacking the contest. Don't go in your shell now.
Pye throws it in. Stephen made his way to the front and then barged his way through like a bull that he is and got boot to ball. Bouncing football. I'll take that as touch. Over she goes for a boundary throw in.
This Melbourne weather's doing my head in here, Brash. Sun's back out now.
Yeah, no.
29 minutes gone here in the third term. As Dan keeps mentioning, Falcons need a goal here in red time and the Lions desperately don't want to give one away. That 6-goal burst in this term has blown the game open as Mitchener tapped it down to Pace and he's wrapped up by 3 or 4 lines. Shalakis and Lowther, 2 of them. So we'll go again with Mitchener and Smith. Smith wins this one. It ends up though in the hands of McNay, who's been quiet. He left foot dribbles it forward. Batty puts pressure on Batsanis, but he breaks out of the tackle and whacks it on the opposite boot, straight down to centre forward. Drossler leads Mead to it, but Mead does well to bring it to ground. Ducked his head. Kennedy, good tackle. Lee Murphy hacks it forward. It's going to look like Gordon. Gordon tries to slap it onto the runner there, and Batsanis, who did hack it out of mid there with a nice little left foot chip that doesn't count. So at three-quarter time here, Lilydale have only kicked 3 behinds that quarter. They are 5-10-40, and after leading at 15 points at half time, they now trail by 20. Doncaster East 9-6-60. We'll be back after this short break for the last quarter of footy here at the Lilydale Sports Oval.
Kids eat free Mondays and Tuesdays for a limited time at Hog's Breath Cafe. Get out! When an adult dines at Hog's Breath Cafe, you also get a kids meal free. Select from any one of our special kids meal combos with a soft drink and ice cream. That's hospitality. Mondays and Tuesdays for a limited time. So get in for our great kids meal deal. Kids eat free at Hog's Breath Cafe. Love you to join us. Call 1-800-HOGSTAR.
Chadstone, Dandenong, Coringal, Knox Ozone, Water Gardens and Geelong. Come in and experience some hospitality.
Program sponsor.
Never miss out on the latest information on the Eastern Football League through the league's social media channels. Live updates, information and scores through the league's Twitter account.
It's important to tell our loved ones how much they mean to us. So don't wait till tomorrow, say it now. During Say It Now week, Tobin Brothers Funerals is encouraging you to tell loved ones what an inspiration they are and how much they mean to you.
Say it now, say it how you really feeling.
Hashtag Say It Now week this Monday till August 26. Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
Nothing better than a companion to keep you up to date with all the latest when you're at the footy. Better still, one that fits in your back pocket. The Eastern Footballer is a must-read. All the latest information, team lists, feature articles and much, much more. Pick up your copy this weekend as you love it local across the Eastern Football League.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Welcome back, three-quarter time here at the LSO, and it's a big 20-point lead to Doncaster East, a big 6-0 quarter. They hold sway. It's Doncaster East 9-6-60, leading Lilydale 5-10-40. The leading goal kicker on the ground for Doncaster East is Jake Summers with 3 and Tommy Gordon with 2, with all the rest singles being for both sides. Barry Cotts, any sort of scores here at three-quarter time? Let's start reeling them off.
Okay, the scores we have got, Donvale and South Belgrave. It was an earlier game played at 12:45 p.m. start time today, and the final score was Donvale 12-7-79 to South Belgrave 5-11-41. Churnside Park and Templestowe 15-9-99 to Churnside Park 2-1-13. Scoresby 5-8-38 to Warrandyte 1-4-10. Heathmont and Waverley Blues, interesting battle. Heathmont just ahead. Heathmont 6-7-43 to Waverley Blues 4-7-31 in Division 3. Let's flip over to Division 1, pick up some scores. And Bourne and Knox. Bourne's well ahead, 9-15-69 on Knox, 3-12-30. Blackburn 8-10-58, well ahead of Montrose, 4-7-31. Doncaster is well ahead of Nord. Doncaster 5-7-37 to Nord 4-2-26. Noble Park 7-4-46, Roble 4-5-29. And Vermont just a goal ahead of South Croydon. The last we heard, it was 16-46 to South Croydon, 6-4-40, so we'll have an update very shortly. Let's check some Division 2 scores, what we've got so far. Bayswater and Upper Ferntree Gully close tussle. Upper Ferntree Gully 9-7-61, Bayswater 9-5-59. One turn to South 7-2-44, Croydon 5-4-34. Mulgrave and Park Orchards, Mulgrave 4-7-31, Park Orchards 5-3-33. And Mitcham 10-3-63 is leading Moorbark 6-5-41 in that game. We'll have some...
Any Division 4s?
Division 4s we can have a look at, see what we got so far. And I can tell you that Coldstream 14-7-91 to Fair Park 4-4-28. Forest Hills 7-11-53 to Kilsyth 5-5-35. Whitehorse Pioneers 7-6-48 to East Burwood 4-2-26. Surrey Park 18-13 1-21 to Nottawading 3-6-24. And as well as that, we actually got a three-quarter time score. Roval Noble Park in Division 1. Noble Park 10-8-68 to Roval 6-8-48. And we do have a three-quarter time score now with Forest Hill and Kilsyth 7-11-53. Forest Hill to Kilsyth 5-5-35. So there's your scores so far.
Thanks, Baz. And we've just heard some breaking news from the Ringwood-Boronia game, and we believe that Trent Farmer has actually gone off the ground.
Suspected broken arm.
With a suspected broken arm. That would be a big loss on the eve of the finals for the Redbacks, but that's unconfirmed at this particular stage. And Dan, a really interesting quarter there by Doncaster East. They really put their influence. Let's go boundary side, Timmy.
Yeah, and with Steve Buckle. Steve, what was the main turnaround, that half-time break that really forced a change in that third quarter?
Oh, I think we lost a lot of cohesion between our mids and our forwards, and then I think guys were just stemming away from what we do really well, and that's actually winning the footy and getting our hands on it first. There was no real urgency out there in that first half, so once we were able to swing that around and get the guys' energy levels up a bit, and you could see once the forwards started connecting with the mids a lot better and the mids started spreading, we started getting some opportunity at goal.
Thanks for your time.
Well, thank you there, Tim. So we're about to launch into this last quarter of footy here. Third versus first here, Brash. Doncaster East in front by 20 points.
For mine, Lilydale need the opening 2 goals, I reckon, just to get some momentum back into the contest, Matt.
Yeah, they'll be ruining missed chances, as will the Lions, of course. Jared Lowther probably missed the chance to put the first nail in the coffin, but we're ready to go here. Mitchener and Smith do battle once again. Mitchener won the tap down straight to Batty. It's almost a carbon copy of the start of the second turn as he comes away from the middle with the left foot kick inside forward 50. Sam Baker dropped the mark. Lowther picks up that handball, though. He missed Jack Martin. Brad Lowe tries the cheeky one off the side of the boot, and his check side is marked by Rami Aobi for the Lions, and he'll steady it up deep in defence.
Had a good game today, Rami.
So Rami goes long down the line towards Summers and Del Biondo. Flying in from the sides, Mitchener. He gets a fist to the ball. Zach Kennedy leads the race, and he's shoved over by Tom Appleby. And it'll be a boundary throw in centre wing. Tim Fitzsimons down on the boundary.
Yeah, this is a chance here, Lilydale. It's probably the best conditions of the day right now. The sun's out. We had that new ball when they changed the ball over, so the ball's not wet, and the ground's held up pretty well. There's no breeze also.
So tossed in. Mitchener and Smith. Mitchener taps it down to Lowe, did well. Horsley whacked it on the left boot, had a good first term, quiet second and third. Well done there by Jack Martin, won the spoil in front of Jostler. Trent Elliott on hands and knees, get up son, got the handball out to Sammy Baker. Handball comes through there to Lowther, who slapped it forward, found its way to McLean, who gave it back to Lowther, who's drew a kick, finds Murphy. Murphy gave it to White. White takes it out of bounds before he kicks it up the line. We'll have a boundary throw in on left half forward flank for the Falcons. We've been a minute and a bit here in this fourth term. Lilydale 5-10-40. Doncaster East 9-6-60.
I can't see the ground. Where's the white paint?
Now it's blue paint here, Brash. We don't use white paint.
Why?
Gold grass, blue paint.
Maybe it's an undercoat as it comes in now, picked up by Murphy, got boot to ball, scrambly little kick, it's been chopped off though, got the handball out wide, here's McNay, ducked a few tackles, goes after it, then fell over at the crucial stage, got the handball back, what a strong tackle by Tom Appleby, and it was all legal, and we'll have a bounce inside the centre square, just forward for the Lilydale Football Club.
I know McNay was trying something, but he actually played his team out of position then.
High throws the ball up. Lilydale, they want the first one. They trail by 20 points. Trying to trap the football there was Wilson. Left it alone, though. That was okay. Harvey got it away. He's Batty on the left. Inside forward 50. Batty goes. The ball's carrying, but Ubi takes the mark. He read the flight well.
That matchup, him on Bernstein, it's a bit harsh on Bernstein when you bomb it into him.
You know, it's David and Goliath styles, isn't it? As it goes out towards the two. Ruckman, Mitchener and Smith go at it. Smith got one handle on it. Ball hit the deck. Appleby overran the pill, but then sat on it. Right on his hammer, Sammy Horsley will have another bounce.
Someone tell Bucks to get away from the effects, Mike.
Oh, it's good. Surely you know what Buxy's voice sounds like, and it wasn't Buxy. So umpire throws it up as Smith got it down. Lowther got the handball away. Shalaka's kick went straight into the bum that time there of Batty. Ball hits the deck. Shalaka's goes back after it, and we'll have another bounce. Barry Cott's around the grounds with the score centre.
Yes, Division 3, Heathmont 7-10-52, leading Waverley Blues 4-8-32.
Throws it up, Smith, little palm down. Horsley was there, so too Batsanis. Good tackle on Batsanis by Horsley, and another stoppage. 3 minutes tick by. No change to the three-quarter time score. 60 plays 40. Doncaster East have the lead.
Yep, 9-6 to 5-10. Mitchener wins the tap out the back. McLean will get it though. Dropped it the first time. It got a good shepherd from Shalaka. Stepped inside low. Got the handball back. Whitling took on the first tackler and handballed over top to Batsanos, who quickly taps over the top. But Mitchin is in space for the Falcons. His Mung's inside forward 50. And McLean takes a good mark in front of Burnston.
His disposals let him down a bit today, Mitchiner.
Has. So McLean short to White. Very smart. Saw Drossler coming out of the peripherals there and just stopped. He'll go now short ball through the centre, looking for and finding Jack Martin, who plays on. Steps inside low, but didn't see Corey Burnston coming. Wrapped him up. Ryan Harvey plays on. Bryce Batty now on the left boot. Goes short and finds Sammy Baker just outside forward 50. Left half forward flank. He pops it out in front of Batty, who kept running and takes a good strong mark. Uncontested. 35 out. There's another whistle, but I don't think it's for anything in particular.
Need to make him pay here.
So Bryce Batty's 35 out on a 45-degree angle here. The wrong side for a left footer. Good hard running there. He's been good in the second and fourth terms. Dan sent 6 man here, Bryce Batty.
I've mentioned him once.
Strong call though. Strong call. So Batty from right on the arc. We could follow it home here. The kick off the boot looks all right. It's spinning all right. It's going to just fade across the line. Good strong mark on the line by Drossler claimed. And the umpire's paid it. I think that second grab's gone over the line here on the replay. As Batty's come in, his kick faded well right. Was going through for a behind. Drossler took... Oh, you can almost pay that. But the umpire has paid it. We're undecided in the box here.
Might be those posts again.
Might be those posts. The large padding. Large padding, Brash.
I tell you what, we saw...
So Drossler goes the boot under! No, he's missed it. Out in the full.
Let's go, boys!
Go on, Brash.
Go, Juggy!
That's probably the only shot we'll ever see of 12 12 posts.
8 goal posts. Brash,
I saw the far there as well.
There's 12. Oh, whatever. 5-10-40 to 9-6-60 here. 5 minutes gone in the last term. Lilydale ruining a couple of missed opportunities, Dan.
A few moments ago, this game was really suiting Doncaster East with the stoppages after stoppage and cracking in hard, tough footy. But Lilydale have just since opened it up a bit, and if they can get their running game going, Doncaster East will be pretty worried.
Ball's just taking a little bit to get back here.
So it'll be Jason Tenler from the last line of defence for Doncaster East to reload for the Lions. Still no change to the score at three-quarter time. 5.5 minutes on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Tick by, goes up towards the Martin direction. Mitchell had a big fly over the back. Now he needs to hit a target here. He struggled with that. That's a better looking kick into the middle of the ground. Dropped almost what he probably should have taken. Di Franceschi hits the deck, and we will have a bounce at centre half forward.
They've been struggling since half-time to hold their marks on the inside 50, Lilydale.
Pye throws it up. It was McLean who was in the back spot, but it came out to Harvey. Harvey to Wilson, handball over the top, but Smith chopped it off, was looking for Murphy. There's a lot of players chasing after this football. Lowe almost threw it away in that instant, and it hits the deck. Jack Martin laying a strong tackle, and we'll have another bounce. Barry Cott's quickly around the grounds.
Division 3, Templestowe, 15-11, 101, well ahead of Churnside Park, 2-1-13.
Ball comes out. Batty just tried to trap it, went after it a second time, did okay. Lowther was there to chop that off.
Is that the
Ryan Harvey asking for deliberate.
Is that the Doncaster East runner more or less wearing a raincoat and pants? I like it, Brash. Looks like the goal umpires.
Hired to bring the ball back into play.
You got more fashion sense than me, boy.
Looks like he should be selling footy records.
Comes out now, scooped upon by Wilson. Snap around the body. It's right in the hot spot. Martin just slammed it straight back down the throat of Wilson. So let himself down there. Martin, who's usually a good user of the football. This is critical. Lachlan Wilson to get the margin back to 14 points and get his side back in this contest.
Yeah, that was a kick and open there by Jack there. It had no direction at all.
Got to kick this.
Has to kick it.
Wilson. Not afraid of having a decent run up the Lilydale Football Club. Comes in now. He'll have to give it everything he's got. He's straight it off the side of the boot, right towards the forward pocket there. It was knocked away that time from Drossler. Didn't he start the game well? He's gone a little quiet in the last couple of quarters. And a player they'll be looking to stand up, Dan.
Well, Jack Martin's had a few errors in this game, and that last miss there's another let-off. He hasn't been made to pay once, which is a positive for Donny East.
High throws it in now. Smith did well, just took it out of the contest and got boot to ball. It might just stay inside the line. It did. Luck's a fortune for him. Boundary throw in, right forward pocket down Lilydale's end. Barricot's around the ground.
Yeah, still a close game at Vermont. Vermont 9-13-67, just leads South Croydon 9-7-61.
It'll be tossed in. White and Drossler inside forward 50 for the Falcons. No one touched the ball. It's bounced though, so it's free game. Slapped forward out of there. It looks like it was by Appleby. And we'll run it over the boundary line for a boundary throw in. 8.5 minutes gone here in the last term. No change to the three-quarter time score, which was Lilydale 5-10-40 to Doncaster East 9-6-60 after the Lions kicked 6 unanswered goals in the third term. Tossed in again. Drossler and White. White wins front spot and wins the tap. Batty, though, burst out of there. He's been good in this last term. His left foot snap out around the body, goes to the top of the goal square, flies from everywhere. But there's Jack Martin. He's done that a million times before. Takes a good pack mark and then kicks it out to Lee Murphy on the bounce, whose handball's a wobbly one, but it got to McLeod, who's wrapped up there by Dean Franceschi. Dropped it, umpire, and the umpire's let it go. Said he made an attempt and it dribbled out for a boundary throw in. Now in the left forward pocket, and that's what Dan's talking about. Jack Martin took a good mark.
That was poor decision.
A bit lazy with the kick and then just got away with it. Whose decision, Jack's or the umpire's, Brad?
No, the next
the
one.
Umpire. So tossed in, Drossler and White. White does well again. Couldn't quite take possession and Lee Murphy's wrapped up by Ryan Harvey. But we'll have a ball up 20 metres out from the Falcons' goal. They need one soon. They can't leave their run too late. This will suit Donny East. Keep the stoppages coming as Drossler then gets a leap over White and taps it down towards Batty, who's been a magnet in this term. Coming through there with it for the Lions was Lowther. He slapped it for Bernstein, though, for the Falcons. Class Henry where it deflects off him and finds Harvey. He took on a couple, got a boot to ball, and now the umpire's going to ping him for holding the ball, and it'll be a free kick to Lee Murphy here. Deep in defence for the Lions. He plays on quickly and switches the play nicely to his skipper, Batsanis. Nick Batsanis chips out wider again still and finds Jack Martin. Needs to find a target here with this disposal. He's pressed in against the fence here in the right back pocket for the Lions. Goes up the line looking for, but couldn't find Shalakis. Appleby does well to lock up Richard Wiles on hands and knees, and we'll have a ball up on the left half forward flank for the Lilydale Football Club.
Final terms are happening across the eastern suburbs, Barry Cotts.
Yes, Division 2, 10-minute mark last quarter, and a close game now. Bayswater 11-5-71 is leading up at Furniture Gully 10-7-67.
Smith slapped it down. Shalakis was there. Drossler wanted a piggyback. We'll have a ball up just outside the 50-metre arc for Lilydale. The ball's really hung around this area for Lilydale in the whole of this final term. The 10.5 minutes is played. Here's a chance for Doncaster East. Appleby went after it, then couldn't trap it, had to lay a strong tackle. Lots of stoppages happening in this final term. I know you've got some more, Barry.
Yes, three-quarter time scoreboard and 10-17-77 to Knox 14-38.
So it comes down. Tenler just gave a fend off and then was happy with going over the boundary line and out. Boundary throw in. Working itself up towards the wing position, but still forward of centre for Lilydale. You get the sense if they can snag one, Lilydale, they might get a little bit of a run on. Can Doncaster East just break that run at the moment? Here's a chance for the Falcons. Handball over the top. It was scooped upon by Wilds. Mitchener got it back to Wilson, whose kick was smothered. Now Shalakis will go after it again. Appleby was in there, so too Wilson. Good second effort by Orion Wilson, and we'll have a ball up just outside the centre square. Wing position here at the LSO. The sun is out. Good crowd in here today. Double premiership reunion for the Lilydale Football Club, spanning 10 years as the ball's knocked over the boundary line just for something different, and we'll have another boundary throw in.
This could be a very, very short quarter, Brash.
Yeah, we could be looking at probably 24, 25 minutes maybe.
And about 25 interviews post-game.
And it looks like Sam Gold might be not too far away from coming back on the field after his yellow card in that third term. He's warming up as the umpire throws it in. Well done there by Mitchener. It's been a good contest today. Comes out Wilson. His kick was scrambly up towards the half-forward line. Hitting the deck there was low, I think, that time. And Class Henry, in fact, it was. And he sees it over and out.
Just need to get it in there quicker, don't they, Brush?
Yeah, they just can't find an easy avenue to goal here, Lilydale.
Well, we're back where BWS took over, left half forward flank for the Falcons. We've been up and down the wing a couple of times. And it's thrown in again. White and Drosseler. White pushed Drosseler to the perfect position. His tap found Batty. Now they've got to make this count as Batty's left foot ball just goes sideways. Under the sit there is Di Franceschi. Flies up. Good spoil by Tricula. Mead got the crumbs. Handballed it off and Whitling's running through the middle. He got bumped rather than tackled by Mitchener. It might work out for the Falcons as Wooden got a handball over the top looking for McNay. McNay picks it up on the second attempt. He might be taken high. The umpire says it is, so it'll be a free kick to Ryan McNay. He's got to make this count, Brash. Get it inside 50 quickly. He's in the centre square.
Too slow.
Taking his time now. He's been told to play on. Tommy Gordon's hot on his hammer. McNay runs on a left boot and kicks a mung towards half forward. It's sliding onto the chest of Rami Aobi.
He's had a good game, Rami.
He has taken 3 intercept marks late in this fourth term. He marks on right half back. He's going to go long down the line. Here's Rami. And it's towards Mitchener. Summers flew, so did Morrison. No one got anywhere near the footy. Connor Lucas there again, Brash, your man. He thought he had a bit of time and space there and he met 2 Falcons. I reckon he's had about 20 possessions and 5 disposals, Connor Lucas. But he's been impressive.
Pye throws it up. Mitchener will give that one to him. Batsana scooped on it, snapped around the body, but went nowhere. Straight down the throat there of Lowe. Got the handball away, trying to break the tackle. Lowe again got the handball away. Here's Mitch Stoneham for Doncaster East. He spent it before he had it. Now here's a go for the Falcons. Batty over the top. Wilson, he's putting his hand up in this final term. Scrambling kick up towards the half-forward line. They've got to hit a target here, Lilydale. Looping handball over the top. Class Henry. He's a class player, Class Henry, and that's what they needed, the Lilydale Falcons. They are back in this contest. 14 and a half minutes gone in this final term. Margin reduced back to 14.
Well, that's one of the few glimpses we've seen in this second half of trademark Lilydale football. Moving the ball forward quickly and taking the game on at all opportunities. In this last quarter, Doncaster East have clogged it up a fair bit. The stoppages have really suited them. But Lilydale will really want to string a few of those more goals together.
Doncaster East will be happy the ball's back in the middle because they can't get it past it.
So balled up in the middle here. Mitchener and Smith go battle again. Smith jumped into Mitchener, but Mitchener won the tap. Whitling came off the wing, got the handball over to Batsanis, whose little chip kicks out in front of the runner there in Appleby. It's gone over him, though, to Paddy Klepp. Klepp will get it on the second or third bounce, but he just fumbled, felt the pressure of big Jackie Summers, who came through and got a clap from the Doncaster East faithful as he put Klepp over the boundary line. We'll have a boundary throw in Doncaster East territory for the first time this quarter. 15 minutes gone. Lilydale 6-10, Doncaster East 9-6. So tossed in. Mitchener and Smith do battle again. Smith wins the body and wins the tap down towards Batsanis. Batty slapped it away from him though, and Halsey picks it up on hands and knees. Smith just manhandles him though as Stoneham goes in for the footy, as does Baker, and Bryce Batty's wrapped up and we'll have a ball up.
I reckon they've gone back into their shells a little bit here, Doncaster East. Not taking the game on, they're playing more for preservation.
Mitchener wins the tap down. Baker's there. He's sat atop. Sam Horsley gets it out like a rugby scrum, like a scrum half there, just taking it out from the play of the ball. But we'll have a ball up once again, and that's been what it's been like in this last term, Brash. More of a rugby maul.
Barry Cotts around the grounds.
Yes, Division 3, Heathmont 9-13-67 lead Waverley Blues 5-9-39.
That might be finals footies for the Jets there in 2018 as Sam Horsley's tackled and he's now shirtless.
Yeah, it's looking good there for the Jets.
He's wearing a Spencer.
That's all right, mate. Keep it in. So we tossed up again. Our 48th ball up of the quarter as Mitchell just slaps it forward to get it out of here. Brad Lowe finds his way onto it. Couldn't get clean possession though, and he escorts it over the boundary line on centre wing alongside Mitch Stoneham. So 16 and a half minutes gone now. We could have had the record for the most number of stoppages in a Division 2 clash here in this last term, as Mitchener and Smith will do battle once again. It's been a great duel. I've got Smith taking the chocolate so far as Mitchener wins this tap. They've got the numbers, the Falcons, but Harvey went back into the Doncaster East pack. Smith got it around his legs, then got the handball to Appleby. Appleby got it to Whitling, who got it to Stephen, who got it to McLean, whose right foot drilling ball is just over the head of Summers, though. He could win this foot race. Leaving it behind was Murphy. Di Franceschi came through, was tackled by Murphy, and Stoneham does well to put it over the boundary line. 17 minutes gone. Lilydale 6-10-46. Doncaster East 9-6-60. We're on left half forward for the Lions.
Right in front of us here in the broadcast position, it is go time. 17 minutes, tick over on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 14 points is the margin. Doncaster East, can they get the ball forward? Batty's got something to say about that. Now he wants to create some space. He kicks it out wide. He was looking that time for low. He got out-muscled by Martin, who thumps it on his boot. Inside forward 50. Big fly by D. Franceschi to get the timely fist on it. Batsanis, the skipper for Doncaster East, got it. Squeezed to kick. Appleby was the target. He went after it. Running through. Here's McLean. Can McLean put it through? He can't. He pushed it to the left-hand side. And Doncaster East get their first score of this final term. The margin is 15 points, 61 to 46. Barry Cott's around the ground.
Yes, a very interesting game in Division 2. Bayswater and Upper Ferntree Gully. Just a few minutes ago, Bayswater was leading, but Upper Ferntree Gully have come back. Upper Ferntree Gully 12-8-80 to Bayswater 11-5-71.
What about that collision before between Baker and Appleby? As Klepp brings it in with a left foot ball straight down the middle. That's a nice kick. Finds his skipper in Brad Lowe. Lowe takes the mark at centre half back and plays on. That's a high up and under kick towards the lead. Trent Elliott, who might get there on the lead, doesn't. Manhandled in the air, and he might get a free kick here. He does. So the umpires have come into this as Trent Elliott, been quiet after 3 goals last week. Only his 3rd game coming up from the under-19s. He's going to run around onto the right boot, the number 7, and pop it inside forward 50. He's looking for Drossler. He got the front spot, spoiled by Stephen. There's Class Henry. Been a quiet day, but that left foot snaps heading goalward, and it's bounced. Leg break, and it's gone through from behind. So Lilydale 6-11-47. Doncaster East 9-7-61. It's 14 points the difference here. We've gone 19 minutes in this 4th term. Both sides missing opportunities at either end.
Barry Cott's around the grounds.
Another interesting game, Ringwood and Boronia. Ringwood 8-9-57 to Boronia 6-10-46.
Looking forward to Ray Baird's report from that game on the post-match show. So Doncaster East from the back pocket, leading this game by 14 points. Kick goes out to the half back line. Smith used his body quite well on Mitchell, but couldn't pull the ball in, and over she goes for a boundary throw in. Most into time on here, ringing in the changes. Steve Buckle and the Doncaster East side. Saravolo comes on for Mead, Shalakis and Summers waiting to make their way onto the park. Nonetheless, it's up across the half-forward line for Lilydale. Another chance for them to go forward. Scrambling kick, bouncing one, overrunning it that time. It might have been the man in them, Batty, but it came out a quick kick out there by Doncaster East looking for Saravolo. It's tapped into the arms there of Elliott, though, who copped one high. So another free kick to Elliott. In the fancy fluoro boots. He drives the ball looking for Drossler. Over the top of his head it goes, and another free kick has been paid. So there is free kick after free kick to Lilydale in this final term. I think that one was very stiff as well.
I'm going to quote the great man BWS. That's Tiggy
not
Touchwood.
a free kick. If anything, he's tunnelled him under the ball, but he slipped over.
What did he pay it for, Dan? Did you see the decision?
I think he played it to... he was tunnelling him under the ball, but he slipped over. It's a slippery deck out there at the moment. He couldn't do anything about it.
So Drossler.
Big kick this.
Reduce the margin. It's 14 points. It could be 8. It'll set the crowd alight if he can put this one through. He set sail for goal, and he has done just that. That's his 2nd goal of the afternoon. And it is officially game on out here at the LSO. We're into time on 21 minutes. Tick over on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, and it's an 8-point margin.
Yeah, very stiff Doncaster East there. We mentioned that the free kick was very Tiggy Touchwood. I think it was Simon White in that contest there. He'd be pretty filthy at the moment.
Cross down boundary side.
Yeah, I'm really surprised by this last quarter. Lilydale looked like they were running out of legs in that 3rd quarter. They were coming off tired, but they looked like they found some energy out of nowhere here.
Sam Gold's back in the action, and he's tackled by Corey Burnston. So we'll have a repeat stoppage in the centre of the ground. Smith and Mitchin up. Mitchiner wins this tap out, but straight to Batsanis, who was unmarked for some particular reason. He goes long inside 450 towards Summers. Well done there by Del Biondo. He got the fist down. Baker's got the crumbs, and he's grabbed there quickly. And it's a good tackle there by Lee Murphy. The glove and the long sleeve. So it's a ball up at centre half forward for the Lions. They lead by 8 points here. We're in time on in the last term. Lilydale 7-11, Doncaster 9-7. Mitchiner wins the tap. Straight down to Batsanis again. He's picking the wrong team out. That kick finds Summers. He's sweeping handballs towards Sam Gold there, who's been tackled. He's not making an attempt, and Corey Burnston wraps him up. We'll have a ball up. Jake Summers, interesting decision to sweep it back into traffic. Not sure if he had runners on the other side. Regardless, 8 points the difference. 22 minutes gone. And Doncaster East leading, and it's inside their forward 50. Harvey's going to burst it away though. Well done by Zach Kennedy. Slapped it to his captain in Lowe. Lowe got it to Harvey. He tries to put the afterburners on Mika Stephen. Couldn't do it. Koga does well. Taps it towards Lockie Wilson, who's got 10 left for company. And Jack Martin. Martin has the footy now, and Wilson does well to wrap it up. And the Falcons will be pretty happy with that. And the umpire will say, give it to me. We'll have a ball up. So some sharp movement there. Remy, I hope he's asked for how much time. He can't hear me. 22 and a half gone, mate.
Barry Cott's around the grounds with the score centre.
Yeah, Division 1 10-minute mark last quarter. Bourne 82, Knox 52.
Tapped down by Drossler. Coming through there with Stoneham. Wilson taps it back into the centre corridor. Batty on hands and knees. Good handball by Appleby. Got it to Batsanis, who's running with nobody. He goes the right foot check side out to open space on centre wing. That's almost deliberate, umpire. I don't think he'll pay it.
Not a hope in Hayden.
He hasn't. He hasn't.
I'd be disappointed if he did.
Well, after a few of the free kicks we've seen, Brash, wouldn't surprise me. So boundary throwing now on the opposite side of the ground in front of the Cold Rock sign. 8 points the difference here. Right half forward for the Falcons. 23 minutes gone. They trail by 8. Thrown in, Mitchener and Smith. Mitchener wins the front spot, slapped it straight into Smith's face by the look of it. Lowe taken high, free kick, might have played for that. The old Joel Selwood ducked the knees. Lowe's kicks a mung into the middle. It's found McNay though, turns on the left boot, runs to 50 and pumps it long towards the goal. That might get there. It might have. Goal umpire says yes it has. That's a goal. Back to 2 points. 23 and a half minutes gone. Lilydale 8-11-59. Doncaster East 9-7-60 run. Ryan McNay bombs one from outside 50.
Well, those half opportunities you've got to take, but again, a pretty tiggy touchwood free kick going the way of Lilydale, but good on them. They've taken full advantage of it. And now that miss by Doncaster East late in that third quarter, it has come back to haunt them as they're only 2 points up at nearly the 24-minute mark of the final.
Good shepherd by Koga on the line as well.
How spoiled have we been in season 2018 with close games on EFL game day? And this is another one. Batsanis to Mika Stephen. Spirals it into Gordon. He almost took the mark. He'll go after it again. He has a little bit of time. He needs to make the right decision. Here's Whitling. Squeezed a kick on the left. Going after it. Shalakas takes it. And he'll run in and get the answer. Fantastic stuff, Doncaster East. They all go up. Dave Sousby in New Zealand spilt his beer, and it's all happening out here at the LSO. Tom Gordon's getting up a little bit gingerly, but he seems to be okay. He might have been winded there. Margin back out to 8 points.
One of very few times today that Doncaster East have been able to find a man out the back, streaming into goal, and what a time to have that opportunity.
Well done by Tom Gordon, though. We were saying he lacked match sharpness there, but he did really well. The awareness to handball back to Whitling, who did well. Good kick.
Just when they needed a goal.
Barry
They just got
Cox,
it.
these final scores, no doubt, coming through across the east.
Yes, final score in Division 4, Forest Hill 9-16-70, defeated Kilside 6-7-43.
Best part about Shalakas' goal was he kept it within the fences of this ground. Shot it low into the horse pavilion. So it'll be tossed up in the middle. After McNay brought it back to 2 points, Shalakas stemmed the tide.
Still plenty of time.
Tap one there by Smith, who jumped into Mitchener. Coming off the wing was Healy. His check side might have found a target and has found a target. Harvey plays on. His left foot ball's long enough. He might have replied. He has! Oh, what is going on?
Wowza.
What is going on? We've had 3 goals in a minute. Ryan Harvey on the opposite boot from 45. That's his second. And it's the Dales 9th. They're 9-11-65. Doncaster East at 10-7-67. 25 and a half gone in this final term.
Well, we haven't seen it much today, but at the moment, both sides are playing their true brands of footy. Lilydale have lifted and are looking more natural now when they're going forward. They're renowned for those long-running goals, particularly from 50 metres or the arc, and that's their second one within 5 minutes.
Well, that's as quick a reply as you could ever have hoped for. 26 minutes tick on. I reckon there's a minute or so to go. A clearance is important. Mick and Stephen got a grubber kick out. Lilydale, they've dominated the clearances in this final term. They go forward once again. Smith was in the front spot. Sorry, that was wide. It comes down. Here's McLean on the left boot. Kicks it out towards a foot race. Lilydale seem to have the numbers. Horsey was there for support. Hitting the deck at the crucial stage was Kennedy. Over the top of him. He might get pinged here. It'll be a tough decision to call one this late in the game, and if it's there, it is there. 26 and a half minutes, 65-67. Doncaster East, they have the lead. That's still inside the centre square or just outside Ceravolo. Got it away to Shalakas, who goes after it. He's brought to ground, and we'll have another bounce. The heart rates are up right across the LSO, right across the east, right across the world, in fact, as the umpire throws it up now. Mitchener got it down. Stephen got boot to ball. The big man Smith got it out. The handballs have got to hit the targets. McLean, a big game player who's trying to step up for his side, sees it over the boundary line and out of bounds. Another boundary throw in 27 minutes. Now tick over on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Oh, it's intense stuff. It's fantastic. The sun's out as well. Everyone's getting involved in this game. Here's Mitchener, got the knockdown. He had the front spot. There's a lot of players around this football. Cleary kicked that time by Healy. He thumped it about 70 metres. Nice knock away by McLeod. He went for the boundary, and that's where it went, over and out. 27 and a half minutes gone.
Left half forward flank for the Lilydale Falcons. Goalless in the third term, but they've kicked 4-1 in the last. 2 points the difference. Tossed in. Smith and Mitchener do battle again. Mitchener slaps it forward. Drossler's there. He threw away Brock McLean and got the footy. Got his handball towards Lowe. Got it back to Batty. Batty left foot snap goes high in the air. Is it touched off the boot? We don't know. Kennedy's underneath it there with Saravolo. Horsley came slapping through. D. Franceschi got a handball forward. There's Bernston. He got it out to Lowe and over his head. Shalakis is there for the Lions, and on hands and knees is McLean. He's got chicken wing by Jared Healy there. The old Chris Judd chicken wing. And we'll have a ball up. Centre half forward for the Lilydale Football Club. Not sure how long's left. We've gone 28 minutes. 2 points the difference. Doncaster East lead. It's deep inside Lilydale territory. Mitchener slaps it forward again. McLean's been massive in these last few minutes. Aobi's clearing, kicking. It's a foot race between Morrison and Gordon. Gordon will just let this go over the line and does well.
Isn't it amazing? Double chance on the line. Right now, minute and a half, I reckon, tops to go.
Well, come on, boys. It's right half forward flank now for the Falcons. They need this goal. 2 points down. Coming off a bad fortnight, up against the top side. Mitchener wins the tap out. Healy got it to Morrison. Fumbled the first one. Turned back inside. Got a handball. Umpire said he got a handball. Healy to McNay. McNay wrapped up by Whitling. And the umpire says Stephen was bursting away, and the umpire said give it to me. They've had a couple of iffy decisions today, Brash.
Well, that was poor. That really was.
We apologise for any language at home as Mitchener slaps it out. Batsanis got it out to McLean. McLean's wrapped up by Harvey. There's the siren! Doncaster East win by 2 points, 10-7, what a game to Lilydale, 9-11-65. The siren went at centre half forward for the Falcons, and they are in despair. We're going to find out soon from Barry Cotts who won in the Upper Gully Bayswater game, because that could mean double chances sewn up in Division 2. But what a game of footy, Wayne Brasher and Dan Sensi.
Yeah, the permutations.
The permutations, we'll talk about them another time.
Look, it was a really good contest. I mean, look, it was Doncaster East for 2 quarters, or basically 1 quarter of football. Lilydale really controlled the contest, Dan, for basically 3 quarters, but have come up 2 points short.
Well, aside from probably the opening 10 minutes of that last quarter, both sides looked natural in the way they went about their footy. They played their own natural styles of game. Very rare that we've seen that today. We saw early on that Lilydale dictated the play, then it was Doncaster East for a patch, but never both at the same time. So Lilydale, when they were 20 points down at 3/4 time, it just seemed that they needed a lift, and that was what they got going in the last quarter, was their natural running game, their link-up play, the ability to kick goals from across the half-forward line and stream forward in numbers. It held them in good stead, but falling short in the end. But Doncaster East, they'd be pretty happy with that victory, because they've actually beaten Lilydale for the second time this season, Matt.
Could be a big win for heading into finals. Another game that's important about finals, Upper Gully and Bayswater, Barry Cotts.
Yes, I can tell you that Upper Ferntree Gully have hung on to win. The final score was Upper Ferntree Gully 12-8-80 have defeated Bayswater 11-5-71. So a 9-point win to Upper Ferntree Gully.
Plenty of massive games. We're going to cross down to Tim Fitzsimons, who's down there with one of the victorious Doncaster East players.
Yeah, I'm down here with Jake Summers. Jake, she's a bit of a scare there late. They came back hard, but ended up getting the 4 points.
They did, mate. Bit of an interesting one, obviously, with the weather. It was turning all day, but no, great to get the win, and I think the way we played in that second half was outstanding. To come back from some pretty sort of topsy-turvy football in the first half, so really proud of the boys.
Yeah, caught a bit of a spray at half-time. How did it go down at half-time?
We did, mate. Yeah, played it simple, we did, yeah. So, but we bounced back, which was good.
Yeah, what really impressed you by your performance in that third quarter? You started to win the ball quite a bit more. You guys in the forward line probably getting into a bit better positions. Is that how you felt it went down in that third quarter?
Yeah, absolutely, and just our tackling pressure. I think our willingness to keep it inside forward 50. We were getting good entries, but we weren't sort of keeping it in there. And Lilydale, I suppose, to their credit in that first half, we're just able to switch the ball nice and easily. So our tackling pressure in the third and fourth quarter, we're really proud of. Yeah.
Thanks for your time. Go and enjoy it.
Good on you. Cheers.
Yeah,
Thanks down here to Jake Summers and Tim Fitzsimons. Brash, continue continue on.
Yeah, look, I'll give you all the goal kickers here for the game. For Donny East, Jake Summers finished with 3, 2 each to Tommy Gordon and Jack Salakis, and singles to Michael Stephen, Jared Smith and Lee Murphy, whilst for Lilydale, 2 each to Ryan Harvey and Brandon Drossler, and singles to Burnson, Koga, McNaid, DePace and Class Henry. The other thing I was going to mention before we went down, it wasn't like Lilydale didn't have chances in that first quarter.
Well, they've kicked inaccurately again, which has been a problem with Lilydale for as long as I can remember. Even Division 1 days, they've often struggled with goal kicking, and rarely do they have more goals than behinds.
Tell you what, Baz, got any? Haven't heard anything from Vermont yet, have you?
No, we haven't as yet, so still hanging on. A lot of games are quite behind us, so I won't get final scores for the next few minutes.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, Matt, this is Lilydale's first loss this season in the LSO, so
it is
massive for them.
And their final game here.
And their final game this year. So, yeah, heading into finals, though, when it's a neutral ground, here's the song.
Yeah, we can hear the song here. Take their time to get into it, don't they, the boys?
Well, this is not the best place for a reception either.
And maroon. Well, there's an amalgamation of a few songs in there, Brash, but it's a mighty good song nevertheless. And Doncaster East, as we were talking about the neutral venue, I'm not sure who that'll favour, but Lilydale, I think, from both times they've played Doncaster East this year, it's been a 10 or 15 minute fade out that has cost them. This time it was that first 15 minutes of the second half where Doncaster East piled on 5 goals to none. And other than that, the game was probably in Lilydale's favour. If you take those 5 goals out, they've won handily. And then last game was that third quarter, I think, again, or maybe the second term, where Doncaster East kicked away.
If you're Ben Neagle, and these two sides could very well be matching up in a couple of weeks' time, you learn a heck of a lot from a game like today, don't you? So win's great, but you learn a lot from a loss like this.
Well, the next time that Doncaster East will probably meet Lilydale will be in a preliminary final, because now Lilydale go into the
other side of the draw.
Not the other side of the draw, but they'll have to do it the hard way.
Yeah, because don't forget Doncaster East were a game ahead of all those other ones.
They've definitely locked up double chance now, the Lions, and you'd suggest with Upper Gully's result around the grounds, they'll now be a game clear of Lilydale.
Yep.
And I think they've got Wantirna South in the final round of memory. I'm not sure who they've got in the final round as Dan searches for that, but you'd suggest Upper Gully should win their final game.
They've got Croydon.
They've got Croydon, so they should definitely win their final game and finish in second spot, which is a story in itself, Upper Gully. Only 2 years ago they were in Division 3, so a great story there. For Lilydale, I think they looked better when they played on. I know they stuffed up a few times with kicks in the middle, but I think that's how Ben Nagle wanted them to play.
It's trademark footy,
they wanted them to take the game on. They've struggled scoring in recent times, so I guess they wanted to take the game on, and for most part it worked. It was just that straight after half-time when Lilydale, young side, sort of getting back into the swing of things, Doncaster East on the back of a hairdryer, Brash, are raring to go.
I think, though, like you said, I know they like to play the run-and-gun game, Lilydale, but you've also got to understand that they're not going to get the game on their terms for the full 100 minutes. So somewhere along the line, they have to make hay while the sun shines when it's their turn to go, because when they don't have that plan B or that second option, when the other side have their moment, they've got to come up with something that's going to have to, be a bit more defence-minded when the ball is not on their terms.
In regards to their forward structure, I think the third term, when the rain came down, we saw Doncaster East take advantage of the fact they had Gordon, they had Summers, and at times they had Stephen down forward, and they could exit the forward 50 with a massive long kick. Often Nick Batsanis wasn't even looking, he just kicked it 45 metres down the line, and he knew he was a good chance of having a mark through Summers or Gordon. Lilydale don't have that sort of luxury, do they? Koga sat deep all game, which is his role as the full forward, and he did quite well at the end, doing some nice shepherding on the line to get those last 2 goals. But you saw that they have to handball it to 50 out before they can kick long, because when Drossler had to go back in the second half, I like him at centre-half forward, but it also opens up against sides like that. So it's an interesting dilemma that the Falcons find themselves in.
I almost think that Koga in the finals may have to play centre-half forward in the fact if they don't have a recognised they don't have a recognised centre forward, and he's got to play deep full.
Could you
forward.
isolate one of the small boys though, Brash?
Well, you might be able to try something, but I think Koga or De Pace might have to even use De Pace as a decoy full forward, but get Koga up into
Get
where
him
the
involved.
He's got to be
We're
involved.
all for that,
early.
aren't you, me and Brash? Lee Williams, Lockie Koga, we want him up the ground. Sam Gold, do you reckon he's in trouble of missing any weeks, or it's just a yellow card?
Just a yellow card.
I reckon.
I think you serve your time on the sidelines and you get on with it.
Yep, and as we heard, Brock McLean wasn't exactly sure what goes on with the yellow card. Can I come on? Does he? Do we play with 17? I'm not sure what's going on. The last 5 minutes, though, Brock McLean, that's what they paid their money for. He had about 8 disposals, I reckon, in that last couple of minutes where the Falcons were more or less all over them across that half-forward, half-back flank. He did it a few times for your Blues, Dan.
I've seen him
back in the
sink
glory
Richmond.
days.
I've seen him sink Richmond time after time.
And now you've seen him sink the Falcons.
Now I've seen him live at Donny East. Well, along with Adelaide, Donny East are basically Carlton's feeder club.
Actually, but
can't Carlton Adelaide's feeder club?
I thought Adam White was very
Simon
good.
White even.
Simon White.
Yeah,
I
he
thought-
was good for the first 3 quarters, definitely.
Yeah,
I
and-
agree. That's what they paid their money for today.
Yeah.
Two steady heads down back, combining with Jack Martin, who's now probably Jack Martin's now the second intercept defender.
I just thought in that last quarter, I just thought Doncaster East went back into their skill. Instead of attacking the contest, I thought they went and played
Do you
more
think they played thinking they had enough? Because we saw it at Ringwood Scoresby a few weeks ago. Brash, you might not have been there, but
No.
we saw something similar happen. Scoresby got well ahead and tried to hold on to the lead. It didn't work that day. Ringwood ran over the top of them. Doncaster East may have got lucky here thanks to a Jack Shalaka's goal.
Well, coincidentally, it's that opening 10 minutes of the fourth term that really suited Doncaster East anyway. Because Lilydale, after that, they got together, right, and they completely started to run and gun and play their own trademark style of game. But it was too little too late in the end, losing by 2 points. So eating up that 10 minutes has served Doncaster East very well.
It did serve him well, but I don't think Steve Buckle would be. He'd still be wanting his side to take the game on, regardless of whatever the situation. What worked for them in the third quarter was they were long and direct, and they got the ball out of the midfield. They went back to that chipping.
I think it was a circumstance of what happened. I think Batty won that first clearance, and then the ball was parked in that end of the ground. And I don't think maybe their game plan is build it up to sort of halfway before going long. And perhaps you're right, Brash. Maybe someone need to bite the bullet and you go, know what, Jared Smith, run down the line. I'm going to kick it in the air. Even if you don't catch it, it's outside defensive 50.
Because, I mean, the thing is, if you've got blokes if you've got Summers and Stephen and Whitling and you've got 3 or 4 quality talls, right, you've got to make use of them.
Yeah.
You kick the ball down because, right, even if they break even if they break 50-50 in the contest, right, there's going to be a crummer.
Yeah.
And that's where Murphy and those sort of guys come into play, and Shalakas. They're going to be at the foot of the pack for those 1-on-2s.
We saw a great ruck duel today between Jared Smith and Bo Mitchener. I've got Jared Smith just taking the points. I think Mitchener. I think Mitchener would have won more of the hit-outs and the ruck duels, but I think around the ground, Mitchener's disposal was a bit off today by his standards, and Jared Smith kicked a great goal in the second term and was pretty crucial at getting his own crumbs, to be honest.
I thought around the ground, Mitchener, although his disposal could be off, he was a bit more creative than Smith. Smith was just straight down the line.
Mitchener's almost that Brody Grundy type, whereas Smith is a Max Gawn, if we're to draw comparisons with the AFL.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's hard today because when I'm sitting back and I'm looking for a player from either side that stood out for 4 quarters, I can't come with one.
Mine's Jared Smith. I think all game he dominated because he doesn't have. Neither side really has a backup ruckman, but I think he rucked for longer. Drossler did a lot of work in the forward 50.
He faded out very quickly, didn't Drossler?
Rami Ayubi's a standout for me. I thought he was solid.
Again, a lot of intercept marks in the last quarter. Like that, and that's the thing. I think in the last quarter we saw the steady heads of Doncaster East stand up, whilst Lilydale, they had all the play and they were playing very well and did quite well to get back into it. They didn't have the mature heads for someone to just stand up and take a goal. It looks like we might have an interview coming up here. Tim Fitzsimons is down there with some shirtless warrior of a player. We can't quite see him. It's right. The man we were talking about, Rami Ayubi. That's why he didn't want us to stop talking. We were talking about how good he was.
Yeah.
Get a shirt back on. It's about 8 degrees out there, son.
Oh, freezing. Yeah, Rami, it was outstanding performance in that third quarter. How much confidence does it give you coming up against a side like Lilydale, who are going to be in the top 4 as well, and you basically only really played 1 quarter of footy today and got the job done?
Yeah, look, they really came in the last quarter. I was actually, I was holding my breath a bit there. I couldn't wait for the siren to go.
Holding his breath now too.
Yeah, yeah, I know it's freezing out here. No, look, they're a great side. We match up well against Lilydale, I reckon. Every time we come out here, we come back home with 4 points. So no, I think the last couple of times we've come out here, we've come home with 4 points. So it's been pretty good playing against them. I think for us, Upper Gully's probably the one that's going to be the real tough one, I guess. But they beat us out there when we went out there. I think they'll be a tough one to beat. But I guess in finals, it's anyone's game.
I guess you're braving the weather here with no top on. It was a strange day with the weather, wasn't it? There was sunshine, rain, it got really dark, wind, hail. How does that affect the team? Do you change your tactics and your strategy during the game when it changes so much like that, or do you just stick to your guns and what you believe in?
Look, I guess Thursday night we spoke about it. We knew it was going to come. We were ready for it. So, I guess it did come down. The sun came out. The third quarter, blowing a gale down the far end, and we were lucky. I think we kicked 6 goals. So, we're pretty fortunate in the third quarter because the last quarter it just stopped. The sun came out, and we'll take that. But they really came at us in the last quarter. To beat them by 2 points and be up by 20 coming into the last quarter was pretty. I guess I'll take the 4 points. It was a tough game in the end.
Rami, great game today, mate, and especially in that last quarter.
Thanks, mate.
Throughout the year, you guys have had sort of slow starts. Park Orchards was one. There was a couple others through the year I can think of. And then you've burst out of the blocks, Park Orchard twice actually, in that second half. You've come out. What is Steve Buckle saying at half-time, and why doesn't he just say it at the start of the game?
Park Orchards, they just smashed us in the first quarter, and obviously Bucksy gave us a massive spray, and everyone sort of pulled their heads in. Second quarter against Park Orchards, we really came back, and I guess we didn't stop, and I guess we got our moments where we just got our lapses, and I think that's where we need to really pick up our game, because if we put together a 4-quarter game, I think we're going to be very hard to beat. We just got too much quality in our team. We've got a lot of good players, Simon and Brock and Tommy, Patsy, myself, of course.
He was waiting for someone to say it.
No, I'm an old duck, man. I'm 33 now, so legs are getting pretty heavy when I go out there with the young boys. They just they get up, they get crunched, they get up, they keep running. I get up, and it takes me a couple of minutes to get up these days. So
it's all right, mate. With an upper body like that, there's a few of those young blokes running around on the wing that wouldn't mind that. You spoke about that classmate. Jack Martin's another one, and yourself.
He's a superstar,
but you guys with Simon White down there, how much has he helped with your defensive structures and knowing where to go and what to do?
Unbelievable. He just commands. He's a commander down there. He just really gives us good direction and good composure. It's great. It's great to have him down there. I think our back six has been really, really good this year. It's really held, it's been really good, really communicating, really everyone knows what to do, everyone knows where to move, everyone knows where to stand. So it's been really, really good this year. Got a lot of structure to our back line, and I think, through the backs, the mids and the forwards, everyone knows how we have to play together with our zones, and it's been really good. A lot of direction, and it's been great. Can't pick it.
Rami, for the second week in a row, you've won by less than a kick, and with basically almost the last kick of the day too. So it's great preparation for finals, isn't it? And you've dug yourselves out of a hole for the second week in a row too after you've been trailing.
For sure. Speaking of Jack Martin, he kicked one of the most ridiculous goals last week to just get over the line for us. It was like an inside snap from the outside on the boundary. It was ridiculous, and it got us over the line. So we're really lucky to win that game. I guess with today, we just up by 20 points and really just held it in the last quarter. We're lucky to get over the line again. I think we just need to put a 4-quarter game together, and I think we'll be really hard to beat. But that's how I guess we'll go back to the drawing board and watch a review, and everyone will cop a bit of a whack, and hopefully come back next week and try and put a 4-quarter game together. We owe Mitcham a game, so they gave it to us last time we played over there, and I think hopefully we can come in and beat them and take it through the finals.
Quickly, Rami, just before the rain gets to you, mate, you'd be happy with your season, one of your more consistent seasons. You've had a good year so far.
Yeah, I guess, like I said, everyone's got their roles to play. I just know what I have to do. I don't get a million touches. I just, try and shut down my player and just, play my role. And I don't really care, mate. I just want to, get the ultimate prize in the end.
Catch it, kick it, and win the flag, eh, mate? That'll be about it.
I don't care if I don't get a kick as long as we win. I just want to win, mate. It's been a lot of years now, and losing the grand final last year still burns inside. And that's my ultimate goal, mate, because you know that grand final, you'll cherish that forever.
Well, mate, I'm hoping something else is burning inside for you because you look freezing cold. Get back in the rooms, mate. Have a hot shower unless all the boys have ruined it. Well done today, Romeo Obi.
Thank you.
Well, we're back here, and what a game he played. Intercept marking in that last quarter as well. Another one of those senior players that stood up, and 33. He's looking pretty good, Nick, for a 33. You're right. If I'm 33 and looking like that, Dan, I'm going all right.
I don't think I've ever looked like that in my life.
Barry Cotts, any scores around the grounds?
Yes, I can give you some final scores. Let's start off with Division 1 and Roval and Noble Park. And it was Noble Park who won today. Noble Park 11-13-79 have defeated Roval 10-9-69. Blackburn 12-4-14-86 defeated Montrose 9-12-66. Balwyn 13-19-97 have defeated Knox 8-17-65. Division 2, Bayswater and Upper Ferntree Gully. It was a win to Upper Ferntree Gully. Upper Ferntree Gully 12-8-80 have defeated Bayswater 11-5-71. Park Orchards and Mulgrave was a win to Mulgrave 11-12-78 to Park Orchards.
Are they still mathematical, the Lions? No, they're not.
No.
That's 4 wins, though, is it not?
Yes,
That's
it
4
is.
They've had a
wins.
great last month.
11-12-78 again, Mulgrave to Park Orchards 10-7-67. To Division 3, Waverley Blues and Heathmont, and in the end it was a win to Heathmont 10-16-76 to Waverley Blues 5-9-39. Ringwood and Baronia, it was Ringwood 9-10-64 to Baronia 6-10-46. Templestowe 21-13-139 to Churnside Park 3-2-20. And Brash...
We win or lose?
No, I can't tell you that yet. I'm going to say that there's a 6:10 p.m. game tonight up at the Basin. Basin and Ferntree
beautiful
Gully.
suspense there, Barry.
I'm sure Brash will be there.
We'll find out more results from Barry in a second because Tim Fitzsimon's got another man, and this time this man has got a shirt on and he's under the cover. It's Tom Appleby, one of the Appleby brothers from the Doncaster East Footy Club, who had another spectacular game.
Tom, you must have been pretty wrapped with that as the rain starts to come down under the gazebo. We were in the change rooms after the game there, and it seemed like the energy was really up and about because you got the job done what you had to do, even though you didn't play that great for most of the day.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we know we had a shit start. Bad start. Bad start. And, after half-time, we all went in at half-time and, all got together and, figured out what we had to do and came out and, put the scoreboard pressure on and, got busy around the celebrations and stuff like that. And, that really helps get all the team up and about. And, so...
Yeah, we spoke to Jake Summers just straight after the game, and he said you guys copped a bit of a spray at half-time. What was really the main message about that?
Oh, just, not sort of playing individually, not like doing your tasks and, playing as a team and, so that's what we did after half-time. We sort of, got together and started doing our structures properly and playing with each other instead of against each other. So, that really helped.
Tommy, how hard is it to come up against a side like Lilydale, who are almost the opposite of you guys in the way they line up? You guys are quite tall, even in your midfield yourself. You're not the shortest bloke going around, even though Tim might just have you covered. Whereas Lilydale have got a lot of blokes who are about 4 foot high. How do you match up against that? And how hard is it sometimes when they start flipping around underground handballs and all that?
That's it. Well, we sort of got to try and, we know what they're like and we got to adapt a bit quicker than we did today and sort of get our match up right early and, just do our best and, when something's not going right, quickly make the change instead of just letting it all happen. So, just quick changes.
Tom, you played a lot more aggressive in the first 10-15 minutes in the third quarter and the results went your way. Do you think that you went maybe a little bit too you tried to preserve that lead in the last quarter rather than attack the contest again?
What's that? Is it gone?
Yeah, it might be the wind coming out. Can you hear us now, Tom?
Yeah, got you.
Yeah, so Brash was just asking what happened at three-quarter time. Did you guys try to defend your lead or was it just Lilydale got on top?
No, I don't think we tried to defend our lead. I think Lilydale are a good side and they're always going to come and hit back. So that's why they're a top 2-3 side. So we just got to keep pushing forward and keep playing the way we play and be accountable for the players like Harvey that are going to keep running through and keep pushing the ball forward. So we just got to be accountable and just keep playing the way we want to play.
Tom, tell us about your own season and how you found the transition back to a higher level of footy.
Look, it's a class above. Coming from Warrandyte, playing at East Doncaster, and just the boys that all get around you, and they play a good brand of footy, and having like the two ex-AFL boys, Brock and Whitey down here with their professionalism and stuff like that really brings a lot to the team and to me and James personally. Yeah, it has made us really a lot more football smart, and we're having a great time here, that's for sure.
Well, it's really good, Tom, that you can do that, because sometimes in your footy life, you do want to be challenged, and obviously yourself and your brother made the move this year, and obviously it's paid results so far, so, good luck to you for the rest of the season.
Thanks a lot, mate. Cheers.
There's Tom Appleby there, one of the better players in Doncaster. His victory today over Lilydale, a 2-point win. Doncaster is 10-7-67 to Lilydale 9-11-65. That's just one final score around the grounds, Barry Cotts. Let's pick it up again over there in the
Brash, do you want me to put you out of your misery?
Yeah, put me out of my
misery too. It's been killing me all day.
Oh, I know. Yes. I know. Dan and I are just we're on the edge of our seats for this one.
Yes, in a very close tussle all day long. The home team has come home, Brash, by 13 points. The final score was in Division 1, Vermont 13-16-94 has defeated South Croydon 12-9-81.
Gee, that could be nearly the week off for Vermont there now after that big win. At least
they've finally beaten someone in the top 4, Brash.
Well, the other thing is too, Matt, they've at least guaranteed themselves not only either the week off, but at
double
least
chance at
a
least.
double chance at least now.
Well, it's interesting. We touched on it pre-game that today was the day for Vermont to finally reverse that trend around after South Croydon had actually exposed the blueprint earlier on of how to beat them.
Yeah.
You say that as the two men come out of the cold there, Tim Fitzsimons and Ben Warren-Smith, after gathering a couple of interviews there for us, Brash.
Yeah. Any more scores, Bads, for the viewers that we can tell them?
Well, we'll start off with Division 1 because we got all scores from Division 1 coming through.
Oh, that's good.
So let's repeat that again from the top. Division 1. Vermont were winners over South Croydon today out there at Vermont. The final score was Vermont 13-16-94 have defeated South Croydon 12-9-81. Doncaster 13-14-92 have defeated Norwood easily 3-8-26. Noble Park were winners today over Roval at Roval. Noble Park 11-13-79 to Roval 10-9-69. Montrose and Blackburn, it was a 20-point win to Blackburn. Blackburn 12-14-86 to Montrose 9-12-66. Bullwyn 13-19-97 have defeated Docks 8-17-65. North Ringwood at East Ringwood, it was a win to the North. North Ringwood 13-11-89 have defeated East Ringwood at 5-3-33. Division 2 scores, Bayswater and Upper Ferntree Gully. Upper Ferntree Gully has won that one today. Yes, Upper Ferntree Gully have been winners. Upper Ferntree Gully 12-8-80 have defeated Bayswater 11-5-71. So that makes an interesting proposition, Brash, with the Upper Ferntree Gully winning today.
Yeah, most definitely. A really big win for them.
Got a final score from the Croydon and Wanturna South game, Barry. Croydon 10-10.
Yep.
Beat Wanturna South by 2 points, 10-8.
68.
2 weeks in a row for the Devils.
Yep.
So that's Croydon 10-10-70 to Wanturna South 10-8-68 in that game.
Might have got one back on Hawker there.
And
mystery man Hawker.
And Mulgrave were winners today after Park Orchard 11-12-78.
That's a big result.
10-7-67.
Division 3 premiers next year, Mulgrave, by the looks of it. Carrying this momentum.
And Mitcham looked like they're on their way to a win too, Baz.
Yes.
Last score?
I haven't got a final score, but let's look at Division 3 scores. Waverley Blues and Heathmont. It was a win to Heathmont today.
Finals footy for the Jets this year.
10-16, yes. 10-16-76 to Waverley Blues, 5-9-39. So Heathmont have entered into the finals fray. Next week, Ringwood and Boronia, and it was a win to Ringwood today. Ringwood 9-10-64 to Boronia 6-10-46.
May have come at a cost, though, with Trent Farmer having a suspected broken arm.
Yep.
Templestowe big winners over Chirnside Park. No surprises there. 21-13, 139 to Chirnside Park 3-2-20. And we've got a night game tonight up at the Basin. That's the Basin versus Ferntree Gully. The game gets underway at 6:10 p.m. And Donvale South Belgrave, which was an early game today. It started at 12:45 p.m. because they had the women's game as the main game in the afternoon. The final score was Donvale 12-79 to South Belgrave 5-11-41.
Division 4, Barry, to finish us off.
Got some Forest Hill 9-16-70, Kilside 6-7-43. Excuse me. Coldstream 18-9-117, Fair Park 6-6-42.
Yeah, that's a big win.
And Surrey Park 24 4,1862. Nunawading 4,731 as my voice gives out.
I was about to say, as Barry has a glass of water, we can get onto our votes, Brash, about today's game, of course.
Yep.
Just reminding everyone of that score at home who didn't tune in for the broadcast. It was Lilydale 9-11-65, going down by 2 points to Doncaster East 10-7-67, which sees the Lions guaranteed double chance going into the finals in Division 2, and Lilydale will probably be succumbed to playing an elimination final against Bayswater. But our votes, Dan, you got 3-2-1 there, mate, to kick us off?
Yeah, I'll kick things off. We starting with 1 or 3?
You can do whatever you like, Dan.
Okay, I'll build the suspense. 1 vote I gave to Ryan Harvey. I thought he was tremendous for the Falcons today, but he kicked a couple of goals. He was really solid around the contest too, and a big reason why Lilydale got as close as they did in that final term. 2 votes I gave to Jared Smith. I thought he was fantastic in the ruck, particularly up against Bo Mitchener. He wasn't as creative around the ground as Mitchener, but he did what he needed to do, Jared Smith, and I put him just ahead in that tussle. And my 3 votes go to Rami Ayumi down back. He was fantastic, I thought, with his intercept marking, and he really held firm in that final term when Lilydale was starting to come, and he played really well under pressure.
And you're very admirable of that sort of top-off in the range sort of operation
I knew you would say that.
From the 33-year-old. How about that? Tim Fitzsimons, you were out there looking at those magnificent pecs. What do you think of the 3-2-1?
I've given 1 vote to Ryan Harvey as well. I thought he was Lilydale's best player on the day today. I gave 2 votes to Rami Ayubi, as Dan said, was outstanding as well. And I actually gave my 3 votes to Jake Summers. I thought he was the difference in that third quarter, kicking a couple of goals. I think he kicked 1 or 2 early as well, which
three for the game, 50 for the year now.
3 for the game. He kicked that one early that got him, that kept him in the contest early. In that third quarter, he kicked another couple, I think. So he was outstanding today. And I gave him my 3 votes in tough conditions as well for a key forward, to be said.
Wayne Brasher.
Yeah, I gave my 1 vote to Ryan Harvey, basically for all the things that Dan mentioned. I just didn't, unfortunately for Lilydale, they just didn't make use of all the hard work that he was able to provide them throughout the afternoon. A bit of a flip of a coin, really, for mine, but I gave my 2 votes to Rami Ayubi, really solid in the back line this afternoon. Didn't really do too much wrong, pretty safe disposal. And whilst I thought Mitchener was good, I just thought that just for a big man presence, I thought Jared Smith, especially early in the first quarter, when it was getting hot, he was controlling the ruck and was at least trying to keep his side in the contest. And as the day got on, I just thought that he broke even, but there were times just some of his crucial little tap-ons and wins in the ruck were just enough to get him over the line. He gets my 3 votes today.
And BWS?
Well, it's actually really tough to do votes today. I thought
it was a lot of even contributors, wasn't there?
Well, it's not only that; it's just at different times in the game, the sides decided to play as well, and each team had their moments as well. I think at the end of the day, Doncaster has played good 25 minutes of football and come away with the points. I'll start at the other end. I'll give 3 votes to the big ruckman as well. I thought he was absolutely super today. 2 votes. I agree with the best player for Lilydale today was Harvey for them. He was great. Rami, do I throw Rami in? I'm going to give 1 vote to Jared Lowther, and I'm going to apologise to Rami Ayubi, and I'm going to apologise also to Lachlan Wilson from Lilydale, because the spark that he gave them in that final term, if they had have got up, he was in my vote. So but an unbelievably difficult game to give votes on today. But I think we almost all agree the best big man on the ground was Smith. What about you, Matt?
Yeah, I agree with you about Smith, but I also agree there was a lot of Bryce Batty had 2 very good quarters, but faded.
Yep.
And there was a couple other players. Brad Lowe started well, and Drossler started well. But my 3 votes went to Jared Smith as well. I agree with you. Ryan Harvey was the second best player in the ground. And I thought Brock McLean stood up.
Yep,
that's what you pay your
absolutely.
money for in that last quarter. I reckon he would have had close to 15 disposals in a contested game there with 2 points the difference. At the end, he had about 4 touches in those last 30 seconds. I think he had the ball in his hands when the siren went. So
let's not forget someone like Simon White as well, who just
had
always solid as a rock.
2 or 3 quarters, and no doubt he'll be in the best for a 12th time this season for the Lions. But that ends up with Jared Smith winning with 11 votes from Harvey and Ayubi there. So Jared Smith is the player of the day there for us here in the unicorn there, the Colesmeyer gift voucher of $50. As Dan holds that up there, the camera can't quite get to it, Dan, unfortunately. So $50 there. Trojan Workhorse.
Oh, I think you've got to give it to
Straight in.
I'm going with Harvey because I thought he was really Trojan-like. He tried all hard all afternoon. He was trying to bust packs. He was trying to set up play. I thought that he definitely was my worthy recipient of the Trojan.
Anyone else want to throw someone in? No other defenders that did really well that popped up. I agree that Ryan Harvey tried hard all day. There was, of course, everyone tried hard all day.
I know what you're saying.
Dan, you happy with that?
Oh, Simon White or a Yubi for me for the Workhorse. I thought they battled really hard down back today.
Ben?
No, I'm happy with it being with Ryan Harvey from Lilydale.
Okay, then we're going to stick with Ryan Harvey then as we cut in and out a little bit there, but we'll carry on. So Ryan Harvey has won the Trojan Workhorse to wrap up the day, going along with Jared Smith winning the Best of Field honours, of course. And to repeat that score, Doncaster East 10-7-67 and brought joy to the man to my right's face, defeating Lilydale 9-11-65 by just 2 points as the ball was positioned at centre half forward for the Falcons as the siren went as they came hard strong. Vermont have defeated South Croydon in Division 1. Barry Cotts and Wayne Brash are very happy about that. And we'll hear all about that game and a few others in the Score Centre after this. And we're probably going to go to a quick break as we say goodbye here from the LSA. I was about to thank people. I was just indicating to people that we will be wrapping up, of course. We're going to say thank you to Tim Fitzsimons, who braved all the conditions out there, mate. The rain, the hail, the shine, the wind, and did it with style.
Yeah, saw everything. A classic Melbourne day, wasn't it? Bit of everything, yeah. Rain, hail, wind, sunshine. And it was still for a bit. It was good conditions, actually, for about 10 minutes at the start of the last quarter. So it was a bit interesting. But, yeah, it was good. At least we saw a good contest and a tight finish in the end, which is what we're all here for.
Dan Sensig, of course, special comments alongside Wayne Brasher. Thanks for coming along and enjoying this game of footy.
No, it's been a pleasure, Matt. And, the permutations to come out of this game and all the results across the league today. It's been a ripping day of footy.
Yep, really enjoyed it. That's why we live in the second most livable city in the world.
Second. Interesting decision there to Brash to turn to that. Of course, Barry Cotts will be with us for the Score Centre, of course, and Jesse Hare, who was on Twitter all day tweeting away.
Well done,
Thanks
Jess.
to Lee, of course, Lee Green, who definitely braved the conditions up there.
And of course, we have to thank the Parched one from the Loft Productions as well.
Yes, the Parched one.
There he is as well. And Ben Warren Smith. It's as much as I was a bit disappointed at that final sign, it was a pleasure.
It was a great call and it's an exciting game and we're getting them week after week. We have all year and it's just how good is this final series going to be based on season 2018. It's a big month of football or 5 weeks ahead and it all starts tomorrow with the junior grand finals as well. There'll be no EFL Sunday, so we wanted just to put out there also and get out and support your local teams across the 8 venues tomorrow in the eastern suburbs. You can find everything you need to know to watch your side on EFL.org.au, but a great call by yourself, Matt.
Thank you, Ben. And as much as Lilydale will be disappointed as I am, it's good to watch a great game of footy. So we're going to say goodbye here for now. We'll be back after this with Game Day with Barry Cotts and all the lads in the Score Centre as we hear all about the scores from around the AFL.
Kids eat free Mondays and Tuesdays for a limited time at Hog's Breath Cafe. Get out! When an adult dines at Hog's Breath Cafe, you also get a kids meal free. Select from any one of our special kids meal combos with a soft drink and ice cream. That's Hospitality. Mondays and Tuesdays for a limited time. So get in for our great kids meal deal. Kids eat free at Hog's Breath Cafe. Love you to join us. Call 1-800-HOGSTAR.
Chadston, Dandenong, Coringal, Knox Ozone, Water Gardens and Geelong. Come in and experience some Hospitality.
Program sponsor.
Never miss out on the latest information on the Eastern Football League through the league's social media channels. Live updates, information and scores through the league's Twitter account.
It's important to tell our loved ones how much they